had this problem last week. So apparently, if when I'm asking a lot of questions, these aren't necessarily my positions. The implications shouldn't be there. I am moderating. I am asking questions. I'm not really debating. So if I do ask a question, I am obviously very liberal, very standard Democrat. That's where my biases are, but I do try to moderate fairly. And so if I ask questions that are from another person's perspective, I do try to steelman it and try to give it the best perspective so the person can answer it as best as possible. So it doesn't necessarily imply any sort of positions from me. But with that said, I think it was 2 weeks ago now, we had another shooting. I think this one was it wasn't from an ICE officer, it was from a DHS officer of Alex Pertti, where the gun seems to be removed from him before he was shot. And then we also had a bunch more reasons given from the government afterwards that didn't seem to align with what it was that everybody else saw. So I do want to start with Marte, because you said that you used to be an ICE officer. Is that correct?
HSI.
HSI? What is that?
Same shit.
Borderline
same shit. I mean, so you're talking like 10 plus years in law enforcement, different agencies and stuff like that. I got some well-rounded knowledge when it comes to use of force, the force continuum. I'm pretty sure Pisco, I did review your debate when it came to counterpoints. That was the most, to be honest, no offense, it was the most boring shit I've seen in my life. But we're going to dig into the crates, as it were, when it comes to law, statutes, things like this. But I don't want to get bogged down into your litigation. Let's kind of stick to YouTube, stick to the facts. And all I want to do is talk about prudence and justifiable cause and articulating why we think this probably could have happened. If we can keep it simple, I'd love that. That'd be great.
What does HSI stand for?
Homeland Security Investigations.
Homeland Security Investigations. Okay. And so that based on, if that's what you were doing, did you make arrests of people who were immigrants as well?
Yeah. ICE. Yeah. So
okay.
if you think about this,
did you think that this was justified? How did you feel about the situation with Alex Pertti?
I think it was a justified shoot, although I think that I will give Pisco in the guy with the scrunchy face right now, kind of an olive branch right now. Here's the thing, though, I'll say. I think that it was a good shoot, but I do think that the communication was bad. They used bad tactical communication when they did take the gun away. Instead of saying shoot, 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 they could have uttered something like, hey, I've got the gun. The verbiage could have been differently. They could have articulated the fact that they've disarmed the guy, but that wasn't worded, right? This is to your point. So this is me being really benevolent and giving you an olive branch. I think that if the verbiage was different, this would have played out differently. The reason why I think that this was also a justified shoot was because they were impeding a federal investigation. Now, that's not grounds for just shooting somebody in the back. I will say this. But here's the thing, though. Leading up to this is the entailment leading up to this, is I think that this all could have been prevented by not these people you're going to call protesters. These people are obstructionists. That's what they are. There's no ifs, ands, abouts. I'm not going to dance around this up. They're purely there to obstruct because of the signal apps and everything else. They were there to impede investigations. They were following ICE agents around, doing all this. And I think that when they did come up and they put a body between, Pertti put his body between himself and the woman's person. We don't know if an arrest was going to happen, but he did try to disperse and create space. Now, when that happened, the chances of casualties going up, if you bring if you're carrying a weapon, loaded weapon to I would say an active scene, whether it's a crime scene or investigation, the chances of casualties do go up. So I know I'm kind of gish-galloping a little bit, but when he did push the woman, that was to create some distance. We do need a reactionary gap. And unless we create that reactionary gap, it might have not been the best thing that you wanted to see optics-wise. But I do think that there was nothing wrong with this whole thing in totality, except for the communication. That's it.
Jump in there, Tom, or you're driving.
I want to hear irrelevant real quick. Irrelevant. Okay. Do you disagree? Was there obstruction in this scenario?
No, I don't believe there's really obstruction. I would need to hear it articulated what specifically he was obstructing. It seems like what he was doing was trying to defend people who were getting pushed. That's not obstructing justice. They push, Ice Age has pushed somebody. Trying to help them is not, get up and stuff like that is not obstructing. No, I would love to hear the arguments for obstructing. The argument that Well, the communication was bad about pulling the weapon off of. That's a very, very big deal, and I think alone doesn't justify the shoot, because it should be standard that if you are going to disarm somebody, you tell the immediate people that you have disarmed them. Especially when you hear like shot or calls that a gun is present, you should tell people that you disarm them. And also, it just doesn't make sense. He's like, there's like 7 dudes piled on top of him. Like, no.
Yeah, we need extra resources in order to create a more safer environment. I think additional resources is good. So when you make a thing like there was an unnecessary number of officers,
as a debate begun, or are we going to like?
Well, let him respond real quick. Irrelevant. So,
good.
I thought this was intros, but okay.
Yeah, no, sorry, we don't have intros. Like I said, we're just
yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's
able
cool.
to kind of engage with one another. But
Can I say
need more resources, need more training? I mean, these CBP officers aren't trained for this kind of crowd control stuff. That's not just me saying it. I mean, these individuals clearly don't know the first thing about de-escalation in these kinds of environments. And I understand that you don't want to get into the legal nitty-gritty because it shatters your case. The whole question of justification is a legal question. As you saying, I don't want to get stuck in the minutiae. As you're saying, well, I don't want to get into whether it's justified. If you're talking about some other version of justification, I'm like, justified with respect to what? If we're not talking about the law, what kind of justification are we talking about?
So if we're talking about justification, if you're talking about this push, now I have to counter 2 of you at the same time. So right now, irrelevant, when you talk about this to create justification for the shoot, I think that there's rapid fire that happens in panicking situations. The reason why we need crowd control, the reason why we need bystanders away from the scene, away from an active investigation, is to prevent casualties and innocent bystanders from being hurt. Now, here's the thing, though. When they did remove a firearm, yes, I did already concede the fact that communication could have been better in him saying that, hey, I've got the gun. The verbiage could have been different on that. But here's the problem, though. He did reach for his holster. You could say, well, hold on. He already took the weapon. There are people that carry secondary firearms, right?
They do, yes.
Sure.
Right. So here's the thing, though. Is it reasonable and prudent to understand that it could have been a knife as well, too?
Could have been.
The question is, literally just said
it's possible.
Hold on. If he's reaching into his pocket, no matter what,
no evidence.
No. Just to be clear, you just said he was reaching for his holster. Was he reaching for the secret knife pocket in his holster?
Well, the
if
thing
he's reaching for a holster, it could have been a reaction.
He wasn't reaching. He wasn't reaching. He wasn't reaching. Where's the reaching?
Well, there's an actual still frame of him reaching into the holster area. Now, again, Martell's point.
You're talking about when he was.
Hold on, there was a still frame of him reaching.
Yes.
After he was shot. He was already shot.
No, he wasn't after shot. No, he wasn't. He wasn't actually after shot. There was the first fire that happened. Now.
Yes.
Go ahead,
The
Tom.
first fire is the officer. The first fire is the officer. You can see that if from a separate angle that he has already pulled out his weapon, and when as soon as the pop happens, you can see the arm with the weapon jerk back. So where people are speculating that it was possibly the SIG, it couldn't have been the SIG. The SIG couldn't have really gone off in that way. And so when he reaches, it is after the first shot had already gone off.
Go ahead.
So I'll say this. Is it possible that after somebody shoots, they can have a reaction of reaching for a gun that isn't there also?
You're saying, can they have the reaction, or is it reasonably likely?
Is it possible that people have reactions after being maimed or injured?
Yeah,
sure,
possible.
but it's whether or not it's justified.
That's not the question. Isn't whether something is possible. It's possible he has a fucking grenade.
I don't
it's
care.
possible.
Can you answer the question? Can that be possible?
It's also possible that he had an RPG.
It's also possible
yes.
as a sword. It's possible as an RPG. It's possible that he's actually has a suicide vest.
Well, let's be reasonable here.
That's not the inquiry.
Did he reach back?
You're absolutely right. Let's be reasonable. The question is a legal question, and that's why you guys are desperate to try to say, well, what could have been the case? What could have been?
He reached back.
From an objectively reasonable officer's perspective. What would they think is reasonably necessary in light of whatever threat that they're perceiving? And it is obvious. In this case, it is not even a close call that a reasonable officer in his position would not feel the need to shoot in that context.
No, well, hold on. Hold on. Let me get in here really quickly. Really quick. If you look at the footage full on, slow motion, by the way, you could see that when the first shot was fired, Alex Pertti is actually still getting up. From when the first shot is fired, all of the ICE officers are going out. and they're all leaving the situation here. Pertti is looked up as he's getting on the next knee to get up. It's not until the second fire is when he goes down, which I would presume that's when he got hit on the second fire. So when you look at the situation before, when he was reaching out to the gun or reaching out to his holster, I believe that happened before the first shot was fired, bro. So that's the case there is when he was reaching out there. So, but
no. Why? Let me ask you a question. Why did the cops disperse off of him, if not for
because of the first fire? Because of the first fire.
Okay, so
that's
and when
that's
he
the thing.
reached, wait. And when he reached, were the cops on him or were they off of him?
They were on him.
They were on him.
Yes,
that is your claim.
They were.
This is literally false. You can watch.
Dude, I just watched the footage here. It was the first.
When he does this,
he
there
reached.
was no cops on him.
No, there wasn't, bro. No, when the first when he first when he
sure.
yes, you can actually shoot it down frame by frame, and I have the frame for you where he's reaching. The officers are still on him. Okay, when he does that, he already took out the firearm. The shot goes off when he was reaching in, and then he's getting up, and then the second shot shows him going down, frame by frame. That's what happened. Irrelevant.
Yeah,
So
I mean, we can bring up the video. You guys are just confabulating, but let's just break down what we want to do. Do we actually want to run the legal analysis of justification? Because it seemed to be the case that like before Marte, the HSI guy, you seem to be like, well, we shouldn't run the reasonability.
Are you going to use
legal test.
hindsight, or are you going to actually use what we have in the tape and actually have with prudence what we actually objectively saw?
Well, it depends what you mean by hindsight. If by hindsight you mean analyze the thing that happened, then we're going to analyze the thing that happened.
Sure.
If by hindsight you mean applying some
let me clear
insane
this up
standard,
first.
obviously I'm not
Let me
going
clear
to. I'm not in favor of applying some kind of like hindsight 2020, like just down to the picosecond. He could have made that different decision. That's not what we're talking about.
That's not what I'm talking about. Let me clear this up. So I know that we have hindsight, but in the moment, if we look at this from the officer's perspective, now granted, we don't have the findings that have come out from this as far as like the public square, as far as some court outside of law enforcement, but investigations do happen. As soon as this happens, I've been on so many use of force hearings and so many use of force boards that when I do see this, all you have to do is articulate why you had to do what you did. Now, if the officer had somebody interfering with the investigation, they had a body in front of the person that they had to arrest, is that impeding an arrest? If he was going to arrest a woman, do you think Pertti was in the way?
No, I don't grant that he committed obstruction as the law defines it. At least the one that
so putting my
Homeland Security is trying to claim. I also don't think it's particularly relevant to the use of force here. We can analyze it if you want. But can we agree? Can we agree on the following? I'll go down the obstruction route if you want. It's a red herring. I can explain why it's a red herring. But can we
not
agree?
A red herring.
This is I will go down that. I'm happy to walk that down with you on the obstruction thing. I completely demolished Connor on it. I'll completely demolish you on it. But the first thing we have to acknowledge, is this
Connor's
is
a whole
first and
person.
foremost. This is a legal question, isn't it? We are trying to resolve a legal question. Is that what we're trying to resolve? Yes or no?
Let's do that then. So when it comes to obstruction, if you put a body in the way of, like if there's a physical body in between me and the person I'm trying to arrest, is there an obstruction between me and the person I'm trying to arrest?
The answer is not necessarily.
So you wouldn't say that's obstructing justice.
Okay, so
the answer is not necessarily. What is obstruction? What do you feel obstruction is?
Well,
it's necessary.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you
Pisco, what do you define as obstruction? What would you define as obstructing justice here, Pisco?
Are you trying to say?
Let me dumb this down.
What's your definition of that? If we saw the woman,
hold on.
18 USC section 111.
Slow down for a second. What's slow down? So what is the claim that you guys are asking?
So the question was asked. It's a total red herring, but the question was asked.
How
is putting your body in front of an officer?
Hold on. What is the law that you're citing right now? That's what I'm asking. Sorry.
You're asking me what the law is. The law is 18 USC section 111.
Correct.
111.
Yeah.
And what is that? What is the actual?
That's obstruction.
That law has specific elements that aren't met merely by standing in front of an officer. And
don't you say that
the case?
That law still has interference.
They got. Hang on a second.
Hold on.
They soyed out.
Impede.
They soyed out when I'm like, not necessarily standing in front of someone who's assuming they're trying to effectuate an arrest. Is constitutive of obstruction. That answer is true, and they sold out when I said it's not necessarily the case. I can explain why.
Do you believe the woman was impeding on that? Do you believe that
woman was impeding
I'm sorry,
on
I'm
what?
sorry. Alex Purdy was impeding on the
Pertti,
arrest of the
Alex
woman
Pertti
at the time.
Pertti was, yeah.
No, I don't.
Yes.
No, I don't.
No, you don't think that?
No.
Okay,
No.
so
Okay,
I don't think
you don't think she was
explain why.
interfering?
I can explain.
I'm sorry, Alex was
I can explain
interfering?
Why? I
Okay.
can explain why I don't think that he was committing obstruction. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
you mean the guy that was
obstruction
kicking-
presupposes
I was kicking license plates and spitting on cop. Like, this is crazy. Go
that was
ahead.
a
though.
different that was a different incident from a different week. Agreed?
Oh,
So
you
not
mean it's
relevant
the people that haven't familiarized themselves with the person that was so allegedly peaceful, this obstructionist? He is
these
a
are our
obstructionist,
DHS
I agree,
officers.
right?
These
Hold on,
are
wait,
our
wait, hold on,
DHS
wait.
officers.
Hold on, before we go to a different scenario, I do want to
Yeah.
Pisco. What is the reasoning for
Yeah.
why this is not obstruction?
The reason why I don't have a basis to believe that it's obstruction are twofold. The first is there isn't a reasonable basis to believe that Pertti had obstructive intent, which is required. It's not enough if you like accidentally stand in the way of an officer who is trying to do it.
He literally got in the way of it.
Grant that easily.
He literally got in the way of it.
You guys,
He accidentally.
You guys are so. You guys. You guys
Hold
are.
on, hold on.
You guys
Sorry,
are so
sorry.
low IQ.
Oh,
You
that's what
guys
it
are
is.
so
That must be
low
it.
IQ.
That must be it. You're so low IQ and he gets in the way of it.
The point of the example, the point of the example of the accident, the point of the example of the accident is not for you guys to so I'd be oh my god, accident. It's to make the point that intent is a necessary element of obstruction. If you do not intend to obstruct a lawful process by an officer, you're not committing obstruction by definition. It's an intent requirement there, and that's presumed of all criminal.
No,
law.
hold on. That
That's
legal,
number one.
what you just gave us does not describe anything about intent. You're actually adding in words to the legislation that you just fucking sent. There's no words of
You're not
intent, bro.
Just so you're
I'm
aware,
going by the law
crime-
here, by 111. There's no words of intent at all. You're just adding in words.
So crimes, unless specified otherwise, are not considered strict liability. Strict liability.
Do you have any
Okay, know what
proof
strict
that
liability
do
is?
you have any
The
proof
law-
that
the law
Pertti
presumes-
was not
Yes,
intending to obstruct it?
I
You
I
need
will
to
get that.
prove.
Well, because
You need
he's
to prove
he's
his
literally
intent.
he,
doesn't
no,
need
I
to prove
don't. No,
lack of
he needs to
intent.
prove that this guy was intending to
You're
obstruct.
claiming he had the
did not
intent.
obstruct it.
You
What are
need
you
to
talking
prove he
about?
had the intent.
Oh, stop! Everybody, stop. Okay, Jake, just a second ago, you guys are
Okay, all right.
disagreeing. Intent is actually part of the law. Do we all agree that intent is part of this before?
Yeah,
we
the
move?
first, because just to be clear, what Tom is saying. On the one
Sure,
hand,
but
you're
that takes
like,
court in order to
hold on,
actually
hold
get
on,
down to the
hold
intent.
on.
Incorrect.
Hold on, Jake. Hold on, Jake and Marte. Do we agree that intent is part of this? Yes.
Sure, and we discovered that through the courts of laws.
I
Yeah,
agree. You have to, which is one of the
yeah.
toughest things to
But we
prove
can't,
in
we can't,
order-
we can't do that because there's no court
So-
case.
so when
We
you-
haven't gone through
so
the
when you
trial
just
to
point
actually
out-
do that. But
So when you just went out, it's not in the law, bro. It's not in the law.
no, it's
bro.
not in
When
the
you did
legislation that you fucking provided,
just
bro.
insulted yourself,
Code
right?
111 intent is not worded in there. That's what I'm saying,
Wait, but you
Pisco.
just you just granted that you
It's
don't have
not.
intent.
No, I'm saying under the court when you have your court date in order to see the intent of each person, that's when you ask questions. We don't actually have that right now, Pisco. But I'm saying
so is it your
the
position?
code that
Is it
the
your
code
position?
that you described, code 111, does not actually have intent in that. There's
Pisco,
that
let me
word's
ask
not
you a
doesn't
question.
exist in there.
Was Alex Pretty there to assist law enforcement?
I have no idea.
Okay, so we don't know, right? You're at the behest of the same questions you're asking us. So here's the thing, though. We know for a fact he wasn't there to assist law enforcement. You know that for a fact.
So?
There's no way that a guy
Wait,
that's
I
kicking
don't
out
know. That's not true.
hitting officers is
So
not
what?
there to assist law enforcement.
So
Right. So here's the thing. Walk with- hold on.
You've made
Oh,
out
I let you
intent
finish.
if
Hold
you
on.
don't have the intent to help police
Pisco,
officers.
Pisco, I let you finish. Let me finish. So hold on. The guy that was kicking out rear bumpers and spitting on officers and doing all this with the lights in the back, that's the guy that's not helping law enforcement. We've shown this. There's a clear motive to not assist law enforcement. So if he's
not
in the way of
obstruction intent.
effecting an arrest, how is this not helping to
How do you
obstruct
know
law
the woman
enforcement?
was under arrest? She just got
Yeah,
pushed.
exactly.
How do you know
No,
she was
hold
under
on.
arrest?
Because she was in the middle of the war.
If
She
he's in
got
the
pushed.
way,
How do you know she was under arrest? It's a very basic question.
Yeah, I can answer it really quick.
no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if she's in
How
the
do you
way,
know she was under
do you
arrest?
think that would have? Hold on, let me finish this. If she was in the way, do you think that would have impeded or delayed an arrest? If Alex Purdy's in the way,
That's not the question.
No,
Would it
if
have?
she was
Would it-
under
would a
arrest, then
reasonable
yes.
person-
Oh, hold
Was
on.
she
I'll
under
answer.
arrest?
Hold on.
No,
Let me.
That's not my. You're This is going over your fucking head. If he's in the way, would that delay an arrest if that was going to happen?
Delaying an arrest is not enough for obstruction. You need to be.
That's literally under the fucking legislation of 111. Yes, it is. What are you talking about?
Wait, Tom, you gotta reel this in. I answered his question. I answered his
You did.
question.
I'll answer your question.
Answer my question.
Marte, hold on. Are you asking a hypothetical or are you asking about the specific scenario right now?
No, I'm asking a hypothetical. If I have a person between me and another person, would that normally delay an arrest, or
It's
that
harder, yes. So
provide a hardship for me to arrest?
It would delay it, but it would not be obstruction. You need more information to prove obstruction.
Dude, it's literally in the legislation.
Tom, I answer the question. Tom, I answer that question.
Literally,
he just doesn't like the answer.
No, it's not it at all, bro.
Not because I don't like the answer. I need an answer.
I did.
He answered it.
I literally said yes. It would delay it. However, it would not be obstruction. You need more
Okay,
information.
irrelevant. Shut up. Tom needs to talk. Tom needs to talk.
Stop. So when we're talking about, like earlier, when you guys seem to agree that intent would have to be part of this, Marte, if you're just saying that somebody just slowing down their ability to arrest somebody, you seem to already agree earlier that you would have to have an aspect of intent in there as well. So just the process.
I can agree with that.
You seem to already agree that wouldn't be.
But Tom, well, I've already ascertained, and actually, Pisco actually agreed with me. Well, actually, he didn't. He should agree with me that Alex Pertti was not there to assist law enforcement. So we can then infer that he was a walking obstruction in himself.
Not only that,
Wait, I'm sorry.
hold on.
Not there to assist.
Hold on. Are you, bro?
This is America.
Okay, hold on.
This is China.
I wanna answer.
Anybody in
This is
America
China.
Tom, can you give me some time to talk really quick? Just really quick,
Yeah,
really
go
quick.
ahead.
I actually wanted to answer Irrelevant's question earlier. He's like, how do you know that the woman was being arrested? We have several footages from multiple angles that these women were disturbing or obstructing traffic. That's what they were doing. The ICE officer was telling them to go to the sidewalk. They were refusing. They were blowing whistles. They were right in their faces. The officer was pushing them over there, delaying or taking them out from the road. They were going over there. They were still refusing. They were still combative. That's when the officer was going to arrest them. That's when the conflict happened.
No.
Hold on. Let me tell.
Irrelevant isn't saying did they do some other actions for which they would be liable. Let me finish.
No, what I'm saying, in the middle, they were obstructing the.
Irrelevant did not say, "Oh, these people weren't doing something that would."
He asked the question. What are you talking about, Pisco? His question was, "How do you know they were getting arrested?" I'm answering the fucking question, bro. Oh yeah, because you don't want me to answer your fucking question. You wanted him to answer it. I'm answering it for you, bro.
So,
all right, go ahead, Pisco.
What Irrelevant is getting at.
What's he getting at? Go ahead, talk for him.
Because obstructive intent is relevant to the determination of whether they're in fact obstructed, you would have to presuppose that it was reasonable for someone to think that an arrest was actually being effectuated. Not whether or not someone had the legal authority to arrest, but whether or not a reasonable person looking at what's going on would think, hey, there's an arrest right now that I'm obstructing. And so obviously Irrelevant's question isn't getting at the actions of the women on the street vis-a-vis, qua those actions. His question is getting at what are the indicia that an arrest actually was occurring? Because just because you're dispersing someone doesn't mean you're arresting them. That's what Irrelevant's question is about.
Yes. Yeah, well, but again, I'm basing it off of what was the totality of the situation. Again, they were obstructing traffic. We saw that. We saw the officer already pushing them away to get away from the sideline. Then you saw that that the officer was attempting an arrest or some type of conflict there. Pertti got in the way of that.
No.
This is where we did.
Her. How is that attempting an arrest?
That's not attempting an arrest.
Oh my God!
Did they say?
But bro, if we were going to the rest, then I'm going to.
He pushed her to the ground. How is that attempting an arrest?
Yeah,
he created crowd control and dispersed the crowd when he did this. The crowd dispersement happened.
That's not an arrest.
Yeah, but she was breaking the law.
Where's the arrest? Where's the arrest?
What I'm saying, follow with me. I know you're pretty low IQ up there, but here's the thing, though. He wanted to disperse the crowd.
I'm waiting for you to make an intelligent statement.
When he pushed the person, it's the same equivalent as using pepper spray. We're creating distance and a reactionary gap to create safety. Now, we wouldn't have known if he was going to probably effectuate arrest or not.
Let me respond to that.
And neither would Pertti. I'm not. You just said it, and neither would Pertti. We wouldn't know if he was effectuating an arrest, and neither would Pertti. And neither would Pertti. Neither would Pertti.
What I'm saying.
Okay, hold on.
Me, I can't finish my words. I don't interrupt you when you talk. Do I?
We're gonna go back to Irrelevant. Go ahead, Marte. Finish your statement.
So here's the thing, though. We do know for a fact that Alex Pertti was not there to assist law enforcement. That's something that you actually have to agree with, Pisco. Do you not agree with that?
I agree with that. I agree with that. He wasn't there to help law enforcement.
So
I agree.
Wait,
Well,
Marte,
real quick.
the reason that this is getting stuck up is because you keep creating a dichotomy where people either are only there to assist law enforcement or they're there to obstruct, and it's only one of the two. And that's where they're getting like caught up, is that they feel like there's a lot of in between where they could be protesting, they could be standardized. They could be,
you can't. So here's the problem, though, is that when you're saying you're just protesting and then you're kicking out rear license plates and all this other stuff, you're an obstructionist.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about the
That's not
acid stuff like that. If you want to talk about his character, we can have a separate conversation about that. I want to bring something up because you said something specific. Tom, you got to get it. You got to let me in here. Okay, so listen, I love you, Tom. You got to let me in here. Okay, so the problem is he brought up pepper spraying people. So I want a simple response to this question. If I helped somebody who was pepper sprayed by a law enforcement officer, am I obstructing an arrest?
Yeah, that's happened plenty of times. I've seen many people.
My God.
Bro, hey, hold on. Are you guys saying that when you de-escalate a situation in order to attempt an arrest, that pepper spray cannot be used? What are you talking about, bro?
There's so many people. Hold on. I'm going to
This guy's fucking
from my experience. When you pepper spray somebody, they can still use lethal force against you. They can reach in their pocket and grab a knife, even if they're pepper sprayed. There's so many people who have reactions.
Wait, answer this question. Can anybody do that at any time? Yes or no? Unless they're unconscious. Yes or no?
What, take out a weapon? Yeah, no shit.
Answer. I don't want to. Yes or no? Is that true?
All we're
Is
doing
that true?
is creating distance and space for reactionary gap. That doesn't mean that the
Okay,
person's going to be
that's not an arrest. You just described crowd control. That's not an arrest. That's crowd control.
That's not what I'm talking about. You're talking past me.
That's what we're talking about. A cop,
I'm leading up to
DHS
this.
agent created space, and then
That's
Alex
not my-
Pertti wanted to make sure that woman was okay.
Okay,
He wasn't
Oh,
effectuating an
by
arrest.
putting his hands on an officer?
Bro,
By
you're
putting his hands on an
trolling me. Why are you
officer?
trolling me? You're griefing my
But
lobbies,
bro.
Understanding what I'm
Okay,
talking
all
about.
right, hold on.
my
We
lobbies.
need to slow down for a minute. We got to slow down for a minute. Okay, so irrelevant. Right now we're disagreeing on whether or not there is an arrest, right? And whether or not the woman that he first engages with, whether or not he is arresting her, correct? That is your...
Whether or not a reasonable person would interpret that an arrest is happening and that assisting her would result in obstruction.
So, hold on.
Okay, hold on, wait. Hold on. We're trying to slow down. We're trying to slow down. So Marte, if his question is whether or not there is an arrest, and you seem to say earlier that there was an arrest, are you saying that right now at the point where there is...
I didn't say that.
Are you saying... Oh, okay, so I'm asking, at the point where there is obstruction, are you saying that there is an arrest taking place in that moment, or are you saying this is just an official duty from an officer in that moment? Which one of those two are you saying?
So this is the reason why I forgot his name, but he's talking past me right now.
Irrelevant.
So the reason why Irrelevant, I say his name now. The reason why Irrelevant's talking past me is because I'm talking about the lead up to this. He wants to just jump to the arrest, and we can get to that, but we need to talk about the lead up.
I'm asking you a question. Are you saying in the moment where he is approaching the woman and he shoves the woman, are you saying that this action is him arresting this woman, or are you saying this is just an official action?
Let me provide some context, though. I have to provide a little bit of context to what I'm talking about.
Answer the question first before you give me the context.
But this question requires context. I can't just say yes or no.
You can say yes and explain.
If he's in the way
first.
Okay. So what I'm going to say is we don't know.
So neither does
we don't know.
So neither does Pertti.
We don't have the answers well too, but that's why I have to provide the context.
Okay, so go ahead and give the context, but I've got another question for you right after. So go ahead and give your...
If we don't know, how does Pertti know? If we don't know,
so we know... So we know that he wasn't there to aid in law enforcement. And we do know that when he did step up to law enforcement, he didn't go there to assist or make things easier for this investigation to happen. We do know that. Even Pisco agrees with that. So if he was there, he was in the way. He was obstruction. He was an obstructionist the whole time. The reason why was because he slowed down and hampered investigations. Prior to that, we've seen a behavior from this guy. So you think that the day of, you think there would be a change of behavior and he would just stop doing this? That would be ridiculous.
It was literally 11 days prior before this incident happened, bro.
Hold on. because this is where we're getting caught up. There's two things here. One, when you bring up like the behavior from the past, I have no reason to believe that the officers who were there in the moment had any knowledge of him kicking a car or anything like that in the past. So I don't know that we would include that in the analysis of what the officers.
But they don't know.
Yeah, but Ken, is it fair? Hold on.
No,
Tom.
I agree, but that's what we're talking about right now.
Tom.
We're doing the legal analysis. Hold on, because this is why we're.
He doesn't need to though. They don't need to though, Tom. And I can make an argument on this. The officers don't need to know specifically it was that individual that 11 days ago he kicked out a fucking taillight. What they do know is that individuals that are over there interfering in disorder and law, them doing their jobs is something that they've seen time and time again. So not only that, we saw Pertti interfering in this confrontation that they were having with the woman. Okay, so they know these individuals that get involved.
So now it's a confrontation. It's not an arrest.
Not an arrest. Not an arrest anymore, right?
Not an arrest.
It would be a potential arrest because we didn't know because Pertti interfered.
Right?
Yes, could be a potential. This is and the reason why I was answering your question, why I was saying that this could have been arrest, more than likely is because they were already obstructing the traffic. They were already breaking. Wait, hold on. Do you agree that they were already breaking the law? Already, right? And when people break the law, people get arrested, correct? Is that an I'm not, no. Can you just answer me this? If they were breaking the law.
No, because.
Oh, you're just not going to answer my question. Okay, you're not going to answer my question?
This entire thing is your point. This entire thing
yeah, okay, so
I'm curious. The obstruction point.
Yes,
no, but I'm saying like
this is your point. This is not our point, and I'm holding you to it. How if you guys both admit you do not know whether or not an arrest was happening, how do you know he was obstructing an arrest?
So if somebody is interfering with an active investigation and police are walking up to somebody, why would you put yourself?
The question was no.
Why would you put your body in between somebody else who's approaching in law enforcement with the?
You just said it.
Well, hold on, Pisco.
So irrelevant. I heard what he said.
Pisco's not going to let anybody finish talking.
No, I just don't know.
Go ahead, Pisco. I don't interrupt
you. I heard you. You said, what other possible reason would he have for standing in front of them? Now, I will answer. We will answer that question.
You see how he just mischaracterized what I said? I didn't say that at all. I never said what possible reason. Do you need me to reframe this so you could still man it? What I said.
I want to hear you repeat the question I just asked you. Because you didn't answer, so I want to hear you repeat the question I just asked.
I'll deal with Pisco, then I can deal with you. Okay. So
he's not even.
Okay. What I'm saying is, he showed up. He wasn't there to assist law enforcement. I know we're running in circles here, but because he wasn't there to help law enforcement at all, he was in the way. All he's going to do is slow down an investigation and impede in all these procedures that were going to happen that day. I don't think he was there to help. What reason or purpose was he there? If he's going to protest, he can yell from the sidewalk and do all this shit. When you walk up with a firearm, I think the chances of a death or harm increase substantially.
Yeah, you didn't answer my question.
You didn't answer
my question.
Hold on.
The general purpose of why he's there. So the general purpose why he's there, we can talk about that. I don't think it's relevant at all.
Especially you wouldn't know this, right?
Well, I don't think it's relevant at all. But let's just talk about what Irrelevant asked. Irrelevant asked. It's almost like a logical entailment. He basically asked because your point was he was obstructing some action, and what action? The arrest. And he asked you, well, is it the case that we would be able to establish
a potential arrest? Yes.
No, an arrest. Whether
a potential arrest. That's that. Okay.
No, you're backtracking.
I'm not backtracking.
No.
I was asking your question of like how I would perceive that as an individual. It looks like an arrest. Okay, if he's impeding on that, then yes, they have the right to fucking go after him, spray him.
Jake did say a potential arrest, and he was saying that the fact that he's engaging with somebody on the sidewalk, that the fact that it could be. Hold on, this is what Jake was saying. That the fact that it could be an arrest is saying that like if you step in between, you could know that you are possibly impeding an arrest.
Right. It goes the more unsure, and you guys uncertainty. You guys expressed uncertainty. The more unsure it is that an arrest was happening, that's why you're having to say things like potential arrest because you know it's ridiculous.
It's not potential, bro. No, it's not ridiculous. Again, we can go back to the law of what you did. You brought up code 111. You brought up code 111. Pisco, hold on, Irrelevant. Shut up, Robin. Robin, shut up.
No.
I'm talking to Batman right now. Shut up, bro.
You guys have not answered my question.
Oh my God,
answered the question I asked like 10 minutes
ago.
Bro,
Irrelevant.
Please.
No. Can I just?
Neither one of them answered my question. Just to be clear, neither one of them.
He has asked the question like 3 times now.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask it again. If you do not know whether or not there was an arrest, how do you know he obstructed arrest?
So again, I'll re-explain this shit.
To the person, and he puts a body in between the other person, do you think that would slow down or hamper anything that was going to happen? Answer the question.
That's not an answer.
That's not an answer.
Do you think? Okay, hold on. Do you think when somebody detains somebody? Hold on.
Answer his question.
Do you think that when somebody detains somebody and you're looking from the outside in, that person's going to be arrested eventually? No. Answer my question. Hold on. If you see somebody being detained, all right?
You're assuming the thing.
It's not assuming the thing. I'm saying that when you're looking from the outside in, you can safely presume that there's an arrest happening.
Hold on. Wait.
What are you talking about, Pisco?
He's not assuming.
He just asked you a question. He's not
I'm
assuming.
well, again, I'm answering this question. He wants an absolute answer. I'm saying from the perspective of the cop and the perspective of Pertti.
Jake, hold on. Okay, so he's not assuming that there's an arrest. He is saying that there is a potential there. You're always trying to read context clues.
Well, I'm saying that. Yes,
you're wrong, Tom.
Hold on.
You're wrong.
Pisco, hold on.
Shut up. He just asked you a question.
Pisco, it doesn't matter if it's wrong. You're not engaging with that. So he's saying that
I am engaging with him.
Hey, how about you stop interrupting the mod, bro? Let the mod talk. Pisco, let the mod talk.
Wait, can I get one of them to answer my question before they ask?
Irrelevant. Shut up, bro. Let the mod talk. Bro.
Hold on.
Can we
Be respectful to the
do that?
panel. Respect the panel, please, bro.
Okay. This is his answer. Jake is saying that. I understand Marte saying something different, but Jake is saying that there's always context clues as to whether or not an arrest is happening, and that there's always a potential. You don't know whether or not an arrest is happening, and so you have to read the context clues to try to come to the best assumption. In this case, there's some clues that make it look like there could possibly be a potential arrest coming, or a detainment, or something like that, or any sort of official duty from this officer. And so, because there is a potential of that, him getting in the way whatsoever means that he knows there is a potential that he is stopping an arrest from happening. He's not making the claim that there was an arrest happening or there is a detainment happening, but that there is a potential of that when Pertti interferes. So Pisco, respond to that.
Listening. So Tom wasn't listening. Jake.
Oh
said,
my God.
You don't think?
Go ahead and keep straw manning, bro. Just keep straw manning. It's exactly my point.
Can I
I literally used the words the potential arrest.
Hold on. Let him respond. Hold on, let him respond.
I know that you've been trying different weasel tactics, including
weasel
making it more
tactics.
equivocal by saying things like potential arrest. It was potentially obstruction. Or Marte saying, wouldn't it factually be the case that you don't think that if a body's in front of you, it's harder to arrest? Like, those are not questions that are relevant to what we're talking about. But
yeah, they are.
Tom wasn't listening because in the iteration of the question, that Jake asked, you don't think that if you're detaining someone, that if you try to put your body in between, you're obstructing an arrest? That's begging the question. Because
it's not begging the question. It's a simple question. Do you believe that you could be interrupting a potential arrest or not? Just answer the question, bro. Answer the question. If you see somebody interrupting a detainment, would you say you're interrupting a potential arrest?
Jake, hold on.
All right.
Seriously, we got to slow down. Like, the interruptions are getting way too much. I'm literally just going to have to start muting people and talking to one person at a time if this continues. It's getting way too ridiculous. Pisco, please answer the question.
A relevance question was tailored to detainments and questioned whether it was reasonable for Pertti, not just in the context of constitutional arrest. We're using arrest as a label to refer to detentions, including Terry stops and any kind of seizure by the police. And so when you assume in your question or in your statement that a detention in fact occurred, obviously you're begging the question in that you are assuming the very thing that's in question.
Oh, and I'm using sleazy tactics, okay?
Whether or not
I'm using sleazy tactics, okay?
Whether or not a reasonable person from Pertti's position would think a detention was actually occurring.
That's very reasonable.
Of course not. Did he say, stop right there, don't move, you're under arrest, we're detaining you? You don't hear shit about that.
You don't have to. You don't have to hear it, bro. What are you talking about? He has eyes. He has eyes, fucker. He has eyes, fucker. What are you talking about?
Arrest.
Oh my God.
He's not only pushing her away.
When we lead up to an arrest, we have to literally look at the details.
Push people to the ground. You just push people to the ground.
You can push somebody to the ground and still arrest them, you stupid fuck. What are you talking about?
A reasonable individual looking at that situation. Okay, then if that's the case, then why didn't, if that's what you're saying, why didn't he arrest her after pushing her the first time?
So Alex Pertti kind of got in the way, right? Proves the obstruction.
No, he didn't. Not after the first time. Not after the first time.
Hold on. Why does he have to do it the first time, bro? He was getting her. He was getting, dude,
because the street.
Hold on. Keep that thought right there, because if you say, why didn't he arrest her? Well, guess what happened? Shots rang out because Alex Pertti kind of got in the way, didn't he?
You just jumped like 30 seconds between the first push and then the shots getting rung out. The first push happened. The first push happened, and then he moved on to the other chick and pushed the other chick. There was no arrest. There was no arrest.
The answer's in the situation. How come no arrest happened?
Why didn't he arrest the woman he
Oh,
pushed?
well, maybe because Alex Pertti got in the way and fucking interfered in the arrest. How about that? You fucking irrelevant. Irrelevant. Would you, bro? Oh my God, this guy's a retard.
The question is, okay, after everything happened, why didn't they go and arrest her? If she engaged in some sort of arrestable action where she ought to have been arrested, even after what happened with Pertti, she was still there. She didn't flee the scene. She didn't run away. She was still there.
Well, do you understand?
Hold on, Martel. Hold on, Martel.
Or during.
Let him finish.
Wait. No, hold on. I'm asking Marte, and I want like a simplistic answer to this, please. Why didn't they actually arrest her after this?
Well, because if you think about this could be an optics nightmare, especially for any agency. So we're going to tackle the biggest thing, and we can let people go, right? This happens all the time. If we say, you know what, we were originally going to do this, but right now we have an optics nightmare that we have to kind of untangle right now because the media, we talk about headline nightmares like this is something that they have to de-escalate. We have debriefing that happens after this. And
Tom,
I think that this is one of those cases where we have bigger fish to fry. We can let her go.
Tom, can I answer the question really quick?
Okay, so
obviously there was escalation that happened right after that we had to deal with.
Well, hold on. So irrelevant. Do you think it needs to be an arrest in order for this to be considered obstruction?
Of an arrest? Yes, that is how material matter works in the universe.
No, it's
literally.
No, that's false.
Jake, Marte, hold on. Stop. Hold on. Jake, Marte, stop talking. Holy shit. This is fucking insane. This is getting absolutely fucking ridiculous. Holy shit. Okay. So not obstruction of an arrest, but just like obstruction of like an officer acting in some sort of official duty. So like even if
you have to say what it is.
Yeah, you don't need
a guys, can you let Tom finish? Let Tom finish.
Even if they're trying to just clear people off of the street, let's say it's not obstruction of an arrest. And he is like
but he wasn't obstructing that.
Trying to that's
you can't prove that.
Okay, so
just
guys, hold on, stop.
Let Tom finish, guys.
I was just going to ask a clarifying question.
Irrelevant. Shut the fuck up. Pisco, shut the fuck up.
I was trying to ask a clarifying
question.
Shut
the fuck up, dude. You're still fucking talking. Shut the fuck up and let Tom finish.
Guess what? Hey,
jeez, bro. You see what I mean?
Ask a clarifying question.
Who gives a shit? Let Tom finish, and then you can ask your clarifying question. Shut the fuck up. Let Tom finish. Oh my God, this guy's such.
Stop chimping out,
bro. Shut the fuck up and let Tom finish, bro. Respect the platform, bro.
Tom, I forgot.
Oh my
Stop.
God.
Tom, I forgot what you said at the beginning. I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question that
he's
you were
retarded,
asking me at
Tom.
the beginning of it?
He's retarded, Tom.
No, it's because you keep mouthing off and losing your mind. Quit
You
slowing
keep
out.
interrupting Tom. Let him finish, bro.
No, I'm not. You are. Leo, please repeat.
This guy's retarded.
I'm asking, even if he is just trying to, let's say, escort the woman off of the road or get her out of the road in some way. She's she's in the way of traffic, and he's just trying to remove her from the road. And Alex Pertti inserts himself between her and the cop, or the cop and her. Would this still be obstruction in this case?
No, if anything, that'd be aiding law enforcement because you're aiding them out of the obstruction that they're arguing. That is literally, as you described, you said that if Alex Pertti was assisting the woman out of the roadway, which the officer is claiming is the obstruction, then he'd be assisting the situation to be able to.
Hold on.
I mean, materially.
That's so stupid.
Just be clear, that was aiding law enforcement. You mean he was aiding a woman, not law enforcement?
Okay.
I answer the question. And that's the
guys,
truth of the question.
really quick.
You want to soy out about that? You can soy out about that.
Hey, both of y'all.
That is
both of
true
y'all.
with what he said.
Tom has something to say.
True with what he said.
Tom has something to say. Tom has something to say.
Jake, why do you disagree with that?
What specifically?
So you weren't even listening to the thing that you just specifically disagreed with?
Oh my God!
Wait, I want it noted that this guy chipped out and he lost his fucking mind.
Because you guys were over talking each other. You guys were over talking each other. I'm sorry. You guys were literally over talking each other. I literally couldn't hear either of y'all. What specifically?
You just fucking plugged into your mic.
Bro, are you just gonna fucking bro? You were literally spurging out.
Go ahead, Tom.
You have Martel talking over you. I can't hear what you guys are saying. This is why I said let Tom speak.
I didn't talk over anybody.
Shut the fuck up, bro.
You guys talked over me in my response.
Hold on. Okay, so Jake, the question was if he's just trying to get her out of the road and Preddy gets in the way,
Yeah.
is this still obstruction? He said in this case, he would actually be assisting the officer because he would be helping her out of the road. So he would be assisting the officer get her out of the road after she's laying on her butt in the middle of the road. Because he shoved her.
Okay, so the argument is after he shoved her and then he gets in the way of the or the ICE agent, he would be assisting the ICE agent by getting her out of the road. Is that your argument, irrelevant?
Assuming he's dispersing her.
Assuming he's dispersing her from the principal place that the officer was shoving her as a result of obstructing.
I would say this: if everybody communicated saying, "Officer, I'm going to be helping you get her out of the road," and I saw everything right there, and he said that, he made it clear, then I would agree with you, relevant. But that wasn't the case at all, bro. So again, going back to my point is that when you see conflict there, and an agent is in conflict with another individual, and you get in the way of that, that's obstructing whatever the agency, whether it's a potential arrest or whatever the case is, detainment, etc. Then this would be
away.
Which time? Which one? He pushed two women, to be clear.
Well, why couldn't he get behind? Why couldn't he get behind the woman?
Was he walking towards the woman after he dispersed and pushed her away, or was he walking away?
Which one?
Who?
Which one of the women?
Was he any one of the women? Was he walking towards their direction after he pushed them?
The one that we were talking about. We were talking about
the shoving one.
The CBP.
Okay,
agent?
so to be clear, he shoved two women. So the first woman that he shoved, he walked towards them and caught them, and the second woman that he shoved, he got in between them and then tried to help her up.
No, that doesn't answer my question. Can you answer the question? After the officer pushed the woman, did he continue to walk?
Not answer your question. You just want to argue. There's literally that answers your question.
Can you answer the question instead of evading the question?
Marte, he just gave you two examples. He's asking which one you're talking about. The second.
Either one. I want either one. Was he walking towards either one of the women's directions after he pushed her?
He might have been, but that's consistent with both.
No. So he's walking towards the conflict.
Wait, I just answered yes, but that's consistent with the dispersal purpose.
Right.
Yes, but
hold on. There's the second part of the question. No, wait, hold on. There's a second part of the question. There's a reason why I asked this. So if he's walking towards the woman, what reason would Alex Pertti help out with the officer if there's already capable, healthy, two-armed, two-legged man walking already to the woman's direction to already help and assist?
To help a woman who just fell on the ground up.
So
how did he do? Wait, hold on. How is he helping her up if he went between the officer and her?
Whatever, bro.
Hold on.
Who cares? Somebody hit her head. Who cares?
Hold on.
Why would Alex Pertti assist the officer?
He was helping her up. Shut the fuck up, dude.
Hold on. So
she was objectively helping her up.
No, he wasn't. He literally put his hands on the ICE officer and pushed him. He shoved the ICE officer when he was going over there.
He didn't shove.
Yes, he did.
What are you talking about? Where is that?
Yes, he put his hands on the ICE. Yes, he did.
Where's the shove?
Yeah, you can look at the footage. He put his hands on the officer. Yes, he did. Bro, he put his hands on the officer, and that's when the officer.
Jake. Okay, so Marte, when they're saying that they're saying that the officer is engaged in some sort of lawful duty, right? They're trying to make arrests, they're doing raids, whatever, right? They're trying to get her out of the road. They shove her to the side. We would assume he wants to go back to his job and do what he's doing. So if he shoves her to the side and Alex Pertti, let's say, if he picked her up and helped her to her feet and then they got to the sidewalk, like that would have been the end of that action, right?
But Tom, let me engage with this real quick. So the reason why I'm talking about
I'm just trying to get to a point where we can actually move forward. So you agree that would have been the end of the action?
Can we tie this up though first before we move forward? Because if the officer
after this, but I don't want to get lost in another whole thing without an answer.
I'll make this quick. I'm not going to be long. So if the officer pushed the woman and he continued advancing toward her direction, would it not be safe to say that he was still going to deal and finalize with the outcome of his actions? Why would Alex Pertti then assist with an officer already moving to her direction?
Wait, no.
Well,
it's consistent.
You see what I'm saying? How much evidence?
No. That is the question: is what evidence is there that he was engaged in further action with her?
He was walking and making advancements toward her, stepping towards her continuously.
So first of all, he's over.
That's an action in itself. Yes.
First of all, he's overstating the nature of the advancement. I mean, he pushed him, and then quite quickly, Pertti was there. It's not like he was stalking her very closely. But number two. All that is consistent with the rationale of dispersal, which is what you accepted it was, and none of No. What's key? Let me finish my fucking thought. None of Pertti's actions indicate an obstructive intent. And the question isn't whether or not, you can invent some rationale for police there, or whether, Pertti acted perfectly with respect to his own like health and well-being. The question is, have you demonstrated obstruction? And you have failed because you've conceded now. I think. Let me just finish. I think you guys have conceded that a reasonable person wouldn't perceive a detention from those facts and circumstances.
What are you talking about? No, we didn't.
Wait, let me finish. Let me finish.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at your take. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Let me finish.
Go ahead, bro.
Because of course it's absurd in the absence of any sort of physical, any sort of attempt to physically detain, and just from the basis of a push, it's absurd. Or, for example, a spray to conclude that a detention has happened. You now have to invent a new theory of obstruction, and so now the theory of obstruction is like, oh, well, they're dispersing them, but you haven't been able to connect the dots to how.
No. Well, can I hold on?
Helping up a woman would obstruct lawful dispersion.
Hold on. And you agree with irrelevant that Alex Pertti in the video went and helped up the woman? You agree with that?
Wait,
hold on. No. I'm asking Pisco. Was he there between the two, and he was helping her up after she got shoved? What?
The second woman, yes, he tried to help.
The second woman, he was trying to. No, he didn't. Not even close. He put his hands on the officer, pushed him away. He didn't even attempt to bring her up.
There's no push. He's just making stuff up.
He didn't attempt to bring her up. What are you talking about? You're literally making shit up, bro.
Off the hard side before bed. You're making.
Okay, play the video, Tom, and let's see where Alex is helping up the woman. Play the video,
what you said
please.
Maybe that would be helpful.
Yeah, it would. Because he's not helping up the woman at all. What are you talking about?
You just said something.
And the fact that Pisco bid on that is so stupid.
Hold on. Hey,
I thought you were a lawyer, Pisco. Come on.
Hold on.
Pisco.
I'm pulling up the video. Hold on. No. Don't talk.
All right.
No talking. I'm going to play the video. We're going to play this through. And then
this is the push.
When I stop,
this is the
then
push,
I will ask a question. So
Tom, I got to take a piss. Be right back. Hold on.
Okay. You ready for the push?
This is.
Wow, look at the push.
I can't see anything.
Okay, so this is. You don't see the share screen?
No.
Okay, there's a share screen up on Discord. Do you see where it says?
Oh yeah. Okay. Now I watch it. Or hold on. It's loading. Yeah. Now I see it.
Okay. So this is the officer shoves her. He walks
now.
Over, and he stands there.
Oh, it looks like he didn't help her at all.
Where's the push? Where's the push? No, he is going to help.
No, you made the argument that he was helping her up. Both of y'all said that. Where is he helping her up?
He's
where?
About to.
Where? He's avoiding the pepper. No, he got pepper sprayed. You fucking moron. That's what he's reacting to. What are you talking about? You dumb fuck.
Okay, I gotta mute everybody. As I said, do not talk. I'm going to play a couple videos. Just wait. Hold on. This is not that fucking hard. I've never had this much fucking trouble just trying to get through a fucking panel. Holy shit. All right. And then this is the other angle that we have as well.
Oh, he touched him. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. That's what happened. He put his hands on him. Thank you.
Right here.
Push, and then he shoves him. Yes. Thank you.
Between these two.
Shoves him, gets pepper sprayed. Where's he helping him up? Where is he helping her up?
So
irrelevant.
Jake, in that video, do you still feel as though he is pushing or shoving?
Yeah, play the first one really quick. Play the first one. Where he puts his hands on the ICE agent. That's a better angle. It's the first one.
Touch equals push?
The first one. Puts his hands on him, but there's a better angle that you played.
That's push. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
that is a push.
Hold on. Yeah, he touches the ICE agent. Touches him, pushes him. He reacts.
Touch and push is not synonymous.
He pushed him, bro. He put his hands on an ICE agent. And then he got sprayed. He got sprayed. He literally, bro. He pushed him, bro. He put his hands. It doesn't matter. He put his hands on the. He put his.
It doesn't matter what we say.
Bro, he pushed him. I said he. Okay, dude, can you meet the guy?
Tom, later in the
you literally put up footage of him putting his hands on an ICE agent. Yes, he shoved them. All right, whether it's a light shove or not.
Where's the shove?
It's right there. Are you
You're
stupid?
backtracking. Where's the shove?
Okay, bro. Let's go to the.
So
That was the
Pisco,
shove. Are you
universal
blind?
language for stop is hands up, right?
Oh my god.
That's
dude.
universal. Right? When I put my hands up, it means stop that action or whatever you're doing, right?
Putting your hands up like this means
What are you
He
asking?
pushed
me? Or
him,
you
bro.
asking- I said
I
Tom.
want to have a direct back and forth with you. So the universal language, when I put my hand up, it means stop, right? This is universal for the most part,
Please
right?
don't shoot me. Please don't fire me with pepper spray that you're like aiming at me right now.
No,
Well, he put
can
his
you
hands
answer
on an
the
ICE
question? I'm
officer.
not
He
talking
shoved
about that. Is that universal for stop?
No, different context and different answers. So, for example, if you put your hands up in like basketball, it means throw me the ball. If you it's a
No,
different
hold on,
context,
hold
you're gonna
on.
have
In
different
this
answers.
circumstance, Pisco, in this circumstance,
Please
when
don't
he
fire.
got
Please
in the
don't
way
fire.
in between them, was
Please
he
don't
telling
fire.
them to stop their actions?
Please don't fire at me with your pepper spray, sir.
No, he didn't say that. He said that. He was like, "Please don't fire me with my pepper spray."
No,
Is that what his
being
words were? Shut the
communicated.
fuck up,
Hand
Pisco.
motion
means.
Pisco,
Oh
shut the
my
fuck up,
God, I
bro.
didn't say he said that. You fucking
He put
idiot.
he
I
put
didn't
his
say he
hands
did
on an
that.
ICE officer and he got pepper sprayed. That's what happened. He didn't help the
Alright,
woman
hold
up,
on.
right? Irrelevant. You can agree that he didn't help her
No,
up.
he literally had to keep going in the video.
Oh my
Literally keep
god,
going
we
in the
saw
video.
the other video that
Like 2
tomfoolery
seconds
put
of the
out.
video.
He never
2
fucking
seconds of
helped
the
her
video.
up. Your claim was that he helped her up. It never happened, irrelevant.
Hold on.
You're just making shit up, dude.
You're adding intention where there isn't
hold on.
intention, Pisco,
Jake,
even with the
hold on.
context.
All right,
missing.
Jake, you hear me talking? This is hold on. Jake, are you claiming that he assaulted the officer? Like he just like this is an assault on an officer now? Yes.
Yeah, we can look back at the code 111 that Pisco mentioned earlier. When you look at the code right here, it does assault, resistance, impeding, interference, etc. Any type of these things would involve into any type of assault. Okay, he did put his hands on an ICE officer. He went out of his way to get between them. Okay, and he touched the officer. He gave him a light shove.
didn't
but that-
shove.
Yes, he gave him a light
He did
shove.
not shove.
Bro, look at the
No,
video.
he
He
didn't
gave him.
shove.
All right, irrelevant. Hold on. Let me finish answering the
lying.
question.
Literally
This guy's
lying.
just in denial. Let me finish the question. Then in the second
lying.
video, that you said that you showed, it didn't show him at all helping up the woman the way he was claiming and Pisco was
Played
claiming
2
earlier.
seconds.
No,
Dude, you can play the
played
whole
2
thing.
seconds in it.
Okay, play the whole thing and let's see when.
He literally.
What did he try to? You made the claim that he did. He didn't. You're just making shit up.
We didn't
You're
watch
literally.
the video. We literally watched 2
Hold on.
seconds of the video.
Hold on.
Have you not seen these
Hold on,
videos, you
so
fucking
if you-
idiot?
hold on,
Did you
really
come into this
You
debate?
tried to help her up.
No,
yeah.
you obviously did
No,
not.
no,
He didn't
no,
help her up, you
yes.
fucking moron.
Stop. Okay, so the claim is that
Fucking
initially
idiot.
when they were talking about him getting in between them, that he is helping up the woman. Irrelevant. Is he immediately going to help up the woman, or is he standing between the officer and the woman first?
No,
and then going-
immediately after he shoved the woman. No, that wasn't my claim. My claim was that he was helping him up after the shove.
No, that didn't happen. He got pepper sprayed, you moron.
Hold on, Jake.
That's why he went
I
like
don't
this.
need that.
What?
He got pepper sprayed right away. He got pepper sprayed. He turned
Let me
away.
make this. Let me make this. Let me make this clear. Wait. I just want to get this. I want to get this clear.
Holy shit, this guy's retarded.
This guy who got pepper sprayed.
Holy shit.
This guy who got pepper sprayed is incapable of helping a woman up, but he requires
Oh, wow.
7 men to get on top of them and also execute.
So you
them
agree with
because he's
me that
resisting.
he's
But
incapable
he's
of
not
helping her
capable of
up?
helping a woman.
Well, okay, great. You're pivoting to
That's what
something
I'm
else.
hearing. That's
You're
literally
pivoting.
what I'm hearing.
Hold on.
Okay, just to be clear.
What you're doing is you're loading a fallacious claim up.
Hold on,
Claim-
Bartek.
You don't even know what the word fallacious means at this point. I don't.
I'm
even think
muted,
you
by the way,
understand
guys.
The words you're using.
Factory. That's what you are.
Hold on. Okay, my mic booster, I just realized I don't have it on, so I guess I'm quiet as fuck. But I don't know if you guys just can't hear me half the time or what the fuck's going on. But
Half the time, it is hard to hear you, unironically.
yeah, you might have to turn me up a bit. I just realized, yeah, I don't have my mic booster on. I totally forgot about it, which means I'm at like 25% volumes. So yeah, you might have to turn me up to like 200%. Okay, so we agree he did not immediately go to help her up. In this in-between phase, we're gonna move off this part pretty quick here. So just seriously, and everybody slow down. And like we're gonna do one person at a time. We gotta chill, allow people to finish. We all agree he was not immediately going to help her up. So in this time between
I don't agree with that.
the officer shove, wait, you don't
irrelevant.
agree that he was not immediately going to help her up?
No,
Not
that-
irrelevant, Pisco.
No, he got
I
pepper
know that
sprayed.
wasn't your claim, Pisco. I didn't say that. I didn't ask. Thank you, Jake. You agree he was not immediately going to help her up. You
I don't
do
think-
agree with that. That is your. I don't know why you just said you disagree with that. That is your claim. He was not immediately going to help
Who
her
are you
out.
talking
No,
to? Am I allowed to
I'm
talk or
saying
no?
that
Are you talking to me?
there's
Jake.
yeah, me.
Jake made the
Oh,
opposite
Jake.
claim. This is you're pushing his straw man of us. That's what you're doing right now, Tom.
No, Jake said you guys. Hold on. I am not. It's Holy shit.
Pisco, you didn't even hear what
Yeah,
he
these
said.
guys are
Hey,
retarded.
just
I know.
shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. Just shut the fuck up. Jake, you agree he was not immediately going to help her out, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Well, okay, hold on.
Yeah. Okay.
I was saying that he wasn't even attempting to help her up.
I know. That's what it doesn't matter.
That was
Okay,
his point the
now,
whole time, Tom.
after that point,
Mhm.
now that we agree, he was not immediately going to help her up. That is whether or not that was anybody
He
claiming.
never attempted it.
Now, in this in between time, once he has stood between her and the officer, Pisco, this is if he was making an arrest. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions here. So, if he was making an arrest and he stood between the two of them, would that be obstruction in this case? And
Not necessarily.
If so, why or why not? Okay,
Not necessarily.
go ahead.
So, because it doesn't matter just whether or not he's subjectively making an arrest to find obstruction. Obstruction has to do with the proposed criminal defendant's state of mind and intent. And so, even if we could have testimony that we believed, that is, that the officer was intending to effectuate an arrest, and let's say that we all knew for
wasn't the
certain he was
question, but
telling the
okay.
truth. Jake, why don't you shut your mouth?
It
for
wasn't his
2
question.
fucking seconds?
He said
You don't understand
if we
anything.
knew he was
So I
doing it.
answered, So I answered the question, and the
No, you're
answer
not.
is not necessarily.
didn't.
The
You're not
answer-
answering the
I
question.
did.
Hey,
Yes.
hold
So
on.
when he asked,
As I said, I got a couple of questions, and you guys just chill for a minute. while we
yeah.
get through
So when Tom asked, is it the case that if he were effectuated,
No,
an
he didn't
arrest,
say if.
would it
He
then
said
be
if it was.
That's the same
It's
thing.
assuming it.
No, it's not.
That's the same
No,
shit.
was and
Answer
if are two different
He's
things.
assuming it
What is
instead of
wrong
the
with
question.
you?
He asked
You're literally a too low IQ to have a mic.
All right, go ahead and
You're
not answer
literally
the
too
question,
low
Pisco.
IQ to
Go
have a
ahead.
mic.
Go ahead and not answer the question, Pisco.
Seriously, you should go back to high school. Seriously.
Okay.
But so the question was,
seriously
if it was
stop
the
talking.
case,
Yeah, great argument.
so if it was the
I-
case that he was
Holy shit! Is this seriously that fucking difficult? Shut the fuck up. Answer the question, please. Everybody else, shut the fuck up. Holy shit! This is not that fucking difficult. What
So
the
the question
fuck?
is,
This is simple as
question, Tom-
fuck, dude. The fucking 20th time. Holy shit! Shut up! Damn it, dude! What the fuck? This is not that hard. I'm trying to
Yes.
get through. This is the simplest
Tom
fucking
is
thing.
great.
We gotta spend fucking 30 minutes.
I
on
love
every
Tom as the
fucking
moderator.
question.
I love
Why?
Tom as the moderator.
Okay,
You're
please.
spurging, Tom.
so
Okay.
the question that Tom asked was, assume
Nope.
if conditional on it, all synonyms, assume that it is
Nope.
the case that he was effectuating an arrest, would then there be an obstruction? And the answer
Nope.
to that was no, not necessarily. That is an answer to the question. And the reason is because his culpability when it comes to obstruction turns on criminal intent. And of course, criminal intent doesn't turn on the subjective intent of the person doing the government action. It turns on the individual who is committing the purportedly illegal act. And if it were the case that notwithstanding the subjective intention of the officer to go and arrest a person, that a reasonable person in in Alex Pertti's position would not think that he was effectuating a detention or an arrest or whatever word you want to put in there, then of course he would be lacking the obstructive intent. And in this case, even if I granted that it was his subjective intent to effectuate an arrest, the indicia are so laughable that he was effectuating an arrest that I would not say that he has the obstructive intent. That's my answer, Tom.
Okay, so
The non-answer. It's crazy.
Yeah, great non-answer, bro.
He just answered the entire the thing that we've been debating for the
He
last
inserted
hour. by the way.
if
Yeah.
That
with
was like a
was.
massive
He inserted
dump
if
of
with
all of the
was.
different
That's not
questions
answering the
we're
question,
gonna
you
ask,
dumb
but
fuck.
I don't know what you guys thought that I was asking. That is what I was asking. So that is the.
Oh,
Well, you
wow.
literally
So
you literally
Shut
used the word
fuck
was,
up,
but okay.
retards.
I don't accept that as an answer. That's
If he's in the middle
retarded.
of
Good. Nobody asked you.
if he's in the middle
Irrelevant.
of
You're still talking.
and they are in this confrontation, and he stands between them, and the officer is now trying to move him or tells him to move, and he still stays between them and starts to help her up as well. Would that be obstruction?
If the officer is trying to move in a particular direction and Alex Pertti refuses to move from where he is, would that be considered obstruction?
if the
that your
officer is
question?
still trying to get to the woman and tells Pertti to move, and Pertti stays there, would that be
Not
obstruction?
so not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Another again the answer to it, because
I'm just so vague. Not
with
necessarily. I
respect,
can't answer questions.
Well, can we
respect,
just
that
let
is
him
an answer to
speak?
the question. So the 18 USC 111, as interpreted by the Eighth Circuit, applies forcibly in that conduct to every single one of the verbs that's listed there. And if at the time in which Pertti is like not moving or whatever, that's the first time at which it crystallizes the intent to detain, and he takes no other volitional action than just to stand where he is. I don't think that you've had, it's a separate element, is that crimes assume a volitional act, a minimal volitional act before you can be charged with a crime. And so just maintaining to be where he is, not like planting himself, I would say, no, that's not enough. Even after it's been made clear that he has that doesn't mean that he couldn't push him out of the way or something. But again, the question isn't what could the officer do? The question is, what has Pertti committed obstruction? And I think that at the time it's crystallized that he's trying to detain this person. If he does no more than just stand where he is, he hasn't taken a volitional act such that the ambit of the law applies to him.
Okay, last question.
Can I ask you? Can I ask a question?
Hold on, I'm coming to you next, Marte. No, if
Go ahead.
it was the case that Pertti sees the officer come and shove this woman, that he didn't hear any sort of orders, that this officer just comes up and just shoves this woman to the ground, and is now pulling out like pepper spray or something like that, and he stands in between them, would this be considered, is it possible this could be considered some sort of justified self-defense of another?
Depends.
It's possible, yeah. I mean, I think that there it actually is in certain places, even in the context of law enforcement use of force, it can be justified to apply force against law enforcement. Think about the Breonna Taylor case. Is that the case?
Do you think that is the case here? That
yeah.
this could be a justified self-defense case where he is defending somebody else in this scenario?
I'm not sure. The answer is I don't know. I haven't analyzed it from that perspective, and so I don't know.
Okay. And
Like,
Marte,
I'm not assessing whether or not it was justified for him to use the force, because of course he's dead and so he's not going to be charged. I'm analyzing whether the use of force from the perspective of the officers was justified, and I think basically all of this is unjustified and therefore illegal. The push, the use of pepper or whatever spray, spray, I don't know what the spray is called, multiple times, and then ultimately obviously the firing shots, which I hope that we'll get to at some point.
Okay. And then Marte, do you think that it's possible that this could have been, if the officer didn't ask them to move, if he shoves the woman and then is pulling out pepper spray, and it seems like in this case it would be unjustified, if he stood in between them in the way that he did, do you think that this could be justified in that case, if that was the case?
Yes, and I can explain why. So this was called, let's be frank here. It was Operation Metro Surge that we're talking about here. The DHS agents came to go ahead and enforce this. So Pertti, armed with a loaded 9mm handgun and 2 full magazines, inserted himself into a heated enforcement scene. He didn't like leave or do anything else. He was there to literally hamper the investigation that was happening. We can see this by him physically inserting himself between the woman and the approaching men. So this heated enforcement scene recording and obstructing agents amid protest. Now, he would be a protester if he was staying to the side, being vocal in his disagreement with what they were doing. But what he did was he physically inserted himself, bodily, like basically positioned himself in what we would even call a fatal funnel. If you're in a doorway in front of a car, which would be like tantamount to what we had before, you're inserting yourself physically in between a scene of a heated exchange between two people. That's obstruction to me. And there's nothing that you can tell me that isn't obstruction when he raises his hand up like this and it says stop, meaning like, I need you to stop your actions impeding the duties and everything else. Maybe there's an arrest, maybe there wouldn't be an arrest, but he's in the way. He's in the way. Even if we say he wasn't effectuating arrest, he would have slowed them down. He's basically a speed bump amid a heated exchange and arrest that probably could have happened, but we're not here because of could have. We saw what happened. He put his hand up, and that means to stop. You're telling somebody with the authority and weapon that's trying to basically stop illegal immigrants in the city to slow down and stop. That's crazy. That's pure obstruction to me, even by presence alone.
Maybe the pepper spray could be what
doesn't wanna
he's
be
trying to
sprayed.
shield his face from?
No,
That's
Yeah,
not
that's an
possible. No,
assumption.
okay.
No,
So when you're
That's
getting
an
pepper
assumption.
sprayed,
Just
putting your
freaks me
hand
out.
up means okay. Really? So putting your hand up when you're getting
Gigi.
pepper sprayed
Hey, getting
doesn't mean
pepper
sprayed.
sprayed. I'm just
It's
working out
resisting
right now.
Sprayed in the
It's
face.
resisting arrest.
It's resisting arrest. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All
So
right. Yeah.
irrelevant. If
Okay,
you're
that's
blinded by
crazy.
Pepper spray. Why would he not face another direction? He was
He
visibly.
turned his head. He turned his head. Did we
Because he
not watch
got
the same
pepper
video?
sprayed, you fucking moron. Let me pepper spray you and see if you turn your
That's
head.
my point, you animal. He was getting
Irrelevant.
pepper sprayed, so he raised his hand and turned his head away.
Relevant. Hold on. Let me
Exactly
I'm
what
just gonna
Pisco.
answer
Oh, Pisco,
Oh
you
my
just
God.
resisted arrest on stream. I mean, they're coming for you. I mean, it's
Relevant.
over.
I just want to ask a question. Look, let's slow this down a little bit. I just want some. I just want this to be cleared up. So, if you get pepper sprayed and you're visibly shaken and you can't see anything, why was his body positioned directly towards the officers? If he knew where he was, he wouldn't step aside. Normally, I pepper sprayed plenty of people in the line of duty. What they do is step out of the way most of the time, especially if we give commands. So, in order to like,
He
address
literally
what Pete-
keeled over.
No, he was
Keeled
helping up
over.
the woman. What are you talking about? No, he was helping up the woman, remember?
Keeled
Let me
over.
finish this real
He
quick.
got
I'm
pepper
almost
sprayed. He
done.
And then
leaned back and he
to
put
help
his
the
hand
woman,
up to
right?
be able to defend himself.
No, he tried to
do
help
we
the
need to
woman,
rewatch
remember?
the footage?
Yeah,
Hold
you're,
on,
no,
irrelevant.
irrelevant. He tried to help the woman up. Remember that after he got pepper
Yes,
sprayed, he tried to help
later,
the
yes,
woman.
after, yes.
No, he did.
Pisco was saying that in order
And then also tried to help her up afterwards. Fucking
He
idiot.
literally grabs her. I
Yeah,
don't.
hold on.
literally
Hold
grabs
on.
her.
Hold
No, he
on.
doesn't, bro.
Hold
He
on,
gets pushed
Marte-
to the ground
Marte
afterwards.
asked
Yes,
a
he does.
question,
Look
and
at
then
the
we might
video.
go back
You're
to the
so
video.
inconsistent,
Yeah, we
it's
might go back to the
insane.
video. Marte,
No, wait.
Marte,
He
I'm
he
almost
grabs-
done.
grabs the woman.
Hold
You
on,
claiming
hold on,
he
wait,
didn't
wait,
grab
hold
the
on,
woman?
Hold on. Marte, ask your question, and then we might end up going back to the video. So ask your question real quick.
Okay, Pisco had stated something. He said, well, if you're trying to disperse and create distance, why would you close the distance? Well, after you pepper spray somebody, you have to give them an exit.
I don't think he
You have
ever
to give
said
them a
that.
way out.
Say that.
Hold on, irrelevant. Did I interrupt you?
Well, he's
Let me
making
finish
shit
real
up.
quick. I'm almost done.
I didn't say
making
that.
J up.
I didn't say that.
Pisco is saying
Hold
that
on,
he
hold
didn't
on.
say
So
making shit
Pisco, Pisco, I'm addressing what you just said so we can move
Go
forward.
smoke a
Move the
cigarette,
conversation
loser.
forward. We can't do that unless we tie these ends. So
All right. Go for it.
right. So after he pepper sprayed the person and this happened, the officers were trying to engage with the woman. They weren't moving any other direction but towards the woman. So when we do this, we're responsible for the person who got pepper sprayed by giving them water, giving them an exit, or things like that. So even after we're creating distance, we're still dealing with the situation. Alex Pertti, by inserting himself between the heated exchange, would actually be slowing things down. Would he speed it up or slow it down? Can you answer the question?
Well, it's possible that he might have had the effect of slowing down. That doesn't mean that he did the crime, but just be
Right.
clear.
Well,
You're getting
That's
the chronology
obstruction.
wrong. No, it's not. No, it's not.
No,
it's not.
no, you admitted it.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's
Yes,
not. Just
that
because you have
is.
the
Are
Are you
effect-
gonna let him
No,
respond?
it's not.
Are you gonna let him
No, it's
respond
not.
or
No,
what?
it's not. No, it's
Marte,
not. No, it's not.
Marte,
Just
hold on,
just
let him
because
give
see,
the explanation.
this is why when we answer, we qualify is because you're going to run with something that's like we're trying to be good faith and answer. Yeah, it might have the effect of slowing some operation you want to do down, but that isn't obstruction in and of itself. Obstruction, of course, requires intent, and you're getting the chronology wrong. The point at which he inserts himself isn't when he sprays the officer. It's obviously when he pushes the woman. That's when it gets involved. And so everything you just said was a big like fantasy or like confabulation that you made up because obviously he inserts himself
Intent-
before the spray.
Intent is in
So
code
if he
111.
inserted
Intent is
himself-
not in there, but okay.
If he inserted himself before the spray, one could piece together chronologically the order of what happened so the officers can make a safe assumption that he's in the way, right?
But, not with respect to obstruction.
But no, wait, hold on.
No.
I just asked the question.
He's
Pisco. Can you answer
physically
this?
in the way. He's physically in the way, but that doesn't mean
Yeah,
he's obstructed.
also he is in the way. Would that be
He's
called an
physically in the way.
obstruction?
No,
No.
necessarily.
Oh, wait, well, hold on.
He has to
If
be
you're trying
spiritually
to
in the
arrest
way,
somebody
bro.
On the other side of a crowd, is the entire crowd obstructing because they're in your way?
No.
Yes or no?
I'm asking.
Yes or
Pisco.
no?
Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes or no? Yes
No,
or
because the crowd's not committing a crime, you fucking moron. No, because the crime, because they're not committing. They're not actually obstructing anything. They're not obstructing anything. It's a crowd. That's how it works.
Hey, calm yourself down, you animal. Go smoke a cigarette. Yo, if there's a crowd of people,
there's a crowd of
between
people,
you
they're
and the person
obstructing.
that you are trying to arrest, is that obstruction? Is the crowd obstructing?
Pisco,
Because
what's
they're
the
delaying
definition
your
of
arrest.
Not unlawfully.
Look at this-
They're not
this guy. He
unlawfully
can't answer
disrupting.
anything.
Pisco,
Tom,
what's
can
the
you hold him to
definition of
answering a single
obstruction?
question?
Marte, the question that they're asking, if there's a person who's just standing in your way, is this necessarily obstruction? just
During
because
an
they're-
investigation and during an active possible
No.
crime scene, yes, it is.
Possible.
Wait, wait, wait.
So not
And
necessarily.
Tom-
Possibly. So not necessarily.
No,
Yeah,
it is
right?
a crime
Because-
scene because if you touch an officer, that can be. I could
Now
even
you're
say
going
that.
somewhere
Tom,
else. Now you're
please,
going somewhere
Wait,
else.
Please,
wait. Hold on.
If you touch an-
Marte,
if you touch an
don't-
officer,
don't-
that
wait,
can be
hold on,
assault.
wait. Hold on. Don't move to touching an officer. We're talking about whether or not we're standing in the way. That's what we're talking about.
Well,
right
he
now.
he
Just
specifically
standing
said
in
a
the way.
crowd.
And we're talking
If
about.
he's physically
But-
in the way, what?
Hold on, wait. That's we've already kind of like talked about like whether or not there was enough information for him to know that they were engaging in the in an arrest or in a detainment. That is a separate part, but you would have to add that in that he does know that this is the case and that he now has this intent. And so you're like that's why they're saying that's not necessarily the case that just because you're in the way that this would mean that you're
Right.
obstructing because there are other
Being
aspects.
in the way is not a crime.
So,
Being in the
hold
way is
on.
not an obstruction.
I
Yeah,
have a
Pisco,
question that
Pisco, I
wasn't
actually agree with you there. Being in the way, like, for example, his hypothetical about a crowd, a big crowd of people in your way from another person being, that you want to detain or arrest or whatever the case
Does Marte
is.
agree?
So, well, hold on. Let me finish
I wanna
my
hear
point.
Marte
Can I
answer
finish
that
my point,
question.
Pearl? Can I
No,
finish
because he hasn't
Well,
answered my question.
I'm answering
No,
your
because he
question.
hasn't
Okay,
answered
you
my
don't want me to
question.
answer it.
No,
Okay.
you
don't want me to
already
answer it.
answered.
Okay.
You already answered.
I didn't answer. I'm not done with my. I'm not done. I'm not done answering my question. I'm not done answering your fucking question, you fucking moron.
Cool, I don't care.
Oh, you don't care? Yeah, you don't care.
If you are trying to
This guy
arrest
doesn't-
somebody on the
Tom, you
other
gonna-
side of a crowd of people,
Am I ever going to get to finish answering that question?
Delaying you,
Or is this guy just going
or
to rant?
all of the crowd is the whole crowd,
The whole crowd, yeah.
obstructing? Yes or no?
Can I answer his question? I just want to answer the question. So the definition of obstruction is a thing that impedes or prevents passage or progress, an obstacle or blockage. Was he a
my
blockage between the woman and him?
No, we're talking about the criminal.
Notice
act
how he
of
didn't answer my
obstruction.
Tom, he didn't
not-
answer my
If we're talking
question.
about definitions.
Tom, he
No, we're
didn't
not
answer
talking
my
about
question.
obstruction.
Talking
We're
about
not
this, we
talking.
can build
We're
up
not
to the
talking about
criminal case.
obstruction. We're not talking about no. This is the phrase for this is
Was
called
he a
equivocation.
physical obstruction?
So this is an equivocation, right? Equivocation is when you play around with
No.
definitions and use one. No, let me finish. Use one definition for one purpose and another definition for another purpose. So
This
all
is
this
universal. I
time,
can use this.
Let me finish. All this time, we've been talking about the criminal act of obstruction. And now what you're using is obstruction in the general sense of like Merriam-Webster, like a physical obstruction on the road, the way a tree would be a physical obstruction if it fell down in the middle of a street. Obviously, with obstruction, in order to get in all the priors that you want to do about use of force, we're talking about the criminal act of obstruction. We're not talking about physical obstruction in the more general
Well,
sense.
he made the hypothetical about an unlawful
hold on.
obstruction, which with the crowd situation, that goes back to my case. Is I was going to say
it would
but
be a
it would be an unlawful obstruction
physical
similar to a
obstruction in
tree,
the sense-
similar to a
it
tree.
would be-
Yes,
it would be
Bro.
it would be a physical obstruction in the sense
Yes,
of, it would be a
like a
physical
tree.
obstruction in the sense of a tree.
Yes.
But
Dude, let
the-
him finish.
But the sneaky thing is he's when we say yes, it would be a
Alex
physical
Pertti
obstruction
wasn't
in
doing that.
sense. Wait, hang on a second. Hang on a
He
second.
was
Pertti wasn't doing that.
So hang on. So you're already trying to do it right now.
agree.
You're already trying to do it right now when I'm calling it out specifically. If I say yes, he was a physical obstruction in that sense, he's gonna go say, oh, Pisco admits he was obstructing, right? And that is debate tactics. That is slimely.
No.
dude,
that's
no,
not-
nobody's saying that, bro.
Yes, it is what you're trying
We
to
can
do.
agree.
That's what
Okay,
you're
so we
trying
can
to
agree
do.
that Alex Pertti was obstructing, right?
This is physics.
We can agree on that. We can agree that Alex Pertti was obstructing.
Hold on,
was
wait,
doing
wait,
some
hold
type
on,
of
wait,
obstruction?
Hold on, stop. Hold on.
We can agree that he was doing
reject
like a
the
tree,
use of obstructing
like for example, a
that-
tree. He was like a tree that fell in the way of an ICE officer, right?
Jake,
Right?
Jake. Stop. This is it. Hold on. We got to separate the terminology here then, because we're not going to use obstruction while we're talking about a legal definition of obstruction, and then also use the word obstruction in a colloquial sense. So we can say he was in the way,
Correct.
like he got in
Well,
between them or
yes.
something like that. But we
In
don't
the
wanna-
way is
like,
another
that's-
word of
that's the
obstructing,
conversation,
right? Like a
Yes,
tree,
you're right.
like a
He's
tree,
trying
right?
to-
Look at how low IQ he is. He's trying
But there's a difference between unlawful obstruction.
Just a crumb. One a crumb.
Really, crumb,
Hold on,
bro.
wait.
You literally don't understand what I'm saying.
Great expose on the
Stop,
state of
stop,
DHS.
stop,
These
stop,
guys
stop,
are your
stop.
DHS officers.
Hold on, Pisco, stop. Hold on. So Marte, we're gonna go back to the in a crowd. If somebody is just in a crowd and they get in the way, right? This isn't the legal definition of obstruction, right? We would
Correct.
agree.
So, Tom, let me respond to what you just said, your query. Now, in a crowd, if somebody was in the way, they would be a physical obstruction. I know I can differentiate the two, right? So what Pisco was saying was he didn't give you the chance to finish this, was like, yes, we have Miriam's definition, but in order to throw this out, we would say that there's a tangential thing that we're talking about here. Now, the difference is that if I'm in a random crowd and somebody's in the way, that's a different definition of obstruction. Now, if there's a criminal case and an active investigation and then somebody will not move, even when they know that they're in between an officer and somebody walking towards a woman, to me, that's obstructing in the both senses of the term. If we're talking about this, if the officer's making an advancement toward the woman, we can't even assume. So on this knife cuts both ways. So he can't make an assumption that an arrest was going to happen, and I can't make an assumption that arrest wasn't going to happen. But the officer was making advancements toward the woman.
Hold on, Marte. That is the question. The point they're asking, it's not necessarily obstruction, right? You agree. It's not necessarily obstruction just because somebody's standing in the way in a crowd, right?
Yep.
In an investigation, that you have to add that context.
That's not what they're just saying. It's in a general sense in a crowd.
No, not in a general sense. That would be a different situation and a different debate and different argument. Yes, I agree.
Well, that is.
Okay, no. In a different situation,
also,
yes, you're right.
If they're investigating somebody on the other side of the crowd, and there's a crowd there, is the whole crowd obstructing because they're delaying a investigation?
Not unlawfully.
So if you're getting shouted out,
I'm asking Marte.
I'll answer the question. So if people are shouting volatile things and statements from the crowd,
and physical interaction, why are you fighting the hypothetical?
Hold on. No, this is what happened. It's not hypothetical. Pisco, you have to let me finish.
They are asking hypotheticals. That is the problem, is that they keep asking hypotheticals to just get one aspect at a time. So at one part,
I'm trying to get to it, but I keep getting interrupted.
Hold on. They're only asking about like what is obstruction, to understand the term obstruction at one point. But when they ask, well, is this obstruction? You say, well, if these other aspects of what was happening are included, well, they're not asking about the other aspects. They're trying to like isolate just this thing to understand the term so that you guys can agree on just that term and then move forward. Correct. But you keep adding in the other things.
I'll address this right now with one question. We can just dumb this down and answer this. I'll ask Pisco. Can I ask you a question real quick?
Why is he asking a question instead of answering mine?
He's not gonna,
this is great. He is, just to be clear, I don't think he's answered a single one of my questions this entire time, just to be clear.
I'll answer the question for Pisco. So Pisco, if they write this down in a court of law and the officer says the person Pertti was obstructing me from doing an arrest, would he be wrong to write this down?
He didn't even answer my question.
Hold on, bro. Hold on.
That has nothing.
He would be wrong. He would be wrong to write this
because
down.
I don't think he was obstructing.
He would be correct.
I know you disagree, but that's not addressing a relevant hypothetical. Yes, I know that we disagree on the overall, like whether or not he obstructed or not. But the question that Irrelevant asked is just completely different than that. The question he asked was a hypothetical in which there's a crowd of people in between the officer and his lawful purpose of investigation, and the crowd they're not Antifa super soldiers, they're not chanting, and he's asking this hypothetical to ground down what you mean by obstruction. And the question was as follows: would everyone in that crowd, because they are in fact delaying, they are in fact physically obstructing, would they be committing obstruction in the legal sense? And your answer is
no.
Of course. So it's not enough to know. It's not enough to know they're in the way.
What you're doing is you're changing the dynamic.
But that's not what Alex Pertti was doing. That's my point.
Non-involved people. So was Alex Pertti non-involved? Was he non-involved person?
No.
That's not the basis either.
No, what you're doing is you're doing a false dichotomy. You're inserting a non-involved party.
Where is involvement and non-involvement in the test for obstruction?
You said it's a random crowd. And you're saying they're not hampering the protest.
Marte, earlier the argument was that just because he got in between the officer and the woman, that this was
during an active investigation.
Yes, the crowd is also.
Hold on. That is
there was no crowd.
Hold on, wait, hold on, stop.
But I did have breakfast. Hold on.
Yeah, keep spurging.
Hey guys, can we just let Tom talk, please?
Other aspects of
he's very low.
That it's like when the again, you guys could right click on my name and turn the volume all the way up to 200%. That's like you just got to be able to. You just have to turn me up. But the parts that they're disagreeing on are the other aspects of this. And so initially the argument was If he just gets in the way and he is in between the woman and the officer, this is necessarily obstruction. That was the argument that was made earlier. And so that's the part that they're disagreeing with, is that it is necessarily obstruction, that there have to be other aspects included in order for that to be the case, like that there's an active investigation or an active detainment or an active arrest or something like that.
There was an active investigation.
They're disagreeing with.
Also, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
so Martel,
Hold
on, guys.
Even if he did obstruction, the
Oh,
shooter's not
hold on,
done.
bro.
Entire thing's a red herring.
Hold on, really quick. It's not
in the crowd example.
Bro,
it was
we're
an
spending
active
way-
investigation.
So, Ron,
What
you just
bro?
got caught lying earlier when you said he was
No,
trying to
he
help
didn't.
the officers. He wasn't trying to
No,
do this
no.
at all. When we play the video,
No, no,
tape,
no,
hold on.
Why do you
Whoa, whoa.
When we
What
play
is
the
this?
video,
But
tape,
hold
he
on.
was not helping
This
the
is-
officers at all.
this
And
is
he
the
didn't
problem.
Two
move
seconds
Hold
of it.
on.
Number one,
Hold
number
on,
two.
so-
You're
so-
pivoting.
hold on.
Hold
I
on,
can explain.
hold on,
I can
hold
explain
on,
what Marté just tried to do. Let me explain what he just tried to do.
Well,
He tried
Tom.
to say irrelevant.
go ahead,
You
Pisco.
were caught lying. So he said.
No,
Can I respond after this?
not lying.
Can I respond after this?
So I want to explain what Marté is trying to do, because it's really quite slimy. He's saying that irrelevant is lying because he said that he was trying to help her up. Now, we were saying that in response to you saying, well, what other purpose would he have with respect to getting in between?
We brought up the
someone
video
other
in
than
order to confirm that. What are you
my
talking
God,
about?
Let me fucking
Right.
finish.
The video
You're
was
making
out
shit
of
up
it.
now.
Let me fucking
Go ahead and finish lying. Go ahead. Go ahead and finish lying.
Let me
help him
fucking
lie,
Finish making
Pisco.
shit up. Go ahead.
we did not make the claim
We didn't do
that,
that.
in the immediate instant in which, yes, we know he puts a hand across the officer. Yes, we know
Oh.
he's facing the officer. The
Oh.
question isn't whether or not
Which you also
in the
declined.
immediate when he intervenes there, that he is taking actions in that moment that are the direct picking her up. It's that's the intent. That is the intent of
How
him
do you know
to
that?
help her up. And the way that yes, you can shake your head all
No.
you want.
How do you know? How do you know that was his intent? Hold on,
You
Pisco.
can shake your
Hold
head
on,
all you
Martel.
want.
Shut the
Let me
fuck
finish
up.
my
You're
fucking
just
thought.
lying.
You just
Let
got
me
exposed.
finish my
Martel,
fucking
hold
thought.
on, hold
Let me
on.
finish my
How
fucking
do you
thought.
know that was
Let
his
me finish my
intent?
fucking
How
thought.
do you know that was
Let
his
me-
intent?
Let me finish.
How do you know that
Let
was
me
his
finish
intent?
My fucking thought. Let me finish.
Well, answer my question
I'm going to
afterwards
answer
then.
This question you want. Yeah. So I'm going to answer that question. How we get to intent is through circumstantial evidence. Now, the first thing to note about what Marté asked was not whether or not, 100% we know the intent. He said, what other possible rationale can we have? But in this case, I think there's fairly good evidence that he was trying to help her and eventually help her up. Why?
Oh, so you don't know his
Actions
intent.
speak to intent. Actions, no. I think that we're fairly sure what the intent was, is to help this woman up. And actions speak to intent. Number one, he already showed in that second before he was helping a woman cross the street. So he'd already shown that
What?
was a concern of his. Number two.
This is the
No,
reach.
wait. Let me.
He was
finish.
holding her
You're
hand and
taking
letting her
evidence.
cross the street. What are
You're-
you talking about?
you're
There's
not
no
waiting.
video of that.
Hold on,
Let me
hold on,
finish.
hold on.
So
Let me
you
finish.
People just didn't watch the
You're
video,
trying
just to
to-
be clear. These people just
We
didn't.
saw it earlier, you dumb fuck.
Okay, hold on, Pisco.
That's
Hold
a
on.
different
Let him
situation,
finish.
Pisco.
Wait. Why can't I
Hold
build a
on.
case for intent?
Hold-
You're not
hold
letting me
shit.
do it.
Let him build the
Let him
case.
finish, but Pisco, try to win quickly. It has been like 2 minutes, so go ahead.
Okay. So number one, he's shown the tendency to help women across the street in the same context with the other woman. Number two, he has no basis to believe that absence of another attempt. He has no basis to believe a detention has happened. No reasonable basis. Number three, eventually, like half a second later, where Tom paused it, he does try to pick up the woman, and that all speaks to his intent. His intent, which was to help these people get to the other side of the road. It's like the chicken crossing the road. That is way more plausible than trying to obstruct an arrest that was never perceivable, and which you grant is absurd to think that it was happening.
Can I respond to that?
Okay, so real quick, Jake. Yeah, Jake, you seem to disagree. We may have to go back to the video, and so I just want to make sure that we agree on this. Do you agree that after he got in the way, at some point he does turn to help the woman up?
No, I disagree with that. He never
You do not
attempted
agree
it.
with
He
that.
never
Okay,
attempted it at all.
So what-
Show the video. Show the
what-
video.
All right.
Yeah, we can show the
Okay,
video,
so
but
hold
really
on,
quick.
hold on.
Really quick. Hold on.
Hold on.
I've-
No,
okay.
no. Hold on. Let's go to the video first. Again, nobody needs to talk during this. We're gonna play the fucking video, and we're just gonna
Let's see where
go through this
he's
for a
helping her
second.
cross the street like an old lady.
You can laugh. It's right there.
Yeah, we'll see it right now.
What is he doing right there? Wait, what is he doing right there?
Hold on, man.
What is that?
Yeah, that is a
Right
great
here.
question. What is he doing?
She
What
was
is he doing?
pushed.
What is he doing with that woman right there? What is he doing with that?
Hold on. So right here, I will just narrate this for a second, and then we'll pause and we'll go back to Jake. So we're right here. He does have his arm around this woman. The officer shoves the other woman. He gets in between. He gets pepper sprayed, puts his hand up, turns around, and then he does seem to be helping the other woman up, and we can watch it from.
Hold on. Let me break it down
as well. That he is here looking like he's
mugging her. He's mugging
turning
her.
around and then attempting to help her up right here. It does seem to be the case from what it is that I'm looking at. So
he's
Jake,
mugging her. No, he's
So-
no, I
so
believe
let me respond to
him.
this.
He's mugging her,
So
right?
hold on,
He's mugging
hold
her.
on.
Let me respond to
hold
this.
on.
Let me respond.
Go ahead.
Can you mute the oppositions really quick while I talk about this?
I'll mute my.
Yeah, cool.
Hey,
Yeah,
And
sure.
irrelevant.
I'll
please.
mute. Just to be clear, I want the same treatment for when I start
That's
talking.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Perfectly fair. Perfectly fair.
Yes, I have been muting people. So go ahead, Jake.
Okay, great. So they made the claim that that he was helping her cross the street. Go back to the other video where she was in his arms.
Wait, so is he just going to pivot? Or wait, are
Hey,
you
I
gonna
thought,
address the?
bro, what
hold
the
on,
fuck?
Hold on.
I'm
This
addressing
one
the first
or-
claim. I'm just addressing the first claim, dude. Calm
You're
down.
talking about at the
Yeah,
beginning when
the
he's
first
right
video
here?
that you played where she was in the. Yeah, thank you. Play that one really
You're
quick.
going to need a different video. There's
Bro,
a different
can-
video
can-
with like more
bro,
footage.
can this guy-
I'm asking
Bro,
him
can
to
you mute him,
help.
bro? Can
I'm
you mute him?
asking him to help.
Oh my
Hold on.
god!
I'm
Can you
literally-
mute? Can you mute him?
If you just send it to me irrelevant, I don't think.
Yeah, I'll get you the video because there's
Yeah.
more seconds leading up to this to show
Yes.
what leads up to it.
Yeah, there
Okay,
is. There
okay,
is.
so
If you can get that,
meantime,
please.
Everybody quiet. Jake, go ahead. And what was your?
Yeah. So, real quick, with the first intent, Pisco was saying, "Look, he's helping her across the street." Now, before that, she ran into his arms. She didn't. He wasn't helping her across the street or anything like that nature, right? So this is the video right here. There's no evidence that that woman was being, helping. He was helping her across the street. So I don't know what we're looking at here. Okay, so what? This was before. What does that have to do with anything? Nothing.
Good question.
Yeah, Pisco,
Yeah,
you gotta
nothing.
throw that out there.
So let's go back to the
wait,
point.
no, I'm
hold
Bro,
on.
I'm not done
gonna
responding.
wait a second.
Oh my god, I'm not
Yeah,
done
Pisco,
responding. That had nothing to
that's
do
not
with.
what we're talking about. That's not what that's not the.
Dude, you made the claim that he was helping her cross the street.
Hold on.
That's not the
Hold on,
moment
hold
we're
on.
Bro,
talking
stop
about.
obfuscating. Let me address your point. Let me address your
I'm
point.
going to send you a video. I'm sending you a video right now in Discord. I'm sending you a video right now in Discord with more context.
That was
Irrelevant.
not-
You were like your namesake.
Yeah, let's see if he's helping her cross the street. That
Good
specific
one. I
woman.
named myself that.
So,
yeah,
real quick.
accurate.
Real quick, with the first video that
Good
you
one.
showed, can you mute them, please? With the first video that you showed, it shows her, with his arms, whatever, right? That doesn't prove anything that he was
that's what
helping
I'm
her
talking
cross
about.
the street. Can I finish? Your claim
I'm
was that
getting
he
the
was.
context for that.
Let me finish, bro. Your claim was that he was helping her cross the street. Not the case at all. There's plenty of videos
He's
before that.
helping her walk.
Can I?
He's
No,
helping her
bro.
walk.
He's
video
not.
prior.
You
We're
literally
watching
said
the video prior right
bro,
now.
oh my god.
We are
dude.
watching the video. We're
So-
getting the context.
Dude, bro, I asked you
Well,
if you
this
could
is the
shut
video I
up.
sent you.
Okay,
Oh,
so
you sent me.
where is he helping her across
Yeah,
the
I
street?
DM'd you.
Yeah,
I got it.
where's she helping
Giving
her?
him the context. Stop losing your mind.
Hold
Bro,
on, hold
you
on,
didn't even let me finish.
hold on. Okay, so this is the.
Yeah, she runs away. Yeah, they're going towards the sidewalk.
Stop narrating. Watch the video.
Yeah, let's see if he helps her cross the street. Let's see if he helps her cross the street. He's filming.
Stop talking. Stop talking or mute yourself.
Bro,
I want people.
yeah,
to
let's see
not
if he helps her
during
cross the
video.
street.
We'll get to it afterwards.
Okay. He's obstructing traffic.
She gets pushed and then he helps her across the street.
What are you
right
talking
there.
about?
What is he doing?
What are
What
you
is he
talking
doing?
about?
What is he doing?
She ran to his arms. What are you talking about?
What
Wait,
is he
Tom,
doing
Tom,
there?
you gotta-
He's not
What is
helping
he
her cross
doing
the
there?
street, you
What is
fucking
it?
moron. She's on the sidewalk, you fucking idiot. She's going towards the sidewalk.
Bro, into his arms.
Bro,
What is she
she's
doing?
running towards that. He grabs her. That's it. He's not helping her cross the street, you fucking idiot.
These fucking losers are
Oh
lying.
my
To do
god,
what?
you guys are
To do
stretching
what?
this shit.
To do
It's
what?
insane.
To do what? To do
Bro,
what? What is he
again,
doing?
I'm not
Jake,
even
what is he
done.
doing?
I'm
Jake,
not
what
even
is he
done
doing?
breaking down
Jake,
my
what is he
analysis
doing?
here because I'm
Jake,
being
what is he
interrupted by these retards.
Hold on.
Jake, what is he doing?
hold on.
He's not helping her. He's not. She ran into his arms, bro.
Hold on.
That's not helping law enforcement either.
Right. Hold on.
What is he doing there, Jake?
He's not helping her across the street, you fucking moron. That's what he's not doing. That's your claim. That's not your claim.
Wait. So
He's hugging her. He's hugging her.
I gotta mute everybody. Okay. Jake,
Fucking this guy.
in this
dude.
part right here,
Mhm.
when this is the when he has like this his arm around this woman right here,
Mhm.
what is it that you are claiming is happening
Yeah.
here? Is his arms around this woman and they're walking over here?
Yeah. So he doesn't even fully attempt to help her cross the entire street here, if that's their claim, which it was. So let's look at the footage. And then he doesn't even escort her all the way to the street. That's not crossing the street at all. At all.
Because he shoves another woman.
Oh my God.
And he
Oh, so
tries to
therefore
help
he
the
didn't
other
do
woman
it,
that's
right?
getting shoved.
So because somebody else got shoved, therefore he's not helping her cross the street, right? Because they're still on the
He
street.
was helping
in order,
her.
In
He
order
was
to cross
helping
the
her.
street, he
Please,
has to
Tom,
actually
Tom,
cross
please,
it
Tom,
from
make
one
him
side to
answer.
the other.
Make him answer. What was he helping her
was he
from?
doing?
What
What
was he helping
her
her
with?
from?
trying to
He was okay. Hold on, quote unquote. He was filming on the street, filming the whole fucking incident, and then he was at the other side
with his arm there.
He had it around her waist. That doesn't prove that he was helping her cross the street. You fucking idiot.
What was he doing? What was he doing? What was he doing?
He was hugging her. It was a half hug. That's what he was doing. So what? She ran into his arms and he half hugged her. He wasn't helping her cross the street. Irrelevant.
This is insane.
This
You
is
guys are insane right now, bro.
Hold on. Stop talking. Hold on.
What are we talking about here?
When his arm is around her, is your claim that he just didn't fully help her get all the way to the other side of the street, or are you saying he helped her like some of the way across? Or because earlier you said he didn't even help her all the way onto the sidewalk, so you seem to agree that he did help her across the street.
They're on the street, right, Jake? Are they on the street? Yes or no?
Hold on. Oh,
Are they
Pisco,
on the street? Yes or no?
I don't need
Pisco,
your
shut
help.
up, Pisco.
Well, let me respond to it.
So what I need, so I need like a concise answer. Like, are you saying he helped her some of the way, or he didn't help her at all?
No, he okay. As far as the claim goes that he was helping her cross the street, I reject that completely. This woman was running away from an ice. Can I talk? Well, let me respond. Yeah, they're on the street. So what? Did they cross it? Did they cross it? Did they cross it together? Did they cross it? Hold on, Pisco. Did they cross the street together?
You're getting bodied
They were
right now,
trying.
Did they cross the street? No, they're not. Okay, so they didn't cross the street. There's bro. Hold on. They didn't cross anything.
Sorry. Wait.
What do you
He
think?
had her around the waist for 2 seconds, bro. That's not crossing the street.
Tom, can I ask you? Tom, can I ask you a
Holy
question?
shit, Pisco, you're a retard.
Tom,
Hold on,
please,
Jake,
can I ask?
Hold on, wait.
Holy shit, you're retarded, bro.
Good question. And the he hasn't even gotten it out yet. So Pisco, finish your question that you were asking Jake.
Yes. So they're on the street. They granted that. He has his arm around her.
Yes.
Helping her to finish crossing the street.
Did they finish?
No. They didn't get to finish.
How do you know that he was intent? How do you know he was intent? How do you know his intent? How do you know his intent? Prove it. Prove his intent. How? Tell me. What's the evidence that he was helping her cross the street? Did he say it? You're not a fucking lawyer. Yeah, you're a retarded lawyer is what you are. Can you prove? Hold on. Can you prove that his intent was him helping her cross the street? Can you prove that? Yes?
Yes, because
okay, tell me.
Seems possible. Yes.
What? Nothing else seems possible. She was running away from an ICE officer. Don't you think that she ran into his arms? Isn't that plausible, you fucking idiot?
Wait.
Yeah, she was running. Yes, we saw her running away from the officer, and he half hugged her. And he didn't even. Dude, how do you know? How do you know that his intent was? How do you know that his intent was helping her cross the street, bro? Prove it. Prove it.
You don't have to.
How we prove
Pisco, prove it.
How we prove intent is circumstantial evidence.
Okay, what is it then? Tell me the evidence.
Yeah. So, watching a human being put their arm around a person in icy conditions.
So it's just your feelings.
And marshaling them around. And marshaling them around. Any human being using their common sense and everyday day-to-day interactions, given the absence of any other intent, and given the fact of the icy conditions there,
this guy's just feelings.
That he's trying to help her walk. Or no?
Can I? Okay.
What would you conclude?
Hold on, Martel.
Why did he do that?
Martel.
Why did he
no,
do that?
Pisco, you're just feeling that way.
Why did he do that?
You didn't give me any evidence. Hold on, Martel. Shut up, Martel. Real quick.
Jake, why did he do that?
Okay.
Why do you do that?
Again,
Why do you do that? I've asked
again, you haven't,
30
you,
times.
bro,
Why
bro,
didn't
bro.
you do it?
Probably because she ran into his arms, fucker. That it's very simple.
Wait.
Yeah, you saw that right now. Hold on, really quick. Pisco, let me ask you a question. Again, you haven't proved his intent was to help her cross the street. How do you know that? You're just no, because you're just feeling that. I would say, hold on. I would say here's my hold on. This is your feelings, bro. Here's my feelings that she ran into his arms and that's all he did. What makes yours more valuable? What does yours make more valuable than mine?
Hey, bro.
What does
Hey, girl, where's my
hold on?
hug?
What is your perspective? What is your perspective?
Hey,
From
girl,
your
where's my hug?
perspective, how is it more valid than mine? How?
Yeah, because
why? Because why? Because of your feelings? Because you feel like he was helping her cross the street?
Number one.
Hold on, Jake.
Number
Let
one,
him answer the question.
Okay.
Number one. It actually, since we're talking about his intent, his lived experience.
No, you don't know his intent. You don't know it. You didn't prove anything.
You're asking,
bro. Let him
finish. Hang on a second.
Bro, let him finish.
Relevant, shut up.
If you're asking about
Bro,
his
I haven't even been talking.
if
You're
you're
chipping
asking-
out.
You're talking in the middle of saying you're not talking. Shut up.
if you're asking about his specific intent, of course his lived experience matters in terms of a totality of circumstances of what we think Alex Pertti was doing in that moment. And Alex Pertti has shown in his past that he's part of an occupation that's very laudable and that helps people. That's number one. Number two, in that moment, putting his arm around a person like that, and walking with her, accompanying her, we have seen that movement in your lived day-to-day experience with people's elderly situations, people who have just had injuries, walking off of a sports field. We are human beings. We don't have to ignore the fact that we've seen that kind of motion and that kind of interaction thousands of times in our life. And usually when that happens, it's because someone is assisting another person when they're hunched like that, walking gingerly in ice conditions. And you would have to be a fucking dipshit like you are to be like, oh, I just wanted a hug, bro. It was for no reason.
What the fuck? So basically, your argument is just my feelings. That's all you're doing, Pisco. You didn't prove
You're
anything.
making it seem like somebody was walking.
You
through the
literally didn't prove anything. You said you had evidence. You didn't prove anything.
Hold on. So Pisco, if it turned out that she ran into his arms and then with his arm around her, he was walking with her to the sidewalk, would that change your claim at all?
No, it would be consistent with it.
No?
No, because she ran into his arms after.
walking her to
hold on.
No, she's not walking. They didn't cross anything. They didn't cross the street.
Wait. No,
She
they're
got
on
him all the way
street
to
at
the
moment when
side,
this
dude.
happens. No.
She
they're on
ran
the
into
street.
his arms
No.
during.
Wait,
Yes,
are they on
bro.
the street? Wait, Jake, are they on
That's
the street or on the
irrelevant.
sidewalk?
That's irrelevant, bro.
Are they? So they're on the street, right? They're on the street.
Did they get to the sidewalk? Did they get to the sidewalk?
Yes.
No, they
They
didn't.
didn't get there.
No, they
They're-
didn't.
He's trying to help
They
her.
didn't
That's my
get there.
claim.
Oh,
That's my
great. So
claim.
he didn't
That's
help
my
her cross
claim.
the
That's my
street.
claim.
Okay.
You fucking idiot.
Hold on, Jake. Hold on. Okay, so I don't think whether or not he was helping her or if he just had his arm around her while they were walking, I don't think either one of these make any difference. I don't know if they'll.
Yeah, can you prove that
But-
that he told her? Oh, by the way, I'm helping you cross the
Hold on.
street.
How we
Do you have
prove
any
that?
evidence on
Hold
that?
on.
Any evidence?
Hold on. So I don't think whether or not he's helping her or not, I don't think it matters.
He
like
made an
that
absolute
whole-
claim and he can't prove it.
Wait a second.
Hold on.
You made an
hold on,
absolute claim and you can't prove it, fucker.
Hold on. Stop. This
Prove
is
the
not-
claim.
Holy shit, dude. This is not fucking difficult. I don't know why. Why is this so fucking hard? So whether or not he's helping her doesn't seem to make a difference to his claim. It's about the fact that he does have his arm around the woman while they are walking to the side, and that they are walking together. And then once he's done with her is when he all of a sudden gets into it with the officer. So it does seem as though they are heading towards the sidewalk when this happens in the beginning. I do want to move off of this. So at the point when they are actually getting into it, actually, let's go here. The Christy Nome and other government officials made the claim that Pertti showed up to do maximal damage and that he had a gun. And they did make it sound as though he was holding a gun in his hand. Marte, do you agree with the government's claim that he showed up to do maximal damage?
So here's my, and I'm going to be charitable and offer olive branch, something that Pisco and true to his name, irrelevant saying. So this is my olive branch. I'm going to say, sorry, let me close this out real quick. So here's the thing though, we can't prove, and I haven't seen evidentiary claims of not just claims with evidence showing that he just came up there to just assault or do any of this other stuff. But we can go off of the actions of him showing up, kicking up taillights out, spitting on officers and all this. If we're looking at a pattern of behavior, we have to lead this up. Even Pisco had said this previous in his argument, saying we have to build a case. So if I was to build a case, I would say he wasn't there to aid or assist law enforcement. This was actually the opposite. He was there to impede or be in the way, I would say, more or less, because on the first video I saw of him kicking out taillights, the second video we see him putting himself
wait.
Marte,
Hold on. All right. I don't think anybody's making the claim that he was there to help law enforcement. I'm asking, do you agree with the claim that he was there to do maximal damage? And I think they said like, harm as many people as possible or something like that. Do you agree with that claim?
I think that's kind of hyperbolic to say maximal damage.
Okay.
Hyperbolic.
It's not a branch I'm actually giving them.
Hold on. Irrelevant. Do you think that is kind of hyperbolic from the government?
No, that's just like a flat out lie. There's no evidence to show that whatsoever. Also, just to be clear, hold on before we move on. Hold on. I sent you proof, Tom, by the way, that she was not walking across the road. She was shoved by the ICE agent and into Alex Pertti's arms, to which Alex Pertti helped her.
Tom, do you understand?
I said you proof. I was looking for it. Fucking Elon Musk locked that shit down.
So really quick, Tom, do you want to continue this or do you want to?
She got
Bro,
pushed.
you're disrespecting the platform.
That's just proof of that.
It's not proof of that, but Tom,
I'm gonna leave that there.
Guys, really quick. Guys, really quick.
You just want to keep
irrelevant. Guys, irrelevant. Obviously, didn't answer the question. Tom, do you want to go back to the other subject, or let's talk about this?
Yeah, we're gonna stay on this. So the claim that they were there to do that he was there to do maximal damage. Jake, is this a hyperbolic claim or is this a lie as a relevance then?
Yeah. So I would say this that. As far as the maximal damage comment, I would say that's very hyperbolic, for sure. But I would say there is evidence, according to what's his face, Irrelevant over here, saying that there's no evidence that he was going to commit maximal damage or any type of damage, any type of interference. Which is lies because 11 days. Hold on, can I finish? Can I finish?
Maximal damage, any kind of damage, any kind of interference. You saw that in real time, Pisco. You saw that in real time. I know you saw that. Okay, all right.
You guys are retarded, bro. Tom, can you mute them, bro? These guys are fucking idiots. Can you mute the morons, please? So really quick.
Yes, but I have been muting them while they've been talking. I've also have been having to mute you guys as well. It'd be easier.
I get you there.
Both of you guys don't want other people talking over you. Neither one of you guys talk over each other because nobody can hear anybody when you guys do this.
Totally get you there. Anyways, going back to your question is that as far as like the statements from the Trump administration about maximal damage, I think that is hyperbolic. However, I would say that there's evidence that Alex Pertti specifically was there to have intents of interfering in ICE agents. Now, 11 days prior before his death, we saw him kick a taillight and spit on an ICE agent. So there's evidence on according to fucking Irrelevant over here, this fucking moron, saying that there's no evidence that he was gonna go in there do maximal damage, but he was there to intently advocate ICE agents, right? To harass them.
Okay.
So we did say we do see that. So I would say as far as the Trump administration, so as far as the Trump administration, it is hyperbolic. However, there is evidence that he is an agitator.
Yes.
Okay. So Pisco, do you agree that this was evidence that he was going to come up and I want you guys to chill for a minute, okay? I got questions for you guys. I want you guys to hold off for a minute, okay? With the back and forth, I'll let you guys get into it.
Respect the platform.
Hold off a minute. We only have about 10 minutes before we're supposed to end, so we gotta get through some shit. Pisco, do you agree that this was evidence that they were going to that he was going to interfere or cause damage to cars or anything like that with the film from 11 days.
Yeah, he already did it 11 days before.
Cause damage. I mean, it's character evidence. It's character evidence of bad act.
So evidence, yes.
And Well, it would be very dubious whether in a any kind of litigation that would be able to be brought up, because obviously character evidence is very specifically guarded. If you recall in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, they'd actually disallowed the other bad act evidence when he was like observing in the other day of the Walmart people saying, "I just want to fucking kill those people." I know it's a different case, dumb fuck.
He said was
I
CBS.
know it's a different case. What I'm trying to refer is the fucking rule about character evidence and evidence of prior bad acts. You dipshit. I'm not making them equal on any other.
He's losing his mind right now, guys. He's losing his mind.
Provide for limitations on your use of other bad act evidence. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So yes, I'm understanding.
Tom Foolery muted me, so it's okay.
And I think that shows that
he's raising his hand like a little fucking schoolboy.
Which is what Marte was like. That's like the straw man, I guess, of whether you're
argue with me, bro. Like nobody wants to argue with me.
Is that he's an assassin? What, kicking a fucking car and spitting on an officer shows that you're
oh my god, these guys don't want to fucking engage with my arguments.
In this world, by the way,
they don't want to engage with my arguments.
All the
That's
actions
insane.
that we saw regarding Pertti and putting his arm around, he's like, you can't read minds.
He doesn't even want to engage with my arguments,
bro. You don't know that shit. But they're like, oh, he kicked a fucking taillight and he spit an officer. We know that there's a good basis to believe he's an assassin. It is so laughably ridiculous.
That wasn't even our fucking argument.
They don't want to say it's a lie because they're bootlicking shills that love cops and love the police and love this administration. And so they're not going to say it's a lie.
This guy's straw manning the argument
by this government.
Tom, can I respond?
What a straw man!
Because Jake used my name.
No,
I do.
In response
I'm
to something that I said.
But Marte, you were initially called this a hyperbolic claim. Pisco saying that there isn't evidence.
They literally don't want to engage with my
Kyle
argument.
Rittenhouse case.
Nobody made the argument that he was an assassin.
Like that when Kyle Rittenhouse
total fucking misdirection from these fucks.
To shoot looters who were at a CVS. They
total misdirection,
evidence to say,
oh my god,
that this shows that he showed up to the Kenosha protest to shoot protesters and looters and people there. He already went there with intent to try to shoot people and stop people, and they didn't allow this in that case. Why do you think that they would allow something like that in the case with Pertti?
So the problem with this is he brings up a different situation, and I think it's a false equivalent. I can demonstrate how. The reason why nobody gives a shit about your performative theater relevant. So back to this. Here's the thing. We bring up when we bring up the Alex with the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, like, let's just say that I disagree with that. I totally disagree. I think they should have brought that up. It still doesn't prove the fact that this is still an evidentiary claim and still demonstration that they could use in this case. Mind you, this case hasn't been wrapped up fully yet. There has never been charges filed one way or the other. Kristi Noem is hyperbolic when she says this, but if we're using demonstrations, which I would actually be consistent by agreeing that if you bring up the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, yes, they should include that in that, but also I can be consistent in saying, yes, we can include the kick taillights and everything else.
You don't have to bring up the Kyle Rittenhouse situation.
What Pisco does, I'll wrap this up really quick, is use evidentiary claims and demonstrations for walking across the street that are absent from what we see, but then when we bring up things that are clearly on video that tie this up and we're building a case, Pisco wants his cake and having to eat it too, because when we want to build a case, it's bad for us, but when he builds a case, it's good for him. This is crazy and fallacious argumentation.
Tom, I just wanted to, I take issue with that because that's not the case. I just brought it up, the fact that it would be limited in the sense of any.
You straw man the entire argument, bro.
Almost certainly not.
You straw manned it.
Self-defense argument. It's almost certainly not relevant for the use of force analysis when it comes to the Fourth Amendment precedent on whether the deadly force is reasonable or not. And that was me saying, listen, this is almost certainly not relevant for the legal test, which is what we're here for, justification. But I put apart from that and said, even considering the evidence for just like our intuitions about whether the administration lied, that of course is not evidence that he's an assassin or that he's trying to inflict maximum damage.
Great.
And so that's what I didn't try to have my cake and eat. I didn't have my cake and eat it too. I applied to both the legal test and the determination of the lie.
Can I respond to
just to be clear, just to be clear, this video of the tail light that you guys keep hanging on was days after.
So what? That's irrelevant. Who cares? That's irrelevant. Who cares? That's irrelevant, you dumb fuck. Oh my god. Tom has all of us muted. He has all of us muted right now, guys. This guy's still freaking out.
I can hear them on my end. That's the problem.
So this
guy's freaking out.
My bad. I accidentally server muted them instead of muting them. My bad.
I got you. So
Oh
the
my
problem
God, he's
is
letting this
we're
fuck
talking
talk.
about the validity of the claim that whether or not it's truthful, what they said 2 hours after the fact. There was no widely
I need to
circulated. I don't even
respond
know
to
if this
this
video
shit.
was damn near on the internet.
It's not even my argument.
This video was not circulated.
Who cares
at the
if they
time.
said that?
The
Doesn't
Trump
matter.
administration sure as fuck didn't know about it because the moment they knew about it, they posted it everywhere. So no, we cannot use this as evidence for the claim that they made before they even knew about it. So no, you can't use that as an argument. They made this claim. They made this claim without knowing about the video. So they had none of this evidence, and it's not even evidence, but they had none of it anyway.
This is
So can I respond to that? Can I respond to Pisco really quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so Pisco made an entire fucking straw man of the argument that he literally responded to me. I never said anything about again, hyperbolic. I do agree that, yeah, this guy's not an assassin. He wasn't there to assassinate all the fucking ICE agents, nothing like that. Never made that fucking claim at all. Pisco went an entire rant how the administration is lying, this and that. And by the way, he doesn't have any proof that they were lying about it. Could have been that they were just wrong on the situations of how they were judging that. And I would say they even said that he bared a firearm. That's not true. Totally agree with you, Pisco. Not true. Totally unintentional there.
So why
totally
haven't
get
you
you
corrected
there.
the
But
record?
however,
Why
hold
haven't
on.
you
Let me get
corrected
back to my point. Your point was that this guy was an assassin. My point was specifically look, this is hyperbolic statements, but we have evidence that this guy was already violent 11 days before this situation. So engage with that.
Not at the times of the claims.
Hey, I'm not
Not at the
talking to
times
you.
of the claims.
Hey, Robin,
Not at the
Robin,
times
shut
of
the
the
fuck up. I'm
claims.
talking to Batman right now. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, bro. I'm talking to you, Pisco. If we have already evidence that this guy was already violent prior before, I know we're doing quarterback analysis here, but the point is that when you look at the situation, that this guy already had violent intents. We saw him spit on a police officer. Not only that, we already have situations with Black Lives Matter and all these protesters that already burned down cities for billions of dollars of collateral damage. Tesla burnings, the Chaz takeovers, Seattle, 6 blocks of Seattle. So obviously these protesters seem to be violent. So I think it's fair to say that the assumption of that they were wrong, that he bared arms, I don't even care about that. How about you engage with my argument that we already had evidence that this guy was violent prior before that?
The brains turn off and they just start becoming robots and they just go through.
Are you gonna answer my fucking question or just talk?
So obviously your standard is ridiculous. Your standard is like,
how?
Well, because we can't read their mind with a fucking machine, we can never prove intent. And you're like, well, you can't prove it's a lie because
I never said
how do
anything
you
about
know
intent.
they're just not mistaken. Well, obviously with any kind of claim, you look at indicia of whether or not it's a knowingly false claim. And one thing that we look to see whether or not someone is lying, well, when the truth is brought up to them, when the truth is actually brought up to them, do they own it? Do they care to correct themselves? And that would indicate a character for truthfulness. And someone who is cavalier about the truth and doesn't give a fuck about whether or not what they're arguing for is true or not, those people we judge to be less just like innocently mistaken, and more people who are intentionally, volitionally lying about shit. And then obviously you have nothing to respond to irrelevance point. You can't assess whether or not a statement was a lie with respect to those specific statements at issue based on information that wasn't brought to their attention at that time. And so unfortunately, it seems like your standard would be like, we can never prove anyone is lying ever. I mean, like, what would you take ever to be a lie on that view? Just because someone can say that it was a mistake, you can never show a lie.
Okay. Marte. We do have. I think Marte.
Stop raising your hand, you fucking idiot.
11 o'clock. So we are at 11 o'clock real quick. So we're gonna let everybody give closing statements. But first, I did want to.
We didn't talk about the shooting. We never talked about the shooting.
Shut up, bro, because you guys were fucking obfuscating the whole time. Yes.
Yeah, bogging us down in bullshit.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, you're right. She was giving. Yeah,
Go ahead, Tom.
Mr. Pepper Spray is resisting. Somebody with pepper spray is resisting arrest. Yeah, but you're right. We're the one bogging it down. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
But okay, so yeah, so if you guys want to give closing statements, so you can, I guess, talk about the shooting if you want, instead of the obstruction this time. But
that's fucking hilarious. I'm gonna react to that later, bro. That is hilarious.
And then we'll go to Jake, then Pisco, and then Marte. So irrelevant. Go
yeah. Okay. I'm not sure if there's this is hard closing or if we can stay a little bit longer, but I do want to say this, that if we're going to
stay, we can keep going. We talked about this before because we were late starting. So Marte, if you're good to keep going. Jake, you guys said 11 was your time, so if you guys were able to go to like 11:30, we can take.
Yeah, I got you.
I can stay 10 minutes over.
So so part of my closing arguments here is we have no convincing argument whatsoever on this side. I've literally debated people on TikTok that I feel like
I was gonna say, go ahead and make the argument on the shooting then. So if we got 10 minutes, let's
great. Okay, so there's no justification for the shooting. There were 7 people deep on top of this guy. They disarmed him. We already got concessions that there was a lack of communication there. That should have been enough to be able to say there was an unjustified shoot, because that communication needs to happen. That is mission critical communication whenever you're dealing with an individual, that has a firearm, very obviously. But also on top of this, you have the individual who is shooting him when he has been pepper sprayed, thrown to the ground, and he's been shown to be no actual credible threat to anybody around him. He's not punching. He's not doing any of these things. So no, there's absolutely no justification for the shoot. That's number one. Number two, I want to address the fact that they kept bringing up context for a video that I would argue is even still weak, but context for the administration statements that I would argue is weak, but wasn't even perceived by the administration at the time. This information was not circulated widely online, and it is very obvious that they were making these claims without this information, and there is no justification in that first video, in the information that they had, that he was an assassin. There is no information to be able to indicate he was an assassin, and their refusal to engage in anything but taillight kicking shows that they know that.
Okay, so Marte, if at the time if the gun is already taken off and they are if somebody was yelling gun, 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 or shoot, 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 or something like that, would you at least agree that this was a very messy act in the way that they handled this?
So with the communication, I'll agree with him. Now, I do have to address the fact that he keeps bringing up assassin. Me nor Jake never brought up assassin.
Correct.
He's actually kind of conflating things.
Real quick,
using
I'm trying to give the opportunity for us to talk about the shooting instead of
That's what I'm trying to do.
You guys want, if we keep going back to that, we're just going to...
Correct.
Tom brought up the administration statement. So the reason we talked about it is because Tom brought it up. And irrelevant.
Bro, let Tom talk, bro. Let Tom talk. We're trying to do closing here. The last 10 minutes.
Tom. No. We're not doing closings. We are
trying to get into the shooting. Gotcha. Go ahead, Tom.
Oh shit! I thought it was my closing. My bad.
So on the it's okay. So on the shooting, do you, Marte, agree that this was a messy shooting? And earlier you said you thought it was justified. So if you do agree that it's messy, why do you think
it's justified? And I can explain why. Would it not make sense that there can be bad communication and a justified shooting? Could that ever possibly happen in any realm of existence in any law enforcement?
If by possible, logically possible, it is possible. It is possible. Yes, it's possible.
Correct. So while you answered that, so it can be possible that there could be miscommunication and a justification for shooting. Now that we got that out of the way, what I saw was as soon as he was reaching back after he got shot, he could have had a secondary firearm or anything else. You would rather act in the moment.
It's possible.
Hold on, Pisco. I'm answering the question. I'm almost done. So in hindsight, we're not going to rely on hindsight and be judged by one person and carried by 6. There's this decision we have to make, split second moments. So if I'm reaching back, I can get a knife or secondary firearm. We have to allow to conflate for a reactionary gap. So in law enforcement, we have a reactionary gap that we have to adhere to.
Marte, hold on. The gap. I agree with the reactionary gap. I agree with that. Wouldn't they have to have evidence of the fact that there would be a secondary gun before they?
No, it's possible. Wait, Tom, it's possible he has a second gun. What are you talking about, Tom? It's possible.
Okay, he's asking a question. Pisco, shut up.
Hold on.
Shut up.
It's also possible that there was a tank down the road that was getting ready to roll up and shoot them with big artillery, and
very impossibility, but
pulled out a grenade and throw a grenade down the road and blow up a bunch of people because of that possibility.
He's Superman.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's possible that he's
I'm
Superman, bro.
To separate those two things.
Superman
of,
exists,
a possibility of something being happening or a likelihood of it.
I can answer this. So if I'm effecting an arrest on somebody and they reach for their pocket, would I have to think if it's possible if they have a knife or a gun or RPG, do I wait for this to happen or do I act on, maybe a what if? We have to do this, right? Is there probable cause that
there's psychos? We need to abolish ICE.
You just shoot somebody who's reaching for
guys, can you guys shut up and let him shoot? Bro, guys, you guys are so dude. Take the butt plug out of your asses and let him talk.
So, Tom, if someone
Okay,
reaches
so,
into
so,
the glove
so hold on,
compartment,
wait,
right,
hold on,
to
but
do it
you're not
and
answering
bring
my
out-
question. Hold on, I'm not asking about a possibility. I'm asking about a likelihood. Like, what evidence is there of a secondary gun? You agree they would have to
We
have
have
evidence,
so,
yes?
so I'll even address this right now. So, in order to have a secondary gun, you have to meet the qualifier of having an initial first gun, right?
No. Like, wait, are you saying that because he has a first
In order
gun
to
that
have a
he's,
secondary gun, you
assumes
have to
that
have
he
an
has a
initial
second?
first gun, right?
Well,
A
yes, in
primary,
order
right?
to be
You have to have a
second,
primary
yes,
gun to have a secondary, right?
necessarily, yeah, of course.
So, if he has a primary gun, would it be safe to assume that he has a secondary weapon if he's reaching
Yeah.
in the back?
The first shot,
What is
the
there
first shot,
evidence
if you
of
look at the
people, like,
footage,
often carrying
first
more
shot
than one
was,
weapon, if they have one gun, that they're more
had two
likely to
magazines.
didn't hit Pertti. As
He had
far
two
as like what
magazines.
the
It could
video
have been a knife.
shows,
It could have been a gun.
more than likely it was the second shot.
Sure,
still
but
reaching
I'm sorry,
back.
I'm asking for evidence that there is a secondary gun, not just that there could be.
We
but
don't. We
that
don't
there
need
was.
evidence of a
Yeah,
second
for
gun.
reals,
If he's reaching
for
back,
reals,
If
Gredhead.
he's reaching, if his actions
If
are
I have to
showing that
tell
he's
everybody
reaching
to
back for
calm
some
down, it's
unknown thing
definitely
that
a
we don't know,
chaotic battle.
do we wait to find out if he's going to present?
I hope
something,
you guys were
or do we
entertained.
act then?
Okay, so Pisco, do you agree that there is a likelihood of a secondary gun in this situation?
No, obviously
if
not.
there is
Not
a
just on the
primary
basis
gun?
that it could exist, right? So the problem with all of this, and I think you've noticed it, Tom, and it's a problem not just, I would be honest with you, it's not just you guys, it's other conversations I had, is people playing this weasel language of could. Couldn't it be the case?
Oh my
Couldn't it be
God,
the
he's
case
not
that
even
this
gonna
thing-
fucking
couldn't it be the case he has a
acknowledge
knife?
that.
Couldn't it be the case that this is and you're playing on possibility. But of course, our test with respect to use of deadly force doesn't turn on mere possibility. That would be insane. That would be an insane standard that merely because something is possible, it's justified to use deadly force. And as a relevant put it that was never answered, that would justify any given encounter with the police. Well, it's possible when you're going out for your wallet that you're getting a gun. So, and even when in the given context, which all of these use of force cases are context laden, there's no basis for the officer to believe affirmatively that there's a second gun. What if he saw a second gun? Okay, now you start to go there. What if there's a furtive gesture and it really is suggestive he said something, or it seems like going to gun, but they can't point to that furtive gesture before the gun happened, before the shots happen. They can't point to that. There's no evidence of him reaching for the gun at all. And so because there isn't affirmative evidence to believe that there's a second gun, they have to cling to possibility and watch every time they use the word possible, couldn't it be the case? Is it logically possible? These are all weasel words to try to force you to emotionally give up your rights to the bootlicking thugs of ICE and CBP.
Okay, so
And
just
HSI.
yes, or no. Do you
I'm
think
still
there was
muted,
a
guys. I can't even
likelihood of there
respond.
being a second gun? Was there
Can't
evidence
respond to
that
these
there was
people.
a likelihood of a second gun? No. Okay, so Jake, do you think that there was a likelihood of a second gun being there?
As far as the likelihood goes to show, we do notice that as far as the gun thing, I have no idea, but we do know that he did have an extra magazine, possibly etc. to shoot up more of the bullets. I don't know if he had a secondary gun. Obviously, we know ahead of time, but in the moment, we don't know those situations. Not only that, he was 2 feet away with these officers. So even if it wasn't a gun, he could have had a multiple weapons, whether it be a knife or something like that, in order
Could have. Yes, he definitely
Well,
could have.
definitely could have. So
Okay, so hold on. Is there like what I'm asking is, do you think that there was evidence that like the
no, there's
officers
no
had
evidence. There was no
reason to
evidence that
believe-
he had a gun specifically. Yeah, I would say there's
Well,
no
yeah,
evidence.
or-
However, the
I mean,
probability.
Okay, so well, hold on. I'm trying to get to another question.
Go for it.
Do you think that there was evidence that he had like a weapon or a gun or something like that from the officer's position? You're saying no?
Well, no, not from the officer's positions, because I'm not an officer. I wasn't there. I wasn't there at all. However, from the
Well, no,
videos,
that's what we're here to discuss, though. Like, from
Yeah.
the videos, from what you've seen, yes.
from
the
what
officer's perspective, do you
from
think
what
there
I've
was
seen-
evidence?
yeah, from what I've seen, the officers could necessarily believe that maybe he had an extra weapon, especially when people that are armed going to protest or a bar, usually they have a knife or a pocket knife and stuff like that. So you don't know
Okay, so
the
that's
situation.
okay, so that's what I'm trying to get to. So okay,
Mhm.
so they don't know. So do you think there was evidence of there being like a second weapon or something?
Yeah,
like
I
that
already
in the
answered
moment?
that.
What reason-
As far as evidence wise, there's no evidence on that. We don't know of the case until it goes to court, etc. We don't know that. However, I would say on a probability case, especially if I was an officer, the likelihood of if you have a gun, more than likely you probably have a pocket knife or something of this nature that you could possibly hurt somebody with, right? So
Okay,
the probability
if
of
we don't
that.
we don't know that they had any evidence, what reason do you have to believe that this could have been a justified shooting from the officer's perspective? Like, what
Yeah.
reasonable fear would he have had?
Well, because again, I actually have slow motion video capture of especially when the first shot was shot, we saw Alex going up. So I'm thinking, and maybe Pisco disagrees with me because I'd like to know y'all's takes here, is that there's particular claims out there that the gun that was fired accidentally, right? Then everybody calls out gun, etc. We don't know on that, but we did see Alex go up. He didn't get shot or nothing like that. In the slow-mo, on the second shot, it looked like he was going down. I don't know the specific details on that. I'm just judging it off of the videos here, right? So
okay, if there's no objections, do you guys mind if I play the video again real quick? Anybody?
The whole video?
No, just the part for the first shot.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
go for it. And also, I would like a statement after.
Yes, I was
didn't get one.
coming right back to you. Yes.
All right, I love you.
Okay. So this right here is the initial video. Okay, so right here, we can see this officer pulls out his gun. This officer is about to grab the gun and turn and walk away as he's pulling his gun. It seems, I'll just narrate for a second, just from my perspective. It seems as though he is looking right at where the officer is pulling the gun out. It's hard to think that he doesn't see it, but I suppose there is a possibility that this other officer is obstructing his view. So he pulls his gun, and then you can hear right when he fires, his arm goes back, and then he moves the other people. This officer's gone with the gun, and then he continues firing. I believe all shots were fired by him, except for one bullet was fired by one other officer. And then we can see this again here. This is the officer right here. He pulls his weapon there. Officer's running there. And then first shot is
Tom,
when that goes off.
I tagged you on another video that does a slow-mo
Tagged me
zoom in.
on.
It's on Twitter. You can go to your notifications. I hope you get that notification here. But it should be there. Yeah, Jake Varr right there. Yeah. And you could it starts at 25 seconds on the slow-mo, if you can do that. But my claim earlier is that you hear the first shot and he was getting up at the time. Hold on. It should play it in slow-mo right here. Yeah.
Yes, after the first shot, he starts to
Yeah.
stand.
And then the second shot, listen in. Just slow-mo, just to get every clarification. That's the first shot. They're all like, what the fuck? He's getting
Yes,
up.
he
He's getting
was
up.
up here.
Yeah, he's getting up. And the second shot, listen. Second shot, he goes down. So that's why, like, a lot of people are talking about how the first shot was and they you can look it up, that the gun
Now,
that he
Just
had.
just to be clear, the hand that does go back to his butt, where it seems as though he was shot the first time, he is holding a phone in that hand when he reaches back there, and his hand is like down on the butt, like on his thigh below his butt,
Okay.
not up where his like a holster was. So do you think that like he was reaching? They could have thought he was reaching for a pocket or something. Like, where would he be reaching for the gun here?
Well, as far there's other angles where he does reach out to the holster. Now, as far as your claim here is that what you were saying, that your claim anyways, that he has a phone. I don't see the phone there, but if that's the case, that's fine. That's
That
if
black
that's the
square in his hand?
could be a phone. Yeah, that's fine. Let's just for the sake of
what
argument.
is that if not
let's
a
say,
phone?
I don't know, bro. Let's say for the argument that it's a phone. It could be anything. I don't know, and you don't know either, bro. So let's just claim that it's a phone.
But just I don't want to play the full thing, but the only reason I'm claiming it's a phone is because we do see from the full video that he is holding it in that, right
and that's
hand
reasonable.
when he starts off, and then you can see him the whole time with it in that right hand. So
that's reasonable. That's a reasonable claim. That's a reasonable claim, and I get you there. But it could be anything, but reasonably could be a phone. I would agree with you there. But
where is he reaching for a possible weapon if his hand is occupied?
Yeah, so there's another clip there, and there's actual still frame where he's reaching towards the holster after the gun was taken out. You can make a reasonable claim that he didn't know that the gun was removed.
With the hand that the phone is in?
No. Oh my God. No, his hand didn't have the phone when he was reaching, bro.
When?
Have you seen the footage?
We just watched it together.
No, you stupid fuck.
When?
The footage of the up close where he was reaching towards the holster. Have you seen that one?
I've seen all of the footage. What
apparently you haven't.
Link it to Tom.
Talking about the one.
Okay, link it to Tom. You made a claim that an unoccupied hand.
Hold on.
Bro.
I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the
Jeez.
footage that was recorded from inside of the restaurant where the guys are talking, saying like, this is out of control, blah, blah, blah. And then it starts shooting, but it again, you can see from that angle that that his hand goes below his butt. From the other angle, the second his hand comes around, somebody moves in front of the frame and you can't see where his hand goes from inside the restaurant.
Well,
so that's
not evidence that that's not evidence that he's reaching. If you can't can't see something, that is not evidence that you're seeing something.
Yeah.
So Tom, in the past, we've had people pull out toy guns and get shot, and they were able to justify their actions, even though it wasn't a real gun. This has happened in the past. The question is, could the officer articulate and justify why he may have thought this was a gun or a secondary, I would say a firearm,
weapon.
not the primary, because the primary was taken off.
Correct,
could he be able to articulate that this was a good shot because he believed that this was a secondary firearm? That's what we really need to answer here.
The test isn't can you articulate. I can articulate that my dick is 10 feet long. The test isn't articulation. The test is objective reasonability. That's why all you guys are talking about.
If he
Could it be a
that
gun?
this was
Could it be a
threat
phone?
at the time,
It's all sophistry.
Pisco.
You're just trying to talk about possibilities. I guess
Hey, can I also get my response that I never got?
that doesn't answer my
Yeah, well, you didn't even respond to me. Do you agree? Do you agree that he was getting up prior before the first shot?
So,
Can you agree with that, at least based off the footage I sent you?
So this is
That apparently you didn't see?
This is the hold on, I'm showing
Yeah.
you right now.
No
This is
shit,
it
you
on
stupid
screen
fuck.
right here. This is the part where as he is sitting up, you can see his right arm here starts to come back behind him, and you can see it here. As I said,
Thank you,
something
Marilyn, for the
immediately
$5.
obstructs,
Really
but
appreciate
it does
that.
seem as though his hand is like lower than
Is what?
where his
wait,
elbow
push
is up here.
Can you
Wait, do it again.
can
Do
you
it again.
push
do it again.
play?
So where is
the
he's
gun?
reaching for something? I don't see him reaching for that.
Yeah,
And
you
his
can't
right
see
hand
his
isn't
hand here.
isn't
and
his
it
right
is-
hand?
the previous
wait, I'm
footage
sorry,
you
hold on.
saw, he had something in his hand.
Yes. Wait. To be clear, is this?
Right.
Can you push play? Can you push
Wait.
play? Does this have audio?
Yes.
Okay. Push play for me.
No, put slow too. Put slow too.
Yeah. I'm trying to confirm because this looks like this is the hand with the phone.
It is.
Okay, so it was.
that's
So
after
it
he's
was
been
the
shot.
hand with the phone. So it was an
And
occupied
it's right
hand.
hand.
So you're yes, and
Bro.
after he
Oh
was
my God.
disarmed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, no. So it's the same. It's literally the same hand with the
Yes,
phone in it
lost,
after
bro.
he's disarmed.
Total L.
Okay. So the question
No,
is
it doesn't
whether or
show
not
any
you
of
can
that, bro.
articulate something. And what we just saw there isn't evidence of a furtive movement. You have to be a total
You're making that
lying
assertion.
motherfucker. Does,
No.
Yeah. So what
No.
is the furtive movement there?
So if you saw something black in his hand and he was reaching back, and then somebody yells
I
"gun,
don't
gun,
see
gun," we're going to go off of something that's instinctive in law enforcement. We're going to make an assumption, right?
So first
It
of all,
would be
you
safe to
can't.
say we can articulate why we had to make a shot.
First of all, you can't play. You can have your cake and eat it too. You're playing in this whole.
No, that's you,
action-
Pisco.
Let me explain the case. You're doing this whole thing. Well, we can't get down to the millisecond, the microsecond,
Looks like
whatever.
the guy.
He makes a decision to fire before he fires. Correct?
So if you notice there, the
Is
type
that
of
the
gun
case?
that
Can
was
you
used
answer
has
a single
accidental
question?
discharges all the time. Let's talk about this real quick.
Wait, you just
Hold
changed
on,
the-
Marte,
I'll get to the
Marte,
accident.
hold on,
I'll
wait,
get
wait,
to the
hold on,
accidental
Marte,
discharge.
hold
I'll
on,
get to
hold on,
that.
Pisco, hold on. He tried to give like
I wish
a
Pisco
yes or no to the
could
question
edit.
and then give an explanation,
So the
because
question was-
sometimes
Because I
you're only
play
giving
clip.
explanations
Did he
and it's hard to
decision-
tell what the
So as you're
answer is
looking
at the
at
end. So answer his question, try to with a
Did
yes
Did
or
he
no
make
at
the
the beginning,
decision?
and then give the
Did he make the
explanation.
decision to pull the trigger before he shot?
Wait, say that again.
Did he make the decision to shoot the gun before he shot the gun?
No, bro.
That's
These questions are so
unfalsifiable. What are you
stupid.
talking about?
These
What
questions
do you
are
mean
stupid.
it's unfalsifiable? Are you saying it's?
Yeah.
I'm asking you to just say yes to an obvious
Are you
thing.
telling me
Obviously,
that I
right?
have to understand what was going on
Obviously.
in his mind?
No, bro.
I'm asking you. Why can't you
He's
answer
trying to
yes
go
to
down a
this?
train of logic real quick. In order for him to shoot the gun, he would have to make the decision.
He would have to
pull
make the
trigger
decision,
before
so
he
that's
pulled the
fine.
trigger.
Yes, he made a
Yeah,
decision.
you would have to
right?
make
But
a decision, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay, still.
if the decision was made at a time before this alleged furtive movement, which you're tracking as like almost essentially at the same time as the first shot, if that, we can't even tell really based on this video, then it's not a basis for him to shoot something that
he
happened.
definitely
after
has
his
multiple
decision to
cakes
shoot.
in his fucking belly, bro.
That's
That's
linear
for
time,
sure.
my friend.
Thanks so much
Oh,
for
I
the
can
super chat,
describe
bro.
to you how that's false. So the
Other-
gun that
hold on.
was
Wait. In other situations, Pisco, if somebody, let's say officers are fighting with somebody and they reach for their pocket or they reach for like their side or something like that, isn't it common for officers to assume that they are reaching for a gun and then automatically start shooting in a lot of these
I don't have
settings?
wait. So it
Right.
depends on the situation. Not every time that you do a furtive gesture does it happen. I'm A, denying that there was a furtive gesture, and B, on the timing of the alleged furtive gesture, which they're alleging, I don't have any basis to believe he actually did it. But even assuming it, the decision to fire happened probably before, given the time of when the shot occurred and when the alleged furtive gesture, which I don't think ever
Okay,
happened.
so hold on.
Tom,
So
notice what he just
Marte,
said,
hold
probably.
on, wait, Marte, hold on, Marte. So in
Bullshit.
the video that we just went over, the officer does reach for his gun. He pulls it out of the holster. He shoots him once, and then he that's when Pertti reaches behind him. So why would
Right.
the reach behind him be related to the shooting if he's already been if he already pulled the gun from the holster?
You got it,
pointed
Tom.
it
Tom understands
Hold-
linear time. Tom is
Then-
fair. He understands linear time.
Oh,
Yep.
thank you, Pisco. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yes, why would that be related to the shooting?
Well, the same way if are you asking? Oh, you're asking Martel.
Either one of you, yeah. You
Well, I'm just
you-
saying, like the
wanna
same
see
way
what
that
you
if you get
got.
pickpocketed in your pants or etc., you have pickpocketers. Normally, you don't know if like your wallet's outside of your pants or etc. Right? Like there's people that pickpocket. There's no evidence claiming that he would even have felt the gun come out of the holster in the first place. So that's what I would
So
assume
also-
why he reached out. Anyways, Martel, go ahead.
Ooh.
It wasn't even a response to the
officer
question.
who's-
The gun that he
the
was
officer
taking
who's
off of
drawing-
him has
I'm
been
just
known to
doing
have
it-
accidental discharges plenty of times. So we're missing this whole point that there was an accidental discharge. So when that accidental
We can
discharge
address
came
that right
off,
now.
that's what's going to happen.
We can address
He's
that in 2
automatically
seconds.
reaching,
We can
and
address
next
that
thing you
in
know, we have these
2
shots happening. So there's a buildup to this that we're
We can
totally
address that.
negating.
We can address that in 2
Pisco,
seconds.
you're not even
Hey,
listening to anything. You're just talking over me.
Yes. No. You just said we have to address the issue of accidental discharge. That's a pivot. because now we're talking.
No,
you're first talking
that's
about
not a
the-
pivot.
that's a
You're
pivot. It is a
overlooking
pivot.
this, Pisco.
It is a pivot.
Okay,
but
wait,
it's
hold
not-
on,
this
hold on,
pivot.
hold on,
That's-
wait, hold on,
It did
Marte.
happen
Are
during
you
this whole
hold on,
exchange.
hold on, Marte. Are you making the claim that it could have been a possible accidental
Could have.
discharge from the
It's-
off?
it
from-
could
No,
from
not
the off-
could
hold on,
have.
I would
hold on,
agree
hold on,
it could
hold on,
have.
Marte.
I agree
Hold
it
on,
could
hold on. Everybody stop. Are you saying that it could have been a possible discharge from the officer who shot him, or are you
Could have
talking
been, yeah.
about the accidental discharge from the SIG as the officer runs away with Pertti's gun?
The accidental discharge from the SIG as the officer runs away with Pertti's gun. That's what I'm referring to.
Do you think
I
that
do
you have a
think
reason
that
to believe
that
that
is
happened?
like proven. Like I do believe that is like
There's
like
So hold on.
reasons
This
about
gun
it.
has been well known and documented to have accidental
Oh,
discharges.
my God.
It's true though. What do you mean? Oh my God, that is actually true.
Wait, okay,
Yes, there is, bro.
Hold on,
Tom,
hold on.
how about you engage with the argument? How about you engage with the argument?
I'm trying to hold on. So I agree that it could think again. We can say a lot of
Yes, it
things
could have.
could have
Yes.
happened.
So-
Like, evidence as to whether or not it did happen is the difference.
That's true. We have evidence.
Real quick.
I just showed you
I wanna-
the
The evidence that could have happened. The evidence that it did happen is it could have.
Hold on, please go.
Your
I
evidence is
understand
my
that it could have
feelings, but
happened.
okay.
I want you to give your answer, then I'm going to go to irrelevant because he didn't get to finish his earlier. So give your answer, and we're going to irrelevant.
Okay, my answer is when you look at the gun, his finger was off the trigger and it went off.
It didn't go off.
They zoomed in on the gun. It didn't have a
My
finger on
argument is the gun went off for the evidence the gun went off.
Wait,
Like,
hold on.
okay, that's
They
Marte,
literally zoomed
sorry.
in on the guy's hand and his finger was on the trigger and it went off. It looks like an accidental discharge.
Marte.
We can demonstrate this.
Marte, I think you might have gotten up when we went over this earlier, but we did all agree that it didn't go off and that we can watch the officer who pulls the gun from the holster and points it. We can hear as soon as the first fire goes off, his arm jerks back. You can see the pushback.
No, I just played you the slow-mo footage. What are you talking
His
about?
hand just did that, Tom.
I just
His
played you
hand
the
just
full
did that.
slow-mo footage,
Hold on,
Tom.
hold on.
That didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I don't want to pull it.
Yeah,
up
let's
again.
see if his
Okay.
hand jerks
gonna have
back
recoil
on the
from
first shot.
accidental-
Wait, can I
That didn't
please
happen.
can I please do my thing?
Purdy didn't even
Yeah,
fucking
go.
react to the first shot.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Alright.
so now is my yeah. Okay,
Go ahead.
so the problem is these two are trying to argue could have, potential. Here's the
I never
problem.
said
So,
could have.
okay, can you mute this guy? Can you mute this guy, please? Because you muted everybody else when they were doing their. Okay.
Yeah, and you did the same thing. But okay.
That's the argument. Is they're like could have, and that's all they're working in this like potential thing. Here's the problem. He had one gun. Well, he could have had two. Well, he had two guns. He
I'm
could have
being
had three.
muted.
Well, he
I
had three
barely
guns. He
even
could have had
talked.
5. He
It's
could have had
crazy.
15. He could have had 30. So, and listen to what they also said. Because he had one gun, if he reaches anywhere on his body, he could be reaching for another gun. What does this mean? If you carry a firearm and you interact with law enforcement in any way, do not move. You need to like get petrified, because if you move at all, you're reaching for something, and that therefore allows for lethal intent. That's the problem. They're making the argument because you have a weapon on you, you could have another weapon, so therefore any movement is sign of lethal intent. That is the argument that they're making, because they have
Oh
not
my
provided
God.
any evidence whatsoever.
We're not even making
another
that claim,
weapon.
bro. This
So
guy.
so stop.
That was never
I'm
the
almost
claim.
done. So the argument, stop. Before, so because they have no evidence that he
Keep
had
arguing
another
with the straw
weapon
man.
on him. So their argument is because he could have had another weapon on him, therefore they're allowed to shoot him. So
That
you
was
have a
never the
gun,
claim.
That means that they're just allowed to shoot you if you move, because
Nope.
you could
Never
be
claimed
reaching
that.
for another a firearm.
Okay.
Never
go
claimed
ahead.
that.
What was the claim?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was
We're
exactly.
yeah. We're not.
Well,
We're
that
not.
was the claim from Marte. You didn't. You may not have said that. Marte did say that if he has one gun, that this is evidence that he may have a second gun.
No,
you
Well,
I
it's
said
probability.
more likely that he could have a second.
Probabilities. Yeah.
And that
Virtue of
therefore,
what?
if he's
Virtue of
reaching,
what?
So,
If you do a
so here's the
statistical analysis
problem
on a
with
gun,
irrelevance
if you
argument.
have one, you're
Irrelevant
more
is
likely to
saying
have
if you
another?
reach anywhere. Irrelevant is saying if you reach anywhere. In law enforcement, we're taught that there are distinct places that people reach. We would tell them not to reach for their pocket or their holster area. The same thing if we look at glove compartments. Now, if you're reaching the top of your head, we're not going to shoot you. If you're reaching for your chest, we're not going to shoot
What if
you.
you're like Die
That's not gonna
Hard? What if
happen.
you're
But
it
in
could
our
happen.
experience,
You could
That's
have
a
a gun
dude,
there.
bro. That's irrelevant.
You could have a gun there.
That's
You could have a gun
What,
there.
in the back of your head? You're gonna pull it out of your back of your head? You fucking idiot.
You're not understanding Relly's
Pisco, you
argument.
haven't heard a damn
Relly's
thing I
Oh
said,
my
have
God,
you?
this guy's just making
I
up
didn't
shit.
Hear it. You're saying no. So I.
Okay,
I'm
hold
just
on.
going back
You're
to
one
what you
pastor
said.
is me.
So what you just said was, well, that's ridiculous, Relly. We don't just say anywhere on your body that you can shoot. There are specific places where we think it's more likely for there to be maybe a second gun or for you
Probability.
to do a furtive gesture. Right. But what Relly is dealing with is your argument. Your argument is, well, merely because it could be the case that a gun could be stashed there, or that you might not like that it's your argument. You might be in denial
It is.
that it's your argument. Everyone can hear when you use those terms, and everyone can hear that you have no basis to believe that there's a second gun, other than the fact that you say, well, logically, if he has a second gun, wouldn't he initially have to have a first gun? You said that. Unironically,
The other
in
way
front of an
around.
audience of hundreds of people, you said that. No, you
Say
said,
it's the
wouldn't
inverse,
he need to have
Pisco.
a second? Wouldn't he need to have a first gun to have a second gun? That's what you said. You said that as though that
No.
were anything, right? As though that
Yeah,
were
you
fucking
did say
anything.
that.
Yeah.
So what Relly is trying to suggest to you is that can't be the test. That cannot be the test, because if that were the test, not only would it chill Second Amendment rights everywhere,
Correct.
and you guys would totally reject it, but
No, that's
also
false.
it makes no fucking sense. It makes no fucking sense to be this much of a bootlicker that you would accept that just not being petrified constitutes any kind of like reasonable threat to the officer sufficient for deadly force.
Pisco, let me ask you this. Hold on, Pisco. Let me ask you this hypothetical.
I need Marte to respond to that because he is saying that wasn't his argument, but that was what I understood your argument to be as well. Is if he had a first gun, makes it more likely that he has a second gun.
So we would have
that
probable
justifies the
cause
shoot.
to believe that if we initially took a firearm off of him and then he's reaching again, there would be a higher probability and a good assumption, a good faith assumption to assume that he's reaching for something else, not necessarily like the primary because that was taken away. And also understand that this also agrees with my argument saying that there was a miscommunication. If that wasn't communicated and then somebody says gun, they're probably thinking there's a secondary possibly. Would you not agree that there's an assumption that somebody would make on good faith out of the protection for officers' lives to say that there's a secondary firearm?
Not a reasonable assumption, which is the
That's
test.
reasonable.
Well, not only let me ask you a hypothetical, Pisco. Pisco,
hold on. He asked a question. Not only is there not a reasonable assumption, any reasonable assumption you would argue for is not sufficient to kill him.
That is reasonable to use the same force that he was going to use in the beginning, pulling out another
gun.
You
have no evidence for it? You have no evidence for it.
Oh, you guys didn't bring any evidence at all. What are we talking about?
No, just to be clear, what is the evidence he had a second weapon? What is the evidence of a secondary weapon?
Is there? Wait, hold on. He took one gun off of him that could have been the primary.
Yeah, bro. He's not claiming that he had multiple weapons. He's claiming that there's a possibility he could. What are you talking about, bro? So let me ask you this, Irrelevant. Let me ask you this. Hold on.
Irrelevant. You're mischaracterizing my argument.
He is just to be clear, they're from my understanding, they're not. You're arguing that there is a likelihood, there is a higher likelihood, a higher probability of a secondary gun being there because the first gun was there. And so
not necessarily a gun, Tom. This could have been a knife, this could have been a gun.
Even a weapon that they're like I would want like I don't even know where that comes from. Like I'm trying to find a way to be charitable to this, but I almost would want like even like polling that says that people who carry guns are like carrying
multiple guns. Yeah,
like
they're Batman. They're Batman. They're wearing a utility belt.
Yeah, you're Robin. Don't carry
primary.
Yes, well, hold on. I'm saying that like they would have to be carrying them at like a 60-70% rate in order for this to be the case, because the just to say that because there was one gun, now they're able to
a reasonable officer would think there's another. That's
yes, and then now use lethal force to stop from getting that gun that they haven't seen. Like that, there would have to be like really, really high like percentages of this.
Tom, that's not necessarily true. I've been in Fight for Lives before where there was somebody who grabbed an officer's gun already on his waist and holster. This could have been the case to where he grabbed another officer's gun.
It could have been. Yes, it could have been.
To make a decision. Hold on.
And
he could have had a bazooka in his pocket.
Hold on.
He could have had an IED. He could have had a nuclear device.
Tom, can I just ask my question after this?
Okay, hold on.
Bro,
because I want to respond to this. I
want to respond to it as well, but you're not letting me. Can I respond? You've already responded multiple times.
No, because I'm
you've already responded multiple times. You've been yapping. Well, you've been yapping, bro. You've been yapping. Can I talk here? Because I haven't been talking.
Okay, Irrelevant was the one who asked the question, so go ahead and follow.
Okay, so just to be clear, all right, are you saying
I'm not in this debate
that
now.
because he could be reaching for another weapon that you have no evidence for, right? Just because he could be reaching for a weapon, that justifies the shoot?
Real quick, Tom, you're allowing a double team right now. Can I get involved here after this, at least?
Yes,
no, I'm asking him directly.
Yeah, can I fucking jump in? Because
I'm sorry.
You've been interrupting me. Pisco's been interrupting me. I can't even fucking get a word in. You guys just been... how about...
Hold on, Pisco. Hold on, Pisco's on mute. Like it has been like Irrelevant asked the question. Marte answered the question.
Yeah, I haven't asked a single one.
I did answer it. I said yes.
Now, Irrelevant's following up, but I will come to you in a minute, Jake.
I've literally been in situations where I had to make a split-second decision, and I couldn't wait for the person to present the firearm or whatever it was they're going to do, and I made split-second decisions. In the line of duty, I've done this.
Okay, so he just said it is justified to shoot. He said it's justified to shoot and kill you because you could have another weapon with no evidence. Just to be clear, he just admitted that I said no evidence, could have another weapon. He said yes. That is insane. That is there is no evidence he has another weapon whatsoever, and that because he could have one, that's enough to shoot him.
Okay, so great. So this is stupid. This is fucking retarded.
Okay, hold on, Marte.
You know the officers die because they wait upon presentation of a weapon or something like that. There's casualties that happen. There's officers that don't come home to their family because they're like, no, we're just gonna wait to see if a gun is present or not, and they die.
I think your statement stand on there.
Okay, shut the fuck up and let me ask my fucking question, bro. I've been waiting patiently right now. I've been waiting very patiently right now. So again, going back to their assumption here is like, oh well, he had a weapon, so therefore, like, what's your assumption that he might have another one? Let me ask you this, Irrelevant, because you've been yapping too much right now. Let's say you were a law enforcement, right? You were in the law. You have a case where there's an individual that had a gun. He pulls out the gun, right? Maybe you fire at him, and the case is that it never fucking hit him, etc. He abandons the gun.
I'm sorry,
hold on. I'm not done with the hypothetical. I'm not done. Hold on.
I'm asking
hold on. One on one. Well, let me fucking finish, you fucking idiot. How about you shut the fuck up and let me finish? Let him cocksucker. So really quick,
clarifying questions.
Okay,
can I not,
bro?
Tom?
Afterwards, please. Afterwards, after I finish with the hypothetical, you can give me some clarifying questions, you dumb fuck. So really quick. So let's say you're it's one-on-one with an individual. This individual pulls out a gun. You pull out your gun, he abandons the gun later, okay? And then you see him reach in his coat or etc. somewhere. Could be reaching for anything at that point. Do you still wait there and say, you know what? The odds are he doesn't have another fucking gun, so I'm not going to shoot at him before he pulls out whatever he's pulling out of his coat. Would you do that, Irrelevant?
Okay, so number one is the first pullout. Is he brandishing the weapon at me?
Yes.
Okay, so
and then he
pointing
abandons
the weapon at me in a deadly manner, and then he throws it away.
Yeah, he
and
abandons it.
He's
Whatever the case
away
is.
from me. Is his back to me?
Let's do that. So the point is, hold on. So the point,
he's running away from me.
Whatever scenario you want, he brandishes the weapon.
Okay, so
you brandish. Hold on.
Back. Oh, sorry. You said whatever scenario you want. So I'm saying,
are you ever going to answer the hypothetical?
I see him possibly reaching. I am going to say, put your hands in the air.
I didn't say his back was turned to you. Engage with the hypothetical, please.
You said whatever scenario you want. Okay, so then engage in
bro,
whatever scenario.
Because you're adding up shit. Look,
my question.
Let me.
Is his back to me or not?
It's not. Because obviously you can't see that he's fucking doing anything in his coat if his back's to you, fucking idiot. So if you see him,
I could.
If you see him go into his coat after he abandoned the original weapon, do you shoot at him or not? Answer the question.
No, I'm going to point my gun at him and say hands in the air.
Okay.
Hands in, yes.
Yeah.
This is what cops do all the time.
No, they don't. No, they don't. What are you talking about? You fucking idiot. No, if they see,
gap is.
Yes, I understand what a reaction.
No, you do not.
Is. Yes, absolutely. And also, hold on, just to be clear.
Insane, Irrelevant.
Just to be clear. In the analogy that you gave me, it's entirely divorced from the situation that we're talking about.
No, it's not. I'm giving you a hypothetical because your claim originally was that there's no proof of if he reached out to his pocket.
The hand that was reaching inside of the coat is a hand reaching behind him. Clearly,
this guy's not letting me respond to this guy. This guy's fucking just overstepping
inside of it. So this idea that he's
didn't know the
instead of a coat, it's completely disanalogous. Okay, it's not.
Can I respond to that? Let me respond to that, Tom. Stop muting me, Tom.
He showed deadly intent with brandishing a firearm.
No, bro. Bro. That's not how the law works. When it comes to reactions, they're not saying just because you had a weapon prior before that you reaching out for another fucking weapon potentially that they're just going to be like, oh, I'm just going to have you fucking have your hands up and don't shoot. That's not how it works. If they're attempting to go into another weapon, he has all the right to shoot him again. All right, it doesn't matter.
So if you,
but you would agree with that, right? You would agree with that, right?
No, just to be clear,
you wouldn't,
because your analogy is trash. I'm going to respond. to what you're saying.
Because I don't think you understand my analogy. But go ahead.
So Tom, you remember when he said the analogy is 1-to-1, correct? You remember he said the analogy was fitting, correct?
No, I never said. No, fitting of what?
No, yes,
I said he abandons the original weapon.
You said the analogy was 1-to-1.
I never said 1-to-1. I never used those words. You fucking idiot. Never used those words.
Okay, cool. So then why bring up?
I just be clear. I don't know if I heard him say that. So
I never said 1-to-1. I never. Yeah, sure. Yeah, because you're lying. True.
I said this is no. I said that this was disanalogous, and you said no, it's not disanalogous because it is.
Oh, but you 1-on-1. You never. I never said that.
Okay, so is it analogous or disanalogous?
I don't know. specifically. I don't even know those terms,
my-
the words.
the
Okay,
vibrator-
Don't know the words,
your lumpy
but who
ass
cares?
Came up with a random fucking
Oh my
analogy with no
God.
correlation to what we're talking
Bro,
about.
that's
Is that
irrelevant
what I just
here.
heard?
How about you just
You're
fucking answer my
obfuscating.
question?
The whole
Hold on.
point is that you make an analogy that is related to the thing that we're talking about. That is the
Okay,
whole point.
great,
How is
great,
it
great.
related? How
And
is
I'm
it
using
related?
it's not a question, it's a hypothetical, you stupid fuck. The hypothetical is
related?
meant to test your logic.
hypotheticals are
Hold on.
meant to-
No, to test your logic.
in
To test your
relation
logic.
to
No,
something
no, 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 no.
else.
Not
In
necessarily.
relation to
No,
something
not
else.
necessarily. In this case, it is related.
how's it
You're
testing
making the
logic?
claim that
All right,
because he
hold
had a gun, therefore, you're making the claim that.
Hold on,
Oh my
hold on,
God.
hold on. Okay, so obviously the analogy was meant to analogize whether or not somebody is reaching for something, whether or not you can pull a gun. That was where it was supposed to analogize.
Exactly.
The Jake, your
Whether or not you could pull a gun?
like,
What's the question?
yes, yes.
So is
He's
the question-
sorry.
No.
Whether or not you could shoot or whether or not you should shoot. He was asking irrelevant whether or not he would shoot in this scenario. So Jake, if this is your analogy and he's saying that you should probably put your hands up first, that he would need to actually see a gun, because even like in a traffic stop, like if somebody's being like rowdy with the officer, they're being threatening, things like that.
Yeah.
If they reach into their glove compartment, the officer is normally going to pull a gun, but they won't normally just immediately
Correct.
start shooting because they reached into the glove compartment. He's saying, I would wait for the hand to come out of the glove compartment to see if there's a weapon first. In
No,
this
I-
case,
I wanna
there
answer
was-
Jake.
Yeah.
there was
I wanna
a-
answer
So
Jake
let me
with
answer
that.
the question. Pisco, hold up.
What Jake reply, and then we're going to go to Pisco.
Yeah. So this is a good analogy here because it relates to my hypothetical with I gave with Irrelevant over here. Irrelevant saying like, oh no, I wouldn't fucking shoot the guy or attempt to shoot him. I would say hands up, don't shoot, right? And this guy attempts to pull out whatever it is. Could be a wallet, could be a weapon. There's a good example. I believe it was the Jacob Blake situation where he was having issues with, I think his baby mama or some shit like that. He brandished, I believe, a knife at first, and then he was disarmed. He reached into the car afterwards, and they lit him up. Okay? So regardless of whatever the weapon was, the fact is that he's still reaching. They don't know what the case is. Could be a gun, could be anything. Regardless of the situation, that's not how cops think. Irrelevant's a fucking moron to say because he brandished a gun and then he abandoned it.
that's
Hold
not
on.
true. So in the Jacob
Then
Blake
if he
situation,
tries,
if I
hold
remember
on,
correctly,
dude,
there was
shut the
kids
fuck
inside the
up.
vehicle,
Hold
they
on.
would obviously
I
change
said
the analogy.
I'm using
No,
it
it's
as a
totally
bro.
disanalogous.
Can you
No, it's totally disanalogous.
bro? Can I use bro? Whether the case
No,
was or
you
not.
use good
Okay,
analogies.
fine. Then let me do a hypothetical where somebody fucking brandished a knife and then reached into their car.
When
Doesn't
did
matter.
Alex Pertti brandish?
Bro,
When did Alex Pertti brandish?
bro, how about you answer my
it's disanalogous
hypothetical?
because he
Let
did
me
brandish.
finish. Hold on,
Okay,
let me
hold on,
finish.
hold on,
Let me
hold on.
finish, bro.
We're-
Shut the
we're-
fuck up
we're
and let me
gonna go to
finish.
Pisco, because what was the point in the Jacob Blake?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I use
so-
me or Pisco? Who are you?
Jake. What was
Okay.
the point in the Jacob Blake scenario?
Yeah. So what I was making the point on is that Irrelevance using the case that he would give them commands or some stupid shit like that. That's not how officers work. That's not how officers work in any scenario. They usually, whatever the case is, regardless if they brandish a weapon or not, and they reach for something in their pocket, they are still 100% allowed to shoot because they don't know if they're reaching for another gun or a knife or whatever the case is. They don't know that.
Okay.
So they do it within the moment of that time. That's still legal. This fucking idiot is saying that I just wouldn't do it because I just know the future or some bullshit like that. He's a fucking moron. Go ahead.
Jake's correct.
Okay,
and we have
so
precedent
go ahead,
and
and then
examples that can
we
show
are gonna
before
give
as
a
well,
couple
too.
more minutes. We'll give a couple more minutes before we wrap up. But Pisco, go ahead.
Okay. So the question isn't what officers do. This is what officers do, because whatever they're teaching the CPP officers is fucked up. All right. So it doesn't. The test isn't. Is it what officers do? The test is it objectively reasonable? And what you're doing is slimy as fuck. Number one, you
I'm
are
so slimy,
not
guys.
using a fact pattern that's analogous at all to the actual situation that occurred. And I can tell you why. It's also not analogous to the Jacob Blake situation, which is why Irrelevant is objecting to both of those things. So in the case that you presented, the first hypothetical.
I'm just testing logic, bro. That's all I'm doing.
I know, but you're.
So then
failing
why?
at that.
So
He brandished-
no, it's I'm
he-
not.
he
But
takes
okay.
out he takes out a gun in full view of the cop, unlike a situation.
I'm not
where
even
you
talking
can't
about
see
that.
and-
He made the claim about two
I thought it
weapons.
was-
That's
That
what
was
the
the
topic
hypothetical.
was. You're obfuscating to something
hang
that
on.
I wasn't even talking about. I'm talking about his
Trying to
logic.
pivot away from his own hypothetical because he knows it's trash.
Bro, my hypothetical was testing your logic, you moron.
Quit interrupting him.
Go ahead,
The-
Pisco.
the
Okay,
question
Pisco, are you
of-
responding to the hypothetical, or are you bringing back up the actual scenario again?
Yeah, he's
I'm
bringing up the
responding to
scenario.
hypotheticals. I'm
Okay,
I'm
okay,
I'm
so
trying
he's
to
responding to the
respect
hypothetical.
what our
Okay.
interlocutors, unlike them, I'm trying to address everything they're saying, and they're
Okay,
claiming that
go
these
ahead and respond
hypotheticals
to the
are
hypothetical.
useful.
So you don't
Okay,
like
so in the
hypotheticals.
first
Okay,
hypothetical,
great.
no, I'm
He's
responding
responding
to
to
your
the hypothetical now.
hypothetical.
Go ahead.
Oh, do you want me just not to respond to it?
No, go ahead and
What would be
respond.
more respect for your
Respond.
hypothetical?
Go ahead and
they're
respond.
to it or
muted.
not
Go
respond
ahead
to
and
it?
respond to it.
Okay,
They're muted.
so-
Go ahead and respond to it, please.
Your
Fucking idiot.
hypothetical in the
This guy's
first
a fucking
instance
moron, bro.
involves someone
Chat.
throwing their
He's a
gun to the
fucking moron.
side.
Send me another
And so when
fucking
irrelevant
super
tells
chat
you,
for how
wow, in
stupid
that
this guy is,
situation,
please.
If he's going for something in the coat, the first thing I would
Send
do
me the
in
money.
response to that is issue a lawful order. It has to do because we tend to think, right? Someone who throws their gun to the side is showing the, relinquishing power, relinquishing. Now, that's not to say that in that circumstance, for certain they're not going to reach for a second gun. But that situation is distinguishable from Jacob Blake in that it's in full view of the officer. The gun is already trained. You can see where he's pulling. You have him, and you have the ability in this moment to give a lawful order and command. So it has to do with the ability of the officer in that context. And it has to do after someone has sort of consciously relinquished the gun already. They've already now it could be a subterfuge, and that's why our relevant said that he would issue a command first before he would take the shot. But even if you don't agree with him, that's not on all fours with Jacob Blake, which is a completely different fact pattern. And of course, it's not on all fours with the case we have here, where you never have a brandishing, right? You have no indicia of a furtive movement, where to the extent that even if there was some furtive movement, as it is in your hypothetical, it happens after the first shot, as Tom just put, to linear times in your way. So on all fours, your hypothetical has not shown any inconsistency in all relevance logic. Different facts in that case, different facts than Jacob Blake, and different facts than we have in our case.
So let me address this real quick. You're conflating a lot of things and you're messing up the timeline as well, too. So you're also doing a horrible hatchet job of this. I'll even point this out. If I pull somebody over, and here's the thing, though, I'll even agree he never brandished a weapon, right? You don't need to brandish a weapon. If we take this off, right, that's happened. He's shown it evidence of having a gun. So if he's reaching again for his pocket, I'm not going to wait as an officer to say, well, I didn't know if it was a gun. We're going to find out after he points whatever it is or pulls out whatever in his pocket. We don't wait. We don't have this type of timeline to wait afterwards, because hindsight 2020 is good for people in 6 feet deep. We don't wait for that. So if we take off a firearm, mind you, you're talking about a situation where he threw it to the side. This didn't happen here. He was disarmed. Somebody took this off of his person.
That's what makes it a bad analogy.
Hold on.
No, it's not,
They
bro.
disarmed him as he was fighting law enforcement when they couldn't get a handle of his hands. He was fighting. He was actively engaging with law enforcement, not complying. This is a person who we took a gun from. So it's safe to assume if he's reaching in his pocket, he's not going to do this to play pity pat with anybody else and to pull out bubble gum. He's doing this, and we're going to make an assumption on a fair case saying that he's probably doing this with ill intent.
Yeah, well,
He's not
okay.
reaching
Again,
for
well,
it.
hold on.
Yeah,
Even going back to my,
I'm going to respond to that. Nope, he
bro.
spoke. So now it's our turn.
how do you fuck? Well,
So,
dude,
no, that's
I've
no
been
problem.
muted the
No,
whole
no,
time. Tom's
hey,
been doing
hey,
that. You guys
hey,
been
go
talking
smoke
the
a
fucking whole
cigarette.
time.
Go smoke a cigarette.
How about
He
you
just
fucking
went
shut
off
the
on a-
fuck?
Hey, go smoke
Yeah,
a cigarette.
how about I
He
fucking
just went
address
off on a
that?
whole
Oh
dialogue
my
period.
God,
It's
this
our
guy.
turn to actually respond to what he said.
Hold on. Wait.
Anyways.
Like if Marte just went, so we want to let either Pisco or Irrelevant respond to.
Yeah, they've been responding a lot.
Okay, so he's
And
doubling.
you've been muting me, bro.
He's been doubling down. Yeah, he's been doubling
Yeah.
down
Irrelevant's got
on the
muted
idea.
just as much as you, I promise.
No, it's not true, bro.
Yeah, listen,
I was patient
I'm losing
on my
fucking mind, so
hypothetical.
listen, bro.
I was super patient with my
Ern,
hypothetical.
No
I
bad
didn't
blood,
interrupt.
Tom. I know. I'm losing my mind. Okay, I
And
know.
you have been muting me, bro.
Here's the problem.
And they haven't been engaging with me.
So he's doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on the idea that, again, if you at any point have a weapon on you, ever, no matter whether or not there was like brandishing or lethal intent at all, just if you have a gun on you and you reach for anything that could have a weapon in it, they're allowed to kill you.
Do you believe?
Oh,
Again, going back to my hypothetical, this actually shoots back to it.
I'm not done. Hey, get your ass up, boy. Okay, I'm not done. How is this not stomping on the Second Amendment? The fact that I have a gun. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Okay, that the fact that if I have a gun, that just merely the act of having it, even if I lose possession of it afterwards, that if I reach for anything in any way, shape, or form
on your body,
then I'm allowed to be killed.
Okay. No,
he even referred to as a glove box. He even referred to a glove box.
If you're reaching into your coat, even after you
anything.
abandon the weapon, yes, the cop has every fucking right to say that there's a
Even if you
weapon
can
there.
abandon
What are you
it,
talking about, you
if you
fucking
have a
moron?
gun
This
and
is
it
what I'm
drops
talking about with
on the-
logic.
Hold on.
Dude, you're not even engaging.
Can I respond to this, Tom?
Well, hold on.
Because that
I'm
was towards me.
trying to let Jake respond real quick. Hold on. Let him respond.
Yeah, like I said before, what the reason why I asked that hypothetical and Pisco goes on like, oh, this doesn't rate the thing with the Jacob Blake situation. I just brought up the Jacob Blake situation because it's been so long. I don't know the exact thing. I was assuming, and I'm thinking that's the case, that he brandished a weapon and then he went into his car. I could be wrong. That's not the case. The point that I was making is if it's the case that he abandoned a weapon, he had a weapon in his hand, abandons it, and then reaches into his coat, irrelevant, this fucking moron would say, oh, I'm going to fucking say that it might not be the case. That's not how law enforcement works. Pisco knows that. He 100% knows this situation. He brings up the Jacob Blake situation. I don't remember it exactly. I was just saying, could be the case. I know I brought it up. I'm saying it could be the case, and I was misremembering. I don't know the case here. I have to look back on it. But my point was the hypothetical. You go on an entire fucking rant about it. It's not the point. The point is,
I addressed the hypo,
Pisco.
right?
Well, Pisco, if you were if you were an officer and somebody brandished a weapon, they abandoned it, and they reach into their coat, would you assume that they're reaching in for a weapon?
Yeah, so not necessarily. No, if they've, it depends on the nature of their abandonment.
Okay,
right?
the first time you would.
It depends
right?
on the nature. It depends on.
What about the
depends
first
on-
time?
It depends on the nature. It depends on the nature. It depends on the nature of the abandonment. If they're voluntarily relinquishing a weapon, I would, and the weapon. So the example you provide, it's like Luke Skywalker at the end of Return of the Jedi. Remember
I'm just
when
testing your
he goes
logic,
to the
bro.
Emperor?
I'm just testing your logic.
I understand. I'm trying to explain myself. All right. Remember in Return of the Jedi when Luke says,
No,
he
I never
throws
seen that
his
movie.
lightsaber across the. Okay, well, just he.
I'm not a Star Wars
Darth Vader,
nerd.
and it doesn't. You don't have to be a nerd to watch those movies, bro.
Can I
To
address
watch
the
Star
flash?
Wars
Just
and
continue,
then-
bro.
All
Just
right,
continue.
so
Just
he-
continue.
So,
All right,
so
all
someone who voluntarily relinquishes their weapon after they've taken it out, normal people will think, oh, he probably has less of a deadly intent because he's relinquished the thing that would provide that. Now, I'm not unreasonable. I don't say, therefore, you don't think you put your gun down, you don't do anything.
Correct.
I think it's totally fine to keep your gun out and irrelevant made for that. But the question is, after that occurs and they do a furtive movement or they go into their
Leave it
brief
to
for who
vote.
knows what reason, the escalation of force, is it enough yet to make that assumption? And
That's
on
how
those facts alone,
officers-
no. Now it's different if this person, for example, has already used their gun, or Jacob Blake has already tried to like kill someone or use a weapon. Then it's different facts, right? If you stone someone who is already used their weapon, right? Use their weapon in a deadly way, then I'm going to be like, yeah, reasonable. But here's the difference, right?
No.
Even if you disagree with us on that, even Jake, I'll just say this: you can disagree if you disagree with Irrelevant and I on that, on the example that you provided. That's fine. Nothing to do with this case. Nothing.
Yeah,
to do with this
but
case, because
again,
this case has been involved.
hold on, bro. Here's the thing. I'm just testing the claim that you guys were making, saying that because he brandished a weapon, whatever the case is, and he reached into his back, that could have been a weapon, which we were saying maybe not. We don't fucking know. This is why I fucking asked the hypothetical. This is how it relates to the case, bro.
He didn't brandish a weapon.
He didn't
No,
brandish. He didn't brandish a
bro,
weapon.
hold on. I'm sorry. Okay. Hold on. The fact is he had a weapon. Then he went out to get the weapon. I'm just saying from the cop's
No,
perspective.
he didn't.
Bro,
No, he didn't.
bro.
He didn't do that.
Again, he did. We can have the still frame. Tomfoolery actually agrees with me on this case here.
He had a
He
phone in
does.
his hand.
But hold on. This is why I ask you the scenario, because you guys were fucking claiming that because he brandished or because anybody brandishes a weapon, this was our claim, that if he reaches back to his back pocket, that he might have a weapon. Could be the case. We don't know. But
just to
you
be
are
clear,
saying that that's
you-
not plausible. That's what your
just to
claim
be
is,
clear,
right?
Do you know what the
Hold
word
on. I'm
brandish
asking.
means?
Yes, holding. Yes,
Irrelevant. Can I
grabbing
address
the
a claim you
weapon.
made
Does.
before that's really fallacious. That doesn't
No,
make
no,
any sense.
I'm sorry.
I
I'm
already-
sorry. He
dude,
needs
bro.
to respond to that.
No, hold on, Tom. You
Wait,
admitted.
wait,
Yes.
no, it sounded like
No,
he did.
Yes,
wait,
brandishing a weapon, brandishing a lighter.
He
Yes.
just said he didn't understand what brandishing
Oh my
means.
God,
Something
dude.
that I needed to
Stop
discuss
obfuscating, bro.
No,
You know
I'm
what I
trying
mean.
to ask him because it sounds like he doesn't understand.
Yeah, you're
Brandishing a
running right
weapon.
now, Relevant.
Brandishing a weapon, fucker.
Okay.
Stop
Okay, what is
obfuscating.
brandishing
Stop.
a weapon?
Hold on,
Uh,
Irrelevant. Hold on.
Oh
So,
my
Jake,
God.
are you saying that he was attempting to brandish a weapon? Is that your claim?
Yes.
Not that he was brandishing.
Yeah,
one, but
yeah,
that
maybe-
He was attempting.
How?
Yes,
to brandish
because
one?
I'm mixing it up with my hypothetical.
so-
In the hypothetical,
Wait a second,
Okay,
Jake. That's
just be
so
clear.
Oh my
fucking
God,
clear.
bro.
Hold on.
Can I
Wait,
finish?
Hold on.
I'm just testing
Hold on.
y'all's claim. I'm
I
testing
didn't
y'all's
agree that-
claim.
I didn't agree. Hold on. I didn't agree that like he was actually reaching for a gun. I agree that he reached to the back. It seems
sure.
as though his hand was under his butt, like towards his leg.
No,
Not,
you can't make that
so it
claim,
didn't seem like there
Tom.
was
No.
anything.
He showed the
around
footage
where-
earlier.
Not even.
I can't. Hold on.
No.
Pisco, hold on. What I can't make the claim that he touched his leg. What do you mean I can't?
You can't make.
You did.
You can't make.
I did make.
You
that
can't make.
I played
no.
it on the fucking video.
Okay. Do you think that I meant you can't make the claim as in you're legally not allowed to make that?
He
claim,
didn't say
Tom?
legally,
think
you
that I was
stupid
saying that-
idiot.
No,
that-
I'm saying,
what
I'm saying
did you
I
think
showed
meant
the
by that?
video. I'm saying I showed the video and I showed that he touched his leg. What do you mean I can't make that claim?
Wait.
He touched the fucking video.
He.
Bro,
when you
stop
say he
arguing
touched
with-
it, I mean, Pertti.
Bro,
Pertti
let him
touched
have
his
this
leg.
conversation.
So
Freddie
Pertti
with the
touched
phone
his
in his
leg.
hand,
When did he? Show me when he quote touched his leg based on the video where you said, well, it blocks it so you can't see it. That's what I remember you saying. And then B,
Oh
the
my
fact
God.
that you yourself said it happened after the first shot.
He showed it after it got
Yes,
blocked, bro.
I didn't say that he was grabbing a gun. That's what I'm trying to get to.
It's-
You're jumping in
I'm not.
saying
No.
I can't make that-
Sorry. I didn't say grabbing for a gun. I said what you said. You said that he touched his leg. I'm asking, in virtue of what do we have a good basis to believe he touched his leg? In virtue of
Yeah,
what?
from the first angle that I showed. So I said that the second angle is blocked to where they were saying the second angle shows that he actually has his hand up towards his back. I said, no, the first angle shows he just touches his leg. They said, go to the second angle. So I went to the second angle. And they said the
I
second
never saw
angle-
that, but it's besides the
Yeah,
point.
you don't pay
Even if-
attention,
go ahead.
obviously, Pisco.
I
Okay,
want to be clear. I disagree with Tom.
Tom, can you just
For the
finish your
gun,
question for me, please? Because this fucking idiot
Yeah,
interrupted
so
you.
I was just saying that I didn't agree with that. He was touching the back of his leg with the phone in his hand. It doesn't seem as though his hand ever went anywhere near the holster. So if you agree that like he didn't brandish the weapon and that you think that he was attempting to brandish the weapon, but there wasn't any evidence of a weapon there, what does it what
What does it imply?
is it scenarios when we're talking about reaching inside of a glove box, we're talking about a scenario where you can't see where their hand is, or when they reach inside of their pocket, you can't see what's inside of their pocket. You can't
Right.
see what's inside of the glove box.
Mhm.
In this scenario, if he doesn't actually reach inside of anything to where you don't know what's inside of there,
Yeah.
what is the possibility of there being something somewhere if he's not reaching into something that's not visible?
Yeah, as far as the possibility wise, again, we don't know exactly what's in his pants, etc. Right? We don't know that. What I am saying is though, the probability wise, this is why I asked the hypothetical, is that you can't 100% be sure of these things. Now, however, if you look back at the footage, it looks like the initial shot, the second shot, anyways, it looks like he didn't actually see that the gun in the holster was gone already. Right?
How do you know
So,
that? Wait,
but-
how do you know that? You
Well,
can't-
it doesn't
you
look
can't even
like
tell me
it,
that
but
he
it
was
could-
trying to
it
help.
could-
You
bro,
can't even tell
can I
me-
finish?
You're like
Pisco,
you're like, how do
chill
you
out, bro.
know
Stop
that
sparking
he was
out.
trying to
Still,
help?
let me chill out, bro. I didn't make that claim. I didn't make that he was trying to claim.
How do you know
Bro.
that she's helping her across the street? You're like, I know he didn't see the gun. What the fuck?
You want to
Like,
go back to
you're-
the fucking
you're
crossing the
saying that
street
you know-
shit, bro?
You know, for,
Again,
you know
no,
for certain-
you knew.
know for certain
You
he's
you
not
made the
helping
claim
her
that he
across
was
the
helping her
street.
cross the street. You had no
I
proof
know
on
he
that.
didn't
What are you
see-
talking about?
I know
That?
he didn't
How do
see
you
it.
know
I
that
know
he?
he didn't
That
fucking
was
see
your
it.
claim, you fucking moron. What are you talking about? That was
And
your claim.
I was
Can
totally
I finish?
vindicated.
Can I finish,
was
bro?
totally, completely
Pisco,
vindicated.
can you shut up and let me finish?
Go for it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, dude.
Jake, we're gonna close.
So
Go
let me
ahead.
finish. Let me finish really quick. So I'm just making, I'm just saying that the officers don't know, but however, the initial officer, I would say, didn't see the gun being pulled out, right? Originally,
How do you know?
even if. Bro, well, I'm,
How
do you know?
bro, I'm basing it off of the footage. I'm basing it off the
Nathan,
bro. Look, I don't know. I wasn't in
how do
the
you know
eye.
he didn't see it?
Listen, bro, I wasn't in the eyes of the individual.
Hold on.
Just shut up. Just shut
Hold
up,
on,
dude.
Jake, my question was about like if there's a place that they're reaching into where they can't see the thing. You were saying there's a possibility that there would be another
Yeah,
gun
Could
inside
be.
of his pants,
or a
something.
knife or any type of weapon.
Sure. If his hand went inside of his pants, that would make sense. But like even you don't seem to be claiming that his hand ever went inside of
No.
his pants or in a place where they couldn't see it. So that's what I'm asking about: is if he's not reaching into something that they can't tell what's inside of there, why would there be a chance of a gun just like magically appearing?
Well, again, they don't know if there's another weapon or if there's a knife, right? So if you're going back over here, you're attempting to get something out of your clothing, there could be a possibility that it could be a knife. Not only that, they were about 2 feet away from him. So brandishing a knife could be very deadly to ICE officers. Now, again, I am also making a claim that I believe that the first shot was probably accidental based off the video that I sent you, right? The first shot happens, he's getting up. The second shot is when he goes down. So there's a lot of miscommunication there, and I would agree that under the circumstances of it being heated, could have been misconceptions. But however, we have to judge it off of the perspective of the officers, and I'm just saying, could be the perspective that, hey, they didn't know, they heard gun, 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 and they usually rely on their own fellow officers, in order to perceive a threat.
Okay, so I gave you guys the last word on this, so I'm going to switch up the order of the closing statements. Marte, we're going to start with you, then we'll go to Pisco, then we'll go to Jake, then we'll go to Irrelevant, and we'll close it out that way. So this is the final statements, and also shout out your channels, let everybody know where they can find you. Marte, you got about 2 minutes. Go ahead.
So you can find me on my channel, OTE on the Edge. You can also find me in other debates. I'm everywhere else, Mighty Marte. I'm an IFBB pro athlete trying to qualify for the Olympia this year, an active pro athlete, ex-former law enforcement officer, active current debater. Many other things in my book. The female warrior fallacy will be released in 3 months from now. I'm still working on that. But anyways, here's the thing that I'd like to end on. I want to counter something that Irrelevant said earlier. He said, well, if it is the case that, law enforcement will, shoot anybody who has a secondary firearm or assume this, nobody would have two-way rights. Really fallacious argument on its face. We're talking about somebody who inserted himself into a hostile situation. This is very specific and case-by-case scenario. So let me address that real quick, because that was a dumbass claim also. Applauding my partner, Jake, who did really well in this debate. I don't think that Pisco was able to prove that he couldn't contradict himself, saying that, well, we do have evidence and we could demonstrate the lead up to this and build a case, but then all of a sudden rules for me and not for thee in this whole debate. That's literally what he did this whole time, is saying, well, okay, cool, we could build up a case, but you can't do that. But I really don't see anything on their end showing that this wasn't a justified shoot, because if we see the lead up to this, we see that he wasn't a peaceful protester kicking out taillights and all this. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. I really didn't hear a solid argument from their end, and I'll leave it to everybody else to decide where their hat lies.
All right, appreciate it, man, and good luck with the Olympic qualifiers. Pisco, tell everybody where they can find you, and you got about 2 minutes.
Pisco Liddy on YouTube and on Twitter. I'm going to start by quoting, okay? Quote, the guy never brandished the gun at all. He never showed the gun at all. He never removed the gun from the holster at all. Let's go through the facts. The facts are that this was ICE escalating, CBP. Your job in crowd control is to de-escalate. The ICE officer chases a woman across the street, pepper sprays her, and then apparently isn't satisfied with that. So he shoves her down. At the point of shoving her down is when this guy who was just filming, just sitting there filming, walks in and tries to stop that. So what does he do? He pepper sprays him, but not happy with pepper spraying. This is the ultimate victim. He grabs his arm down so he can pepper spray him some more. And then, so they're both pepper sprayed. So you're creating a disastrous situation to begin with. There's no competent cop who is going to come in to say that this is how you handle an escalation situation. They take him down. They push him to the ground. He never hits any officer ever. He never initiates anything with any officer ever. All he did was try to help this woman off the street and get up off the ground, and see him right there. He puts his hands up. He grabs his arm, that is referring to the cop. Yeah, a lot of people are going to say, this is someone else. What the hell do you think he's doing? And this person responds, picking up a woman is being shoved down by a nice officer who doesn't know what the hell he's doing. How about that? And this person continues to say this is obviously unjustified. The person I'm talking about right now is Robert Barnes. He is one of the biggest MAGA dick sucks in the entire universe. He is a legal analyst, and even he recognizes what we saw here. There are no furtive gestures to suggest he's reaching for a gun. He was disarmed at the time of the shooting. Even if it was the case that he was committing obstruction, which they totally failed to understand or to elaborate, doesn't justify the shooting. Even if they were able to show what they want to show about these given hypotheticals, those facts aren't applicable here. And what we saw tonight, in addition to all of this equivocal language, he could have had, I mean, just count in Jake's last statement the amount of coulds that were there. It's absolutely insane. Irrelevant's totally right about the implications of their theory being disastrous for rights and disastrous for the Second Amendment. But this is a perfect example of why we need to defund ICE, because this is the caliber of degenerate that they hire, that they think that they're allowed to shoot you, a free American, just on mere potentiality that you could be a threat, that even in a situation in which you're surrounded by 7 officers, Alex Pertti was, in which every application of force in that context was unjustified, they will go to the grave defending your murder. A disgusting showing by these 2 government bootlicking shills. And this is exactly the problem with ICE and DHS and why we need to fire all of these bozos.
All right. Thank you, Pisco. And then Jake, let everybody know where they can find you and give us your closing statements. You got 2 minutes.
Yeah, real quick. You could. I'm Jake Varr. You can find me at Project VOPod on YouTube and Rumble, as well as Jake Varr on X and Instagram. I would like to thank Tom Foolery. Actually, you did an amazing job moderating this chaos that we happened to have earlier today. Much better than Wick. I'm going to give you credit on that. Much better of a moderator than Wick. Very engaging with the questions. Now let me go to what took place here in this chaos. Here is that these stupid fucks here made the claim that this fucking this Alex Pertti, right, was walking a woman across the fucking street. That's already fucking retarded in itself. Then they also claim that he was trying to help up the other woman, that he was just trying to help her up. He got fucking pepper sprayed, moves towards the woman, and somehow he was trying to help her up when obviously he's blind and he's just panicking. That's really what the case was. Also a fucking stupid claim. I also made the claim about fucking how the first shot was, of course, if you look at the footage, the first shot wasn't directed at Pertti, especially if they're 2 feet away, etc. of the original shot. More than likely, you're not going to miss that. So he was getting up, and then the second shot, of course, gun. Most fucking law enforcement go by their institutes on what the situation is at the time. So in this case, you have to look at what these officers were thinking at the time of when the trigger was pulled. That's the case there. Then they also strawman us about the situation that the question that you brought up about the Trump administration and their claims about Pertti having a gun in his hand. Did not happen. Totally agree with that. I actually granted them that, but then they made an entire argument about how that wasn't the case. I never made the claim. Neither did Martel make the claim that was the case, right? But then they go in a whole big spurg about how that's what we claim. Not the case at all. That was a big straw man as well. These guys fucking totally got pwned tonight. They got pwned. It's not even fucking funny. Most of these fucks weren't even engaging with my hypotheticals at points. They weren't even fucking engaging with me, bro. And Pisco, you're a big fucking, you're a big individual. I've seen you on Tim Pool, etc. You're not even really engaging with my engagement here. So I'd love to have a one-on-one with you one of these days. Just FYI, if you're down to have that, we can do that. We'll set it up, man. With that being said, Tom, thank you so much for being a pretty good moderator, bro. Very, very much so from the left wing's point of view.
Be happy to set that up for you guys as well. I would be happy to set that up, but also I do not stand by the Wick claims. Okay, Wick is good enough moderator.
Wick's horrible.
He's
I've been on there. He's horrible.
And then Irrelevant. Let everybody know where they can find you and give your closing statements. You got 2 minutes, sir.
TikTok, Instagram, Kick, YouTube, Twitch, Irrelevant, as seen here, Relevant. So what I want to say is I want to go through the total abandonment of all of their positions that they went through. So let's begin just at starters. Pisco came in here to be able to have a conversation about the actual history and the actual merits of the charge of like resisting arrest and stuff like this. They immediately abandoned it. They went from, he shoved the ICE agent to he lightly pushed to he was obstructing. They constantly dialed
Shoving
back.
And lightly
they went from, he was obstructing to, he was standing in between them, obstructing the same way a tree falls in between 2 individuals. I also want to bring up that the analogy that Jake keeps thinking for some reason fit. He referred to brandishing a weapon, and I still to this moment do not know if he actually knows what the word brandishing means. I'm actually very confident he doesn't. And yes, in the video, he grabs the woman. He doesn't just move towards her. He grabs the woman after
Did he brandish the woman?
And yes, to the
I think he brandished the woman.
There's a video that I linked to Tom. He hadn't played it, which to his credit, that's fine. But that shows she was pushed, and then he grabbed her, and then ushered her to the edge of the street that we saw at the end there. The video that we watched had the camera go down, but it's clearly visible in the other angle. So yeah, Pisco was right on that another time. And there is no human being, I don't even know why you guys would try this, who would ever think that me and Pisco were not engaging in hypotheticals compared to you two. It was like bashing my brain into the fucking wall.
They were
I had to
bad.
beg Tom to ask questions on my behalf so that way you guys would answer them, okay?
This guy's the biggest retard on the panel,
we
for
were
sure.
answering questions. That's absolutely
Pisco's
fucking
retarded,
insane.
but this guy's
Okay,
like on
so,
10.
Yeah.
He's over
level,
9,000.
And thank you, Tom, for putting up with me because I was losing my goddamn mind, okay? This was degeneracy.
Okay, well, I appreciate you guys coming. If you'll give me just a minute. As I said before.
Oh, by the way, pwned.
Yeah, they are fucking
Pwned.
clowns, bro.
Okay. That I do want to reiterate. I said this earlier at the beginning of the panel, and that my asking questions is again not my positions. I see a lot of people pushing this. I am again just a regular Democrat, regular liberal. Not that I do try to steel man the other side as a moderator to try to make sure that their questions are being answered, or the things that even audience members would want to hear are getting answered, and somebody is rebutting those things at some point. So whether it's regardless of who I asked or what I was asking from a left or a right person, doesn't necessarily necessitate my positions. You can come to my channel and see what my positions are if you're wondering about those. And then last thing, I'm sorry guys, we didn't get to your questions or super chats, so I want to read those real quick. $20 from Aaron M Sound. He said, since when are we as citizens not supposed to defend against militant armed combatants using unreasonable force and assaulting people, as well as violating protocol, civil rights, and use of force laws? They are ignoring that like it doesn't exist. Thank you, Aaron, for the $20 tip. Appreciate it, homie. $5 from the Trib. Jake's point is that when Alex gets shot, he reacts to the shot like most would and reaches for the pain, but then gets shot more than because lack of training. Or I gets shot more than that because of lack of training, I think is what he meant to say. Another one, $5 from the Trib. He said, was Alex under arrest? If under arrest, was he resisting arrest? If resisting, was it because he was beaten in the head or because he's afraid of handcuffs? Leutnant, I think is the name. $5 super chat. Appreciate it. He said, Jake, what page is Andrew Wilson's book is sparking up a cigarette when you run out of smart things to say? And then Leutnant also said attempted brandishing. Ha ha ha. Okay, I appreciate you guys' super chats. Thank you so much. And I am raising money right now to move. I am moving countries, not running from Trump, but I am moving.
You're
to
moving
another
countries?
Country. Yeah.
Yo, shut the fuck up, bro.
Going to,
Where are you
going
moving?
to another country. New Zealand.
New
Going to
Zealand.
New Zealand.
Oh shit!
Whoa, shit.
Wait,
Crazy.
is it Mantis?
Crazy, bro. All right.
Mantis.
Congrats.
Oh.
I kind of feel like you're running away from Trump, bro. I'm going to make that claim now.
Yeah. Yes, my life is not difficult enough dealing with screaming banshees and crazy people right now. I need more of that in my life, and so I'm going to be around Mantis 24/7.
Nice.
The West Coast country.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
Just to be clear,
Congrats.
Jake, I absolutely will take you up on that. And Tom is fair in all things, but thank you guys for the show.
For sure. Hey, Pisco, by the
Appreciate
way,
it, guys.
I followed you on X a while back ago, but I'll send you a message. Maybe we can connect and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll follow you.
Or
back. I'll follow you back.
try to have
I'd
a
like to
conversation
see it
because we
too,
are.
and have a future debate as well too. So
Yeah, 100%. Just damn it. I love you guys very much.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, later, guys. Have a good one.
You have a good one. Bye bye.
See you.
Okay. We're good, right, Tom? Everything good on everything?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Tom. Oh, there you go. I will tell you this.
I just
You just blacked out.
there we go. Yeah. Sorry, I'm switching all my shit back to my regular stream stuff. So, what were you saying?
No, I was gonna say, bro, thanks a lot for fucking hosting this, man. To actually link me up with Pisco. I've seen him on multiple occasions on like Tim Pool and like the Word War debate and stuff like that. I've never actually had connection with the guy, so I'm really happy I was able to make this debate to actually engage with the fucker. And of course,
Well, did you want me to set up a debate with you guys, or do you all want to just do that yourself?
yeah, let me talk to the guy. Let me talk to
Yeah.
him and see where we're at, and
If
maybe.
you can set up a debate, I have a few prompts that I'd like to engage with him on as well too. That I saw him. I knew this was inevitable. Me running this debate course that me and Pisco were going to run into each other, especially after Destiny and all that. But big thanks to Jake too. You handled yourself pretty well, better than I would thought you would have. Actually,
I appreciate that, man.
Thanks for hosting.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I would say this, Tom. Well, Tom knows. Well, I'm pretty sure Tom has seen. Well, maybe seen the content. I am much more of an aggressive debater, similar to Pisco. So, it was pretty good content, man. But I will tell you this: I'll reach out to Pisco. I wouldn't mind having a conversation with the guy because I don't watch a whole bunch of his content. So maybe we could do that. But for sure, we're gonna set up a one-on-one with me and Pisco, and you'll be the moderator, bro.
Both of you guys, if you guys want. Like even other people as well. I think initially we did invite Destiny on. He was one of the people that was originally supposed to come on, but he's in the middle of something right now, so he didn't end up coming. But yeah, if you guys have like debates that you want to debate people on, you have prompts or something.
By the way, dude, next time you have Destiny on a panel, please invite me, bro. I've already debated him twice on IRL. I would love to be face to face with that guy again.
Yeah, that's right. You did it at the Pangburn.
Yes, Pangberg. Yeah. And those guys, dude, they're they're awesome, by the way. Pangberg, they're awesome. Originally over there in Detroit, they actually paid for my flight to go over there to Detroit to debate Destiny the first time. So Travis is cool, and the producers and everything like that. I debated him in Houston again because I'm in Texas, so I drove over there to Houston for the second time around. But they're all good people. They're cool guys. So if you ever get Destiny, just reach out, man. I'll go out of my way to get on there. Just saying.
One last thing, though. I'd like to debate Wick because Wick's got some really crazy claims that he makes. I'd like to debate him on here as well, too. Let's set that up. Also, Texas, very based. I plan on moving there in the future as well, too. So,
oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, I wanted to move to Texas for a bit. That was one of the.
You should have went to Texas instead of New Zealand, bro. Come on.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
So like Texas, I went there a couple of times. Holy shit. I live in Georgia. Okay. Oh. Like going there where like here, really 100 degrees is like, you can't go outside. Like you'll fucking die if you're outside for like 30 minutes to an hour. Whereas in Texas, it was 110 degrees. I couldn't even fucking tell. I was riding my bike outside for hours and shit.
Texas
I had no fucking idea.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. It's so dry. It's so nice.
I'm in Arizona, so I'm already used to it.
Yesterday it got to 65 degrees and then to 12 degrees. Like it's just like in a single fucking day.
Yeah.
It is
that's
so
crazy.
infuriating.
Amazing, Tom. And dude, bro, Texas heat.
If you want to send me the prompts or like whatever like topic you want to talk to Wick on, and I'll set that one up because that should be a lot quicker. He would probably
the prompt I want is ISIS and net good for America.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's gonna bite that real quick. He's gonna we'll do it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and try to set up a date with him. You said that you're not available after Wednesday, right?
Who, Jake?
Or
no, sorry, that was Jake. Jake's not available after Wednesday.
No. I'm available during the week, but it's just Mondays. It's I get out super late. That's why when I messaged you about Mondays, that's what it was. But I'm happy that it was delayed 30 minutes.
Marte that's not available after Wednesday? Was it? Yeah, it was Marte.
It was me.
It was Marte.
I'm only available Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. That's it for debate. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I'll go ahead and set that up.
All right.
Awesome. I might make a special exception and take a day off just to destroy him on the. I mean, that's just me. Just for sure. All right. Anyways, yeah.
Marte,
I have everybody's chats pulled up while we're doing panels. Like every time I do panels, I pull everybody's chats up. Jake, it didn't seem like you were on YouTube, so I didn't.
I'm sorry. I am on YouTube, but yeah, I am on YouTube. That's my main home. Yeah, that's my main home. But
you're on the
Project VOPod
something.
Yeah,
fuck. I went to Jake.
It's all good. It's all good.
That's my.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw the chats though, and the entire time I had Pisco and Irrelevance up, and the whole time they're like, "Bro, Tom's always so far right. He's always fucking white knighting for the right people, the right
dude.
wing."
You know why?
Fuck everything. I'm just trying to like get the like people to answer fucking questions. That's it. Like, why do people not see I'm a moderator? Do they not see I'm moderating? Like, why is this
Tom,
so difficult to understand? This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Tom, you know why they went against you is because when you steeled man my position at the time of like what was it? It was the arrest thing, that there's a potential for arrest. You steel manned it pretty fucking well, bro. And I'm pretty sure those guys saw you be like, "Oh, you're a right winger now, Tom. You're stealing man my position," and you did very well on that. By the way, I got to give you props. That's what I'm saying. Like, you were actually paying attention to the debate, and you were able to actually steel man something, and I like that about you, man. So definitely we'll come back, dude.
It's hard because, like I said, when we were talking about earlier before the debate, that I'm trying to do like a Piers Morgan style debate.
Yes.
It's supposed to have like a lot more production quality to it, but I don't have somebody here doing that, so I have to do it myself.
Gotcha.
But if I have to have my fucking finger on the mute button on every single person the entire fucking time, I can't do any of the other shit. And so it just got to a point to where I'm like, okay, I can't like switch screens, put anybody in full screen, put like the two people who are arguing with each other, just the two of them side by side. Like, I can't do any of this now because I just have to sit just like waiting to mute people the whole fucking time.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
it's all good. It's all good.
So
Man.
We'll find a way to make it work.
Yeah, dude. Good luck with that, man. I really enjoyed this panel, dude. Really enjoyed it. Much more so than Wick TV. No offense, but definitely more so. So I definitely want to work with you in the future, man. I enjoyed it a
and
lot.
Tom, I'll be proactive and message you about the Wick thing, and I'll remind you about it. I'll probably be to the point of being utter annoyance, but I want this to happen. It's good content. We'll create more, and I'm pretty sure that we have adversarial positions and people that can bring these positions available for your platform. And I'd like to come on your panel again next time, so that'd be good.
Cool, awesome, appreciate it, guys. All right, well, you all have a good night.
For sure, bro.
Later, guys.
Have a good one, man.
On.
Yep.
Take care, man. Yep.
Hey, Martel. Oh, fuck. He bailed. Hold on. I messaged this guy. Hold on real quick, guys. Let me end this fucking share screen. Oh, fuck. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Production's horrible. That was a fun debate. Definitely got to scrap up with Pisco. That was fun. I'm not gonna lie. Pisco's very energetic, and by the way, Pisco is definitely a bad faith debater, horribly bad faith. And I already know Irrelevant's super bad faith because I've already been in a debate with him in the past. Holy shit, that guy's fucking retarded. He's super retarded. But Pisco just kind of like piggybacked on that. He was being super fucking disgenuine as well. That's why I had to go into details about it. Even when they brought up the Jacob Blake situation, I use that as an example of maybe this could be the case. Again, Jacob Blake, from my assumption, could be that. So when they brought it up, it's irrelevant to my hypothetical. So I'm saying, okay, if that's the case, I don't give a shit. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. I don't care. I'm actually taking accountability to it, not doubling down like, no, you're wrong and I'm right. Don't fucking care. Just engage with my hypothetical. They didn't want to do that. They spent fucking 10 minutes fucking saying how you're wrong about the Jacob Blake. I don't even care about that. Engage with the hypothetical. So this is how bad faith these fuckers were. Then we bring up the actual footage, and these guys want to make an argument how fucking Alex Pertti was just helping somebody cross the fucking street. I mean, holy shit, these people was bad. It was bad. And this is why I say, like, I kind of want to get a one-on-one with the guy. So he specifically only engages with me. And that's the reason why I kind of asked for that. So I will be messaging Pisco so he can follow me. I followed him a while back on X. So maybe he can follow me and then I can have some kind of engagement with Pisco. So we can kind of talk and maybe I can get on with his panel and speak with him. Preferably one-on-one at least. So we'll see. All I got to say is in both cases, Pertti, good, justified shootings. That's fun. I would say this too. Pertti, good, justified shootings. I agree with you, my friend. I definitely agree with you, man. Oh, by the way, we got to fucking, during the debate, of course, we had some super chats coming in. So we got to acknowledge the super chats before we shoot out here. We're already hitting 4 hours. Please use this to buy therapy for everyone having to listen to Pisco. Yes, I will. Yes, I will for that. Thank you so much for the $20, my friend. That definitely does help the channel. Marilyn, who is frequently in the chat, man, with the $5, she just says, Varr, thank you so much for the fucking $5 super chat. Always a supporter from Marilyn here. So really appreciate that. The last super chat, of course. Pisco, have your cake and eat it too, quote. Looks like he's eaten way more than just 2 cakes.
It doesn't matter.
That is also true. That is also true, my friend. I will say thank you so much for the support, guys. I'm glad I was able to get on with Pisco, however you say his name. Really enjoyed it, man. Like I said, I don't watch a lot of his content. I was just kind of watching his claims when it came to this situation. That's all really that I've seen. Actually, no, I'll take that back. Some of the stuff that I've seen with Pisco is his debates with Andrew Wilson. I know he's had some engagement with Andrew, as well as specifically Rob Noor. Rob Noor has had multiple encounters with Pisco. So I did see a lot of that as well going into this debate. But that's all I had on Pisco. Didn't know. Irrelevant, on the other hand, there's nothing really to study. This guy's just a fucking moron. So there's nothing really to fucking engage with that fucking idiot. Pisco, on the other hand, is much smarter. And he's smart to the point where he'll back up his partner that claims that that fucking Alex Pertti was helping up the woman at the time. And then they switch it back and say, well, he was going to do that. And when I asked Pisco, what's your proof? How do you know his intent? Well, it's because of human nature. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He got fucking sprayed with pepper spray in the eyes. Why is he thinking, I'm pepper sprayed, I can't see shit, I'm in pain, but I'm still gonna fucking go around and help this woman up on the canvas? That's stupid. Fucking retarded. I will say tomfoolery did, I was being pretty patient at one point. I wasn't even saying a lot in order to patiently wait for my hypothetical. But yeah, Irrelevant's just a fucking spurg. That's all he is. He's just a fucking hard spurg. That's all he fucking does, man. He's broccoli head, bro. Yeah, he is a broccoli. Dude, this guy is fucking Afro. He's Afro boy, man. Not much to say about the yeah, dude. Oh my God. Yeah, Irrelevant was something else, man. He was something else. He's hard. I mean, he's a fucking retard, dude. And I've seen some of his content. He does like the TikTok shit. And he does well in that because he's able to mute them and kick them off whenever it's relevant, right? And he's irrelevant. That is true as well. He is irrelevant, man. Let me see who's live here. I hope you guys enjoyed the debate or enjoyed the engagement that I had with Pisco and Irrelevant. Because the way I think of it, as when I was going into the prep of this exchange, I said, I have to go after Pisco. Pisco's the main dog. He's the head. He's literally the head. Irrelevant, who I've already engaged with in the past, is a nobody. This guy has no good arguments. He does everything off of feelings. This is why they made the argument of Alex was trying to pick up the woman and Alex was escorting the other woman to the other side of the street. I mean, these people are fucking retarded. And what do you call it? Pisco actually engaged with it. He said, yes, this fucker, Alex, was escorting this woman across the street, even though by the time she ran into his arms, she was already close to that street already. And I said, how can you prove his intent? Because you're already proving the officer's intent. How do you prove his? Didn't have an answer. It's just feelings based. And then the same thing with picking up the woman on the sidewalk, bro. Fucking retarded. These people are fucking stupid, man. The Mogging order, Tyler, Jake, what? Wait, hold on. What? Mogging order? Tyler's better than me? You're telling me that Tyler is better than me? Now we got to set up another fucking debate. Which I know I already have you on the group chat here. I've already destroyed Tyler. I've destroyed everybody on this fucking, except for Penn. Penn I haven't destroyed. I just destroyed Pisco, and I'm good with that. Destroyed Tyler, good with that too. But Penn's my dog, bro. That guy's fucking, he's good. I like Penn. Never want to destroy that guy. He's fucking so likable. Rewind, watch it. I heard good stuff about the debate. Have you? Yeah, dude, rewrite and watch it. I wasn't expecting 3 hours, to be honest. I was expecting 2. But we did 3 because Tom wanted to do 3, so it's all good. It's Pisco for once. You're pronouncing something right, Jake. Well, it is what it is. The dog cartoon from Tom and Jerry, Spike and Chip, Big Bulldog, and then the small mutt. Yeah, for sure, bro. 100%. Yeah, dude, please tell me how I did in this exchange, man. Obviously, it was a team debate, so I have to wait my turn. But yeah, I do feel like I really bashed these guys. And I do feel like they weren't really engaging with too much of my points here. They wanted to engage mostly with Martel. They wanted to go after Martel. And I was just like, hey, I thought this was a team. At one point, I even told Tom Foolery, I'm like, hey, bro, I thought this was a team debate. How about you get to me? I've been waiting here patiently. And he keeps going to Irrelevant and fucking Pisco. And going against Martel, dude. And I'm like, dude, I'm literally his debate partner. Come to me, bro. I called him out at one point. Maybe I wasn't aggressive enough, but I was trying to be as fucking civil as possible, because when fucking Irrelevant rants off like a fucking lunatic, he gets the next word. I rant off as response to him, and I get muted so that he can, fucking respond to the little fucking things that I was saying. So that was kind of dishonest, but Tom did have his moments, and I think he is better than Wick TV. So Tyler Moggs so hard. Maybe he does. Watch our debate over there in Nashville, bro. Even Tyler was saying that I fucking killed him on that one. Well, not killed him, but he said that I did win that exchange. So Tyler been saying the debate was good in the sense of you wrecking Pisco. Okay. Yeah. I mean, fair enough, man. Fair enough. Dude, of course he was helping her cross the streets. Of course he was helping her cross the street. Why else would he have been illegally directing traffic? That is true. That is true. That is true, man. Thank you so much for that fucking comment, Farney. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Raging Patriot says, good to see you, Grid. Brother and Jake, mad props to you, man. Yeah. Dude, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Really appreciate that. 100%. We don't talk about the Nashville debate. Oh, yeah. I bet Tyler doesn't want to talk about that, right? For sure, Jay. Good job, by the way. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for the compliments. But I do need to rewatch this exchange because I don't know how well I did. I will say that in the moment, I should articulate myself better at times, especially trying to articulate the hypothetical, for example. And these guys are going to use any like miswording that I use, like barnish. And when I said, okay, he varnished a weapon, right? He doesn't know what varnish means. I like literally holding it in his hand. He varnished the weapon. He has it. I literally said that. And then his closing statement, he's like, he doesn't know what that means. While simultaneously not actually giving the definition. Yeah. Raging Patriot, man. Shout out to you guys. Anyways, guys, with that being said, we'll end it there, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. What do you call it? Yeah, check out the debate if you guys were coming in, midstream or whatever the case is. Good to see you, Jake, and chat. Missed the part of the debate, so going to rewatch it too. Yeah, thank you, Farney. Appreciate that, man. I hope you guys were entertained. Have a good night, Jake and chat. Yes, sir. Good to see you, man. Yeah, 100%, man. I'll let you know what I think. Yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Hit me up. Well, I'll go into the group chat that we have together. So we'll discuss it there. Maybe I'll do a reaction to not the entire, I'm not going to do that, but I will listen back to it to see how well, from my perspective, how well I did. So we'll see. Like I said, it was a team debate. So I had to wait my turn at times. I'm trying to be proper. But shout out to Tom Foolery, man. He did a good job. He did do a good job. I have to give him props. Anyways, guys, with that being said, have a good night, man. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Project Vealpad, bro. All right, bro. Got to see the Pisco picture we found in the GC. Okay, send it in the group chat. I need to see that then. Anyways, guys, have a good night. God bless. And of course, oh, by the way, before anybody that hasn't subscribed, please subscribe, comment, and like the video, please. That helps out with the algo, man. With that being said, guys, God bless. Have a good night.